Hi everyone! Oh, you're not even in the frame.
Hi.
Love that. Hi! We're reading a book today. How exciting and weird is that? Do you want to get in the frame?
Yeah,
James
hold
is
on,
here.
just getting the tweet.
We're reading it together because we actually have 2 copies. So we're gonna be able to read at the same time, which is so cute. You just jump scared me? Good, that was my intention. I said, didn't I just say, oh man, I'm gonna go live and unmute my mic, I'm gonna jump scare Flash. I did, he's nodding. He's nodding, I swear. I need to get a drink. Do you want anything?
I have a drink. I already told you I got a drink. I literally have 2 drinks.
Oh, you have wine. Yes, I'll have some wine. Oh my god, that is the vibe.
It doesn't. It's not good.
Oh really?
Because
We do have we do have 5 other bottles. We ordered well, James ordered this wine because it's quite a nice wine. It's a Pinot Noir.
Hi.
And we get it at restaurants sometimes. And we were like, wait, maybe we should buy it. And it's literally only £10. So James got a crate of 6 off Amazon.
Yeah. Although
So you could open another one.
I opened the bottle and that's mine.
Yeah, but you said it's bad. Let me check.
It's just a bit like because it's been open for like a week or so, so it's just like a bit.
Oh
It's not
yeah,
as-
yeah,
it's
it's gone rancid.
It's not okay. Well, I don't know about that. You'd probably die if you drank that.
I don't think rancid means like poisonous. I think
like-
it just means
It's
like gone
rotten.
off.
It's like fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it was just an exaggeration, wasn't it?
No.
I'm so excited to read this book because I love Final Fantasy VII deeply, and I also want to know what happens because James said it's good.
Oh, actually,
So-
rancid is correct. I
You
thought it-
gaslighting piece of shit!
The only reason I thought it must be more is because, I suppose it does apply. It can vary, kind of, because a decomposing corpse would be rancid, but also
I
so
wouldn't
is
describe
wine.
it that way, but I guess so.
Well, that's
yeah.
what it says. It says having an unpleasant smell or taste, usually from chemical change or decomposition. So, a wine being open for a week is rancid, but so is a body that's been left out in the sun for like a week.
Ooh, can you imagine that? Ugh. Have you ever seen a dead body before?
Bam.
You
Bam,
haven't, have you? Because you don't
bam.
even go to funerals or anything.
To your knowledge. What reason would I have to go? Wait, what do you mean I don't go to funerals?
Well, like,
Whose funeral am I gonna go to?
I don't know, like, if you have extended family, you don't
Harvey.
give a
I've
shit
seen
about
Harvey's
them.
dead body.
Oh, but I guess so, yeah. But besides that, have you seen a human one?
Don't think so.
I have. And it's really, really jarring. And I saw it so not that long ago that it feels like a thing that really happened. Do you know when
You need to go that way a bit more.
Yeah, do you know when you see things or like you just do things when you're a little kid? It's like they didn't even happen. It's like weird memories that are implanted in your head. Whereas when you do or see things in adulthood, I feel
Elva
like
thinks
it's a
she's
real
fucking
thing.
Cloud Strife.
That's so relevant. Hi Tazos, thank you so much for the resub, for the 6 months. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Yeah,
for the 6 months. Thank you
I've
so
been
much.
seeing the cancelling of Zepla, and it's I feel really bad for everyone that really liked her, because obviously she's saying some cringy bits and bobs, so that sucks. Oh hi Zach, hello Ash, hello Nick, hi Andrew, how are you guys doing?
What's up, fellas?
The only funerals I've been to have been closed coffins. See, also, I feel like James would, like, flat out refuse to go to an open coffin funeral. I've been to, like...
Refuse? I wouldn't refuse.
Well, I think these days you wouldn't, but, like, when you were, like, 18, you would have been like, me, because you're also really weird about... Okay, well, I guess
Sorry,
we
I
could
need
do
to be able
that.
to read it. I couldn't read the chat.
Really?
On that little monitor screen.
It's
no.
so easy. You need to get your eyes
I'm
tested,
just far away from
it's
it.
literally fine. Yeah, this is a bit fucked. Why don't you just open a new one? Like, it's bad.
Such a waste.
It is, but I guess it's coming up to the weekend, so you'll have more on the weekend as well. And it won't be gone
we
bad.
kind of almost
We,
drank it.
okay, we didn't though, because look at how much small. Yeah, that's a waste.
Well, I told you. it
There's
would be.
no one that hates waste more than me, but you know what? Let's get
Bye,
over
wine.
it. Goodbye, Mr. Wine.
Doing a different wine.
Bet James feels like a funeral after his God of War vid.
Oh, I fucking do.
He does. And I wouldn't be against it. You can crash a funeral, but somehow that seems creepier than crashing a wedding. Crashing a funeral is probably the weirdest type of event you could crash. Imagine crashing a funeral. You're just like, haha, I made it in. They don't even know me. Haha. Like, that's fucked.
They don't even know me. Crash a funeral because you just love paying respects.
That's creepy. I was listening to a podcast today, actually, or no, it was just a TikTok true crime story, and they were talking about how the little girl in childhood used to love death and be excited to go to funerals. Yeah, sure. Which is really fucking weird. Really weird. But I think we might have quite a chill stream on our hands today. I know this is like a really weird idea to read a book on stream, but I was gonna read it anyway. It is quite short, you know.
It's less than 200 pages.
You know, yeah, that's pretty short. I normally wouldn't read that much in one go, but for a stream, if we're dedicating a few hours to it, thank you. I'm sure that will be okay. I see Yuffie.
Oh, that's so
I
much better.
I see Yuffie right there. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, well,
I
we can
see
go through-
I see Kate Sith, and I don't understand what we're gonna say, because like, are they just gonna be like, so Kate Sith, but also this is just about Rufus, because Rufus shouldn't.
Reeve.
Sorry, Reeve. Yes.
Reeve is Kate Sith. Rufus.
Confirmed.
Elva. Rufus.
Yes, I know.
Elva.
He's
He
yes,
died.
yes. I know. I'm sorry. I misspoke, because Reeve and Rufus sound similar to me. But are these don't look like the models from the remake? Is this like a new title, or did they?
Well, the remake wasn't out when this book came out.
Real? Yeah. So how
This
did
book
they?
came out in like 2005.
The remake looks so accurate to
Well, yeah,
those.
they based it off of
Did they base
the
this?
original.
Is this where they came up with their modern looks,
Yeah.
or did they really on the book? Is
Well,
this the first?
Well, the book is a companion release to Advent Children. So these are the Advent Children models.
Right, and then the Advent Children models are basically the 7 models, but not as good.
What?
7 remake models, but not as
Well,
good.
yeah, 7 Remake based a lot of its designs off of, I guess, what was already
Oh.
created when they made Advent Children and so on.
Advent Children models.
James, why are you straight up lying? What do you mean? These are the Advent Children models.
Are
The
they?
book is supposed to. It's like it works together with Advent Children. That's the point.
Oh god, this is so much better than
Yeah,
the
I
Gone
know.
Off one. Oh my god. That Gone Off one was fucked. I didn't really do my fringe properly today, so we're working with this. What am I saying? What was I saying?
I don't know.
I don't know. James is gonna do some DJing as well, so when we're reading each
They're all
chapter.
based on the same drawings. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah, they are
The
based on
characters
the
we
drawings.
make do not look like
but-
they do in Advent Children, but are they not similar though?
Yes, they do. They
Okay,
do
well-
look so similar. What are you talking about?
Surely what's obvious? Oh, that the wine would be
They
better
changed.
maybe?
I think they changed Tifa a lot
I
more.
was just observing. I'd be surprised if the Gone Off one tasted better than that one. Well, I was just exclaiming my joy, wasn't I? I wasn't saying, did you know?
They look so
Did you
similar.
know not Gone Off wine is better? Sora's here to agree, aren't you, Sora? What do you think? What do you think? No.
Oh,
No.
no.
Why are you acting like that's not something you do to him constantly for a laugh?
So we
What
got
the
book.
fuck?
Everyone's being fucking pedantic because they're Final Fantasy fans and they can't handle the nuance of
That's
saying
okay.
that the character models are similar and technically it was all based on the. Oh, fuck off! You're all fucking.
Wait,
cunts.
is that what they're saying? Technically, it was all based on the original.
Yeah, which yeah,
Well,
it is.
obviously.
Obviously it is, but like, yes,
I just
yes,
meant-
looking at that, you would think, oh, remake does look similar to the design that when they first did an actual like proper, CG
Yeah.
version of them that looks modern enough.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, all of you.
Okay.
Alright?
Shall we
You get
start
what we're fucking
reading the
talking about.
book? Because
Yeah, let's start reading
I
the book.
like book.
So, what music? Okay, so we're gonna need music for each little bit.
Do you know what though, Ash? You say that as a joke, but I actually prefer Ketchi. I think that sounds really cool.
Shut the fuck up.
Kate Sith is there is
Sith is his
literally
name.
no way that it's meant to be pronounced Kate Sith.
Okay,
There's
let's-
literally no way.
Let's watch. What song should we put on for when we do? Let me mute Kate Sith and turn on PC audio.
Yeah, get rid of Kate Sith.
What music should we do? Because we're obviously gonna go through the beginning bit because you've
Is
got.
that like an intro and it's not for anybody in
Well,
particular?
you've got a bunch of little. We've got a bunch of little character pictures here,
Okay.
and then we've got the contents, and then I guess we just start the first chapter, which we're gonna need music for that. But I don't know what to use for that because I don't think there's a character
Just
theme
use
for this
the.
character.
Oh, wait. Is it someone on the cover? Or is it someone new?
Oh, I don't think he's on the cover.
Is it someone I've met before?
No.
Oh. Okay, well you could just play like the Final Fantasy theme.
Okay. Yes. Wait, shall we? What do you think, guys, for the
What
first
would you
chapter?
like to play for the first chapters?
Use the Crisis Core music. No. Please.
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear spoiler music. Even if it's for a bad game, I don't want to
True.
get spoiled.
Something like. Is there music in the original for the slums? I don't think there is there? What plays when you're in the slums? Is it Barrett's theme when you're in Sector 7?
No, Barrett's theme doesn't play constantly. It's not just walking around music. I can check, because I could just go look at like a clip of me when I was in, because I posted a TikTok of one, I think.
I can't remember what. I don't know what we should use for that piece of music for this first chapter. I'm just really not sure.
Huh. No, I actually didn't. I'm not sure. We can just check
Do you have
my
any
video.
recommendations?
Sector
You
7
didn't need to
slums.
open that. You could literally just Google it. Sector
Well-
7. When you're in Sector 7, it's Barrett's theme.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
Hmm.
What's What does it play in Sector 5?
It's just gonna give you a remake, isn't it?
I guess there's no music in Sector 5.
Sector 7. Why did I say Sector 7?
I don't know what's why. Something like
Music selection process is intense.
it's gonna be so much easier for the other ones because I know what theme
Yeah.
to use. But this first one, I'm
I
really
can't wait
sure.
for Kate Sith's. I love Kate Sith's theme. It's a really good theme.
Maybe this one.
Also, just so you know, James has already read the book, but I haven't. I have not read the book.
That's not really very good. I can't think of an ambience that would work.
Sora, what are we doing down here?
Oh, this is Dawn of the Slums, infiltrating Shimra.
What are you doing? Interesting. Interesting.
The world music, maybe? Yeah, alright, fine. Let's just use the Final Fantasy VII main theme.
That's what I fucking suggested. Right, are we gonna just play it through the earphones then? Because then only I can hear.
What?
Well, I'll be the only one that can hear the music. Is that okay?
Well, everyone else can hear the music.
Yeah, but I want to hear it too. You won't be able to, is what I'm saying, James. Do you have a fucking brain in there? Are you listening?
I'm trying to find the music.
Okay.
I need one that's like long enough.
Oh yeah, you'll need to just curled map theme.
How's that? Why does it sound like this? Okay. Okay, let's open up the book. And let's gauge what we're doing. 10 out of 10 planning. I didn't think about this.
What?
Right? I didn't think about doing the first chapter. I forgot about the first
Oh,
chapter.
you didn't plan it.
I was like, oh, I'll just use character
That's
themes. That'd be
okay.
easy. But Cloud doesn't even have a character theme. Does he?
I don't know.
Oh, there
what
is
it
no
would be.
Cloud chapter, so we're okay.
Spoiler!
We're literally about to get to the table of contents. Calm down.
What it says,
Right.
Cloud.
Yeah, it's just showing
And then
the
it
characters.
says Tifa. Barrett and Marlene.
Barrett and Marlene here. I guess I could show everybody.
Good
Honestly.
Sid. Red 13!
Calm down.
I love the Nokia.
And Kate Sith. Look, Kate Sith's
Wait,
sleeping with
why
him.
is that? Why is... Oh my god, oh!
He's sleeping with him. He's loving it. Well,
Since
you have
when
two
are they
copies.
best
It was a
buds?
mistake. They accidentally sent two. Well, the first one didn't arrive, so I was like, Amazon, where
Yuffie!
is it? And they were like, oh, we'll send you another one. And then the other one arrived, so we ended up having two.
She
So
looks so
Yuffie,
good. They all look really
Vincent.
like remake. Vincent. Rufus, Rude, and Reno. Sephiroth.
He's got his wing. His shadow.
On the way to a
Look at the shadow
smile.
of his wing. Look at that. The fucking little nonce.
I'm ready. Let's read.
On the way to a smile. So, chapter 1.
Denzel.
Yeah, chapter 1 is episode Denzel. Denzel.
I've
I
always
don't
said
know.
Denzel, but I've heard people say, like, you know, the famous actor Denzel Washington. I feel like people call him Denzel Washington. Let me know. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, we're talking about their faces, not their designs. Obviously, their designs are different, like they're wearing completely different clothes and shit. But,
That looks very, very like.
fuck this dog.
That's like exactly my outfit in 14. That's the Cloud outfit.
Yeah, that's where it's from.
Really?
Yes.
No, I like. Is it from the book?
It's from Advent Children.
Oh, so they specifically gave a Cloud Advent Children outfit in 14. Not interested. I miss voicing the characters. You know, I've been editing my video. I'm really trying my best. I'm trying so hard, but it's it's long. I'm struggling, but I've been editing it and my voices got so much better by the end. They were really bad at first and like I wasn't really trying, but that's because I didn't intend to, and then I kind of just got into it and just kept going with it. And eventually they got to a point where at least they're distinct, like they sound like voices. But
Let's start this, because otherwise we're never gonna get through this fucking thing. The car voice went worse as you went on.
It had a peak
Not
in the
interesting.
middle, and then at the end it went really dodgy.
Okay. Do you wanna? What are we doing here? in
I
terms
know
of who's
voice
reading
actor.
what?
I'll read the first chapter because it's me. It's my stream. It's
Okay.
my book read.
Are we ready, everyone?
He's gonna be munching now. He's ruining it.
Are we
Right.
comfortable?
Is that too loud or anything? Because that looks
What?
pretty loud.
The music?
Yeah.
You can hear it.
Well, yeah, but mine is never accurate for what it's actually
Oh,
like on
no.
stream. It just looks too loud to me. Look at where the
voices
green
might be
is.
too low. I'll turn up the mic. Yeah. 'cause
No,
we're-
it's not even the
we're
mic.
sharing
It's
it. No,
because the
no,
music
no,
is
it
fucking
because, Elva, because
ridiculous.
it's one mic between two of us. We're
Yeah,
not close
but
enough to the mic.
okay, all right. Did you turn it up?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say that's fine. Look, the music is like quiet now.
Okay.
Because you just want it to be a little quiet. Yeah, I knew it was
Maybe
too fucking
too
loud.
quiet, but-
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I'll just listen to the stream
Chat,
myself.
fucking help!
No one.
God damn it, you guys!
No one will say what the truth anyway.
The music's very quiet now. I can barely hear the music.
Oh yeah, it is way too quiet. Okay.
I know that. I can fucking tell.
Oh wow, you're so smart. That's out. No, that's too loud. That's too
No,
loud.
it's not.
I
We're
think-
up
okay.
here. The music.
All right,
it's
whatever.
fine.
Okay, whatever.
It's fine.
Okay. There were two distinct cityscapes in Midgar. The upper city was built high in the air atop the plate, which in turn was supported by an array of massive pillars. Below were the slums, where folk lived chaotic but hardy lives in the permanent shadow of the steel structure above. Every resident of Midgar, be they rich or poor, bathed in sunlight or cast in shadow, believed that this amazing city, built by the mighty Shinra Electric Power Company, would be a sight that endured forever. That is until 4 years ago, when the life stream started to flow and nearly brought Midgar crashing to the ground. The people grabbed what they could of their belongings and tried to flee, but they found they couldn't bring themselves to go very far from the steel metropolis. Metropolis. I always read that
Classic.
word wrong.
I love metropolises.
Metropolis. Perhaps they thought if they stayed close to its imposing skyline, they could hold on to their dream of a better future. Eventually, a town sprang up right beside Midgar. They called it Edge.
I actually really like
Edge.
Edge.
I've never heard of that one. Is that new?
Yeah, it literally says
Oh.
Elva. It's,
Well, they
this
could be
is telling you.
They could just be, you know,
It says
it could
4
be something.
years ago when the
Okay.
live stream started to flow and nearly brought Midgar crashing down. That is the end of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, of
And
course.
then it says soon
Okay.
after they
Yeah, they
built
popped up a new
Edge.
place called Edge.
Yeah.
The main road of Edge began at the boundary between sectors 3 and 4 of Midgar and stretched due east. The new settlement sprawled to the north and south of it. From a distance, it looked like a splendid town, but most of the buildings were thrown together from scrap recovered from Midgar. Edge smelled of iron and rust. Johnny! Johnny.
survived.
Johnny. Of all the people to survive, it was Johnny. And he never once calls Tifa Tifa baby. I actually didn't realize how disappointed I was until, I was editing the video and I realized it never happens. Anyway, Johnny wore his hair slicked back in a pompadour, an unusual style for a young man in those days. He ran a cafe alongside the main road, a no-frills sort of place that consisted of tables and chairs set out on the empty lot, and a stall where he cooked up his basic fare. He called it Johnny's Heaven. By way of homage to Seventh Heaven, that's such a Johnny thing. A diner and bar he used to frequent in Midgar Sector 7 slums. You never see him in there though, but I like the lore that he frequented it.
True, you don't. But
I really like that lore. That lore is really good. It makes sense why he calls Tifa Tifa baby, because he actually does know her, because he's always in the pub.
yeah, well, he's a simp. He just follows her around.
He is a sim.
Like he really is just a joke character.
There is literally a
Like the
bit.
OG.
The bit when you go to the Honeybee Inn, he's literally crawling on the ground. It's really funny, and I don't understand
that's
it.
all Johnny is in the original game.
Yeah.
It's just this joke
But-
character to
but
show
he's
that
kind
Tifa's
of-
very attractive.
He kind of does that a lot in Remake 2,
It's also,
though.
I think it's also to show that people like gravitate towards Tifa, and Tifa's a very popular person. So that when you find out like how all the boys used to follow her around in Nibelheim,
It feels
that it's
right.
Like, that it's like you already set up that precedent with Johnny.
I guess so. Yeah, Johnny is definitely comic relief. He'd had a thing for the pretty bartender there, a girl named Tifa. That bar had been buried when the Sector 7 section collapsed, but when Edge appeared, Tifa had opened a new 7th Heaven right here in the new town.
Lore.
Oh my gosh. At the time, Johnny had been just another one of the displaced...
I guess they built a new bar.
They just built new 7th Heaven. I bet it was called that. It's like New New York in Doctor Who. They built new 7th Heaven.
New 7th Heaven.
Tifa had opened a new 7th Heaven right here in the new town. At the time, Johnny had been just another one of the displaced young men with vague ambition, but no idea what to do next. When he saw Tifa's strength and initiative in the face of disaster, he was inspired. That the one-time object of his unrequited crush became a role model. A mentor, even. I want to live my life the way she does, he thought. How do I do that? Easy answer is, I'll open a place too. Good old Johnny. Johnny is...
Guys,
this is so
don't
Johnny.
Read, alright?
Who's backseat reading? What does that mean?
It's a joke,
Are you doing it?
I don't know. It's just funny.
He will. He will backseat read. It's true. That was the start of Johnny's Heaven, and every customer was subjected again and again to the tale of Johnny Reborn. Of course, when they heard the story of Tifa, they had to go visit 7th Heaven and see the inspirational barkeep with their own eyes. Soon enough, they ended up as regulars there, and few of them bothered to return to Johnny's humble stall. Oh my god! I mean,
why is that funny?
Because he was promoting Tifa so much that they left him to go to Tifa's
I thought you were just
bar.
laughing at the wording. I was confused.
Oh no, I think it's so funny that he was like, guys,
Yeah.
Tifa, you gotta meet her, and then they meet her, and then they never come back. It's like if you rate a streamer, and then that person liked that streamer better. Tifa had to go visit 7th Heaven. Soon enough, they ended up as regulars there, and few of them bothered to return to Johnny's humble stall. Suddenly, Johnny found himself waiting day after day for even one customer who'd be willing to listen to his tale of love and redemption. Then someone did. It was just a kid, though. What's this little kid doing out by himself? Oh ho, if it ain't Denzel. Denzel's a kid. Okay.
Denzel was a kid, yeah.
This was no ordinary customer. Denzel lived with Tifa, Johnny's unknowing mentor and the object of his affections. Gotta go all out in this one. Denzel lived with Tifa?
Denzel lived with Tifa.
Oh. Come in, make yourself at home, Denzel, he said, bobbing his head and gesturing grandly towards an empty chair. I never had a good voice for Johnny anyway. You can sit closer if you want, kid. No, I'm meeting someone. Meeting someone? What, like you're on a date at your age? Johnny thought. Okay, that's good. I'll take care of you both. Everything on the house for my special customer. At 8, huh? Go get her, kiddo. Coffee. Ticked off? Nah, probably just shy. If you get stuck for things to talk about, just call me over. I've got some great icebreakers. Or scrape with the ladies. Heck, if you want, I can... Suddenly, Denzel jumped to his feet. Shit, maybe I did piss him off. Johnny peered at Denzel, but the kid was looking toward the entrance where a narrow-faced man in a dark suit now stood. We're open, Johnny managed to say without looking him in the eye. It was Reeve! Former Shinra bigwig.
I think it would have been so much more funny if Reeve showed up as Kate Sith. He doesn't leave the
Yeah!
house.
That's why I was like, how are they gonna do a Kate Sith chapter? Because it's just Reeve, or it's Kate Sith so Reeve is just like, he can't let go.
Reeve does leave his house sometimes. He doesn't just pretend to be a robot cat or whatever the fuck it is.
That's really weird.
It should have been me, not him. Yeah, true. He used his Scottish accent as well, yeah, true. He's accidentally just stuck in it now.
Now the leader of the WRO. He'd never seen the man in the flesh before, but folk whispered that the... What's he doing?
Nothing, he's playing with a toy.
Okay, well I have to rely on you, and you're not very reliable.
I looked at him, and I just didn't say anything because he was playing with a toy.
Okay. What's a guy like that doing it... Wait. He'd never seen a man in the flesh before, but folk whispered that the stench of death clung to him. What's a guy like that doing in my place? Reeve warily scanned the environment as he went to Denzel's table and sat down. Then Johnny figured it out. Denzel's been scouting for the WRO. Reeve's trying to lure him into signing up. I can't let that happen. If that goes down to my place, I'll lose any chance I ever had with Tifa. He glared at Reeve. In return, Reeve gave him a placid smile. Placid? Placid. It rhymes with flaccid.
Flaccid smile.
I'm gonna do Reeve's the Irish accent that I did.
No.
Please.
He's not even a just Irish. He's
Yeah,
Scottish.
but I couldn't do Scottish, so I did Irish.
Reeve doesn't use that voice. Reeve just speaks
No,
normally.
I think it's funny to imagine he does. Reeve is an English accent.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. He has like the most milquetoast American
A
accent
coffee,
in
if you wouldn't
existence.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude's got some dignity. Dude's got dignity to spare. Sure, Johnny replied, standing ramrod straight. He scurried back to the stall. Sheesh, he's a real badass, this one. If Johnny was surprised, Denzel was dumbstruck that the head of the WR. If Johnny was surprised, Denzel was dumbstruck that the head of the WRO himself had come to talk to him. Okay. He stood there, unable.
Well, that made sense.
If Johnny was surprised, Denzel.
If Johnny was surprised, Denzel was dumbstruck that the
Yeah,
head of the WRO
I
himself
guess
had come to
so.
talk to him.
I
That
guess
makes
so.
sense.
I guess so. He stood there, unable even to muster a greeting. Have a seat. Reeve's voice broke the spell, and Denzel hastily sat down. Now, Denzel, I don't have a lot of time, so I'll get right to the point. Reeve began in a measured tone.
That's not him saying that.
Yeah, Reeve did say that.
You literally said Reeve began in a measured tone in Reeve's voice.
Oh, that was an accident, because I can't get out of the accent.
Oh god.
You should know, first of all, that our organisation isn't like it used to be. The days of welcoming anyone who is willing to join are long gone. If you want to help in the reconstruction, talk to your local district officer. The WRO is a military institution now.
Yes, sir. I know it'll be dangerous.
Do you? So tell me about yourself, kid. What's your background?
My background? I don't know. I mean, I'm only 10. 10?
I'm aware, but even 10-year-olds come from somewhere.
Yeah, Reeve is the most American person. He is definitely up there with Flash for being the most American person on the American spectrum. Elva can't read. True!
That's
James,
so
do some of the
funny.
Voices. Yeah, you should just let me do the voices.
Alright, then, if you want, you can do the voices.
Okay. Alright, go on then. Start with the next bit. This is a flashback now.
Denzel was the only child born to Abel, a workaholic employed by the Shinra Electric Power Company's 3rd Operations Division, and Chloe, a sociable woman who ran a clean, organized home. The three of them lived in a company-provided house in Midgar Sector 7. Born and raised in a poor backwoods village, Abel was more than happy with his life in Upper Midgar. However, he believed a man always needed goals, and his had been to live in the coveted Shinra executive housing area. It was a goal he realized a short time before Denzel's 7th birthday, when he earned a promotion to Division Chief.
7th? Like the game.
Oh my god, and like the heaven? To Division Chief, the position for which benefits included a house in the Sector 5 enclave. Upon hearing the news, Chloe and Denzel prepared a celebration. The proud dad came home to a feast and decorations handmade by Denzel himself. Aww. It was a lively dinner, and in high spirits, Denzel's father cracked jokes and told stories about his life. Denzel, always remember you're a lucky young boy. Oh wait, that's you, because you want to do a voice.
My Vivi voice does not suck. That's a lie. My Vivi voice is good. It sounds just like Kingdom Hearts 2.
Anyone who's saying
Hi,
that
I'm
is just
Vivi.
jealous. They're just jealous, babe. Don't worry. Oh wait, I'm playing my own
The
stream.
American literacy spectrum. Okay, what are we? Denzel's father. This is Denzel's father. Denzel, always remember you're a yucky.
Yucky.
Always remember you're a lucky young boy. If you were born down in the slums, you'd have to eat rats instead of chicken. They don't have chicken in the slums?
I want to be Denzel.
I suppose they might, but no one can afford it. They have to catch rodents instead. Spear them with a big stick. Big black rats. Ew, gross. Actually, I think they taste just fine.
Said Abel, patting his stomach and winking at Chloe.
What about you, Denzel? Oh wait, is that Chloe?
I think so.
What about you, Denzel? How do you like them?
I thought I meant to be all women. Anyway, Chloe pointed to Denzel's plate.
Elva is all women.
I am. I'm every woman. Denzel looked suspicious. That says it in the book there. It says, I'm every woman. You see where it says that? Yeah. Denzel looked suspiciously at his parents and then at his plate. His dad was looking away and trying not to laugh. Denzel remembered what his father liked to say. There's no point to a life without laughter. Am I okay to read the thoughts?
That's not a...
They were playing tricks on him again.
Mom, Dad, stop with the stupid jokes already.
So, your parents would
No,
tease...
that's-
Oh,
that's
shit.
Reeve.
That's...
So your parents would tease you. They like to joke around, that's all. I mean, I thought it was funny too. For the record, to the best of my knowledge, they didn't eat any rats in the slums. I doubt they were edible, to be frank. And really, the slums weren't as bad as many topsiders believed. Yeah, I know. I figured that out myself. Oh? How so? It's a long story.
Denzel was home alone when the phone rang. It was Abel.
Abel. Oh, that's his dad.
His dad.
Where's your mother?
He demanded.
She went shopping. Tell her to call me right away when she gets home. No, never mind. I'll just come myself.
Denzel could tell there was a trouble of some kind. It made him nervous, and then he couldn't concentrate on anything, so he watched TV while he waited for Mom to come home. The news was showing the ruins of Mako Reactor 1. Some group called Avalanche had blown it up. Oh my god, this is so cool. Are you doing, what is it called?
I know that. Those are that's what happens in Final Fantasy
I do know
7.
that. It's true, I do know that. Where were you?
That must be why Dad's cranky, Alex.
That must be why Dad's cranky. He must be really busy with this disaster. He's not mad at Mom or me. An hour later, Abel arrived home.
Where is she? She's not back yet. Then we're going to find her.
Abel was already out the door again, with Denzel scurrying after him. They went to the market and spotted Chloe soon enough, chatting with the butcher.
Oh god, she's cheating.
She's cheating with the butcher!
What if that's what happened? Does like the sector, like the reactor blowing up, or none of that matters? He just finds out that his wife's cheating on him.
Abel told Denzel to stay put and marched over to the butcher's stall. He grabbed his wife by the wrist without a word and dragged her back. Denzel felt his heart skip a beat at the fear in his mother's voice when she protested.
Let me go. What's gotten into you?
Abel looked from side to side and whispered.
They're going to destroy Sector 7. We have to leave for Sector 5 right now. We can go to the new house. Destroy it? Those lunatics who blew up the reactor. They're targeting Sector 7 next.
Denzel studied his mother's expression. She wasn't laughing.
Is this for real?
He clutched at his parents' hands.
Hey, come on. We gotta go. I don't know, I guess that's him doing that? Yo, that is him saying that, yeah.
It's like the actual game. They're just trying to be like the game where you sometimes just don't know. So
Bat
true.
chest. Thing I recognise in the book.
What?
What?
Baiting the chest?
Bat chest.
It says,
what that
it
emote
says
is.
baiting the chest.
Batting the chest.
It says baiting.
Yeah, I know it does. Hamid, you're an idiot. There needs to be 2 T's in that. Baiting the chest. Guys, I'm just baiting the chest. That's all. Alright, go.
Where are we?
Neither of them moved.
But neither of them moved.
We can't just run off and save ourselves. We have to warn our neighbors, our friends. Oh no, that's Chloe said that. Sorry, just pretend she did it.
It's just like the game.
There's no time, Chloe. And this is top secret company intelligence. I only just got promoted and I'm already breaking the rules.
Chloe shook her head furiously and turned to Denzel.
You go with your father, and I'll come find you soon. It'll be okay.
She She squeezed his hand once before letting go, and then she ran off.
No!
Abel began to chase after her, but he gave up after a few steps. Denzel's chest felt tight as he looked up at his father's stricken face. He wants to go after her, he thought, but he's got to look after me.
Come on, Denzel. We're going to Sector 5. But what about Mom? She'll be okay. She's just being the family conscience.
A man in his early 20s was dragging a heavy suitcase along the road dividing Sector 6 and 7. His tie was askew, his jacket unbuttoned, and he wore an expression of dogged desperation. He was clearly in a hurry.
Arkham!
Abel called out to him. Hearing his name, the man looked up and spotted Abel.
Chief, you're still here? The Turks have already deployed. They must have planted the explosives by now. I know a guy from the maintenance section who prepped their vehicles.
Vehicles. My teacher in primary school used to insist it was pronounced vehicles. So she'd always say vehicles.
She should be shot.
Yeah, she was wild. She retired when I left, I think.
Yeah.
She missed me that bad.
Murdered.
That's what that's what retirement is. You got it, bud. Well done.
No, that's not what.
You said she was murdered.
No, I said before she got murdered, she retired,
Oh.
so no one could kill her. Your teacher should be hanged. She should be.
Hand.
Music kicked in perfectly, wait, really?
Did it?
Nice. How long
That's
is left
great.
of this track?
Probably not. Oh, literally
We're
10
going back to
seconds.
the start. Okay, go.
A man,
For Persona 5.
having heard his father talk about Shinra his entire life, Denzel knew a lot about the company's organization, such as the fact that the Turks were the ones who did the company's dirty work. Explosives? The Turks are going to blow something up? But does that mean the Turks are also Avalanche? He was staring at the ground, trying to make sense of the grown-ups' exchange, and then he felt his father's gaze and looked up.
Would you take... Wait,
Nope,
oh no,
that
that's
is
him, that's
not
him.
Denzel.
Would you take my boy over to Sector 5? I'd consider it a personal favor.
Abel said, still looking at his son.
No!
Denzel shouted.
I'll go get your mother. You go along with Mr. Arkham here. I want to stay with you. Can I count on you, Arkham? Of course, sir. Number 38 in the Sector 5 Enclave. Here's my key. My son will look after it, right?
Abel took a key from the inside pocket of his jacket and pressed it into Denzel's hand.
Dad, I bought us a new big screen TV. You can watch your shows while you wait for us.
He ruffled Denzel's hair a little too hard and gave him a shove towards the Arkham guy. Then he took off sprinting into Sector 7. The man caught Denzel as the boy stumbled.
All right, kid. Let's go. Name's Arkham. I work for your dad. Nice to meet you.
Denzel squirmed and tried to run after Abel, but Arkham held him fast.
Oh, that shit.
I think it's the guy, Arkham.
I know how you feel, but your dad told me to take you home, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So let's just get you to Sector 5, and after that, it's up to you, okay?
The new house, one in a long row of cookie-cutter lookalikes, was empty save for a large box containing the new TV set. Arkham wrestled the TV out of the packaging and plugged it in. The two of them sat on the floor watching the news, which was still showing footage of the blown-up Reactor 1. Denzel tried to think of how to get the stranger to leave.
I'm hungry,
he said.
All right, I'll go get you something.
And then the whole house shook. From somewhere far off, they could hear a mighty crash, and then the scream of twisting metal.
Stay here.
Arkham ordered, and then he rushed outside. Denzel moved to the door, too, but then the voices on the television brought him up short.
Breaking news.
Now the screen was showing a falling city. It took a minute before Denzel realized he was looking at a huge section of the plate collapsing earthward into the slums below. Sector 7, where he had just been with his parents a few hours ago. The scene changed, and the anchor said,
You are now looking at live footage from Sector 7.
There was nothing there. Sector 7 was gone. Denzel tore out of the house. The city was in chaos. People were running in all directions. That's like when that guy runs directly into Aerith and then bounces off her like a fucking...
I feel like we should have sad music playing.
Maybe,
instead of triumphant, like,
triumphant!
What's
we did it! We destroyed Sector 7!
What's a sad piece of Final Fantasy 7 music?
Aerith's theme.
Search sad Final Fantasy 7 music. Who Am I? I don't know if Who Am I would work. We need that one that's like...
That sounds
that's
like
the main thing. Let's see.
Hi Ryan, welcome in. It's funny hearing the trumpets playing while this poor kid is trying to survive going to sleep.
I need to find a fucking... What about this one?
That's so funny.
What does this sound like?
Oh, dude, I can hear... It's Kate Sis theme playing right now.
Lurking in the darkness. Wait, what?
Oh, sorry, no, it's not, but it reminded me of it, sorry. This is really not sad music at all.
This one.
Hi, Cryptic, welcome. Yeah, that's probably fine.
This is the Nibelheim flashback.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
Can you search it? Wait, on that day 5 years ago. I just need like an extended version so it keeps playing.
Yeah.
Can you search? That's some Final Fantasy 6 style. It's lo-fi version. No, really? Nobody's done this? Shit, okay, I guess we'll just have to play the original version and then just keep restarting it every 3 minutes.
Lol.
It's... How do you get this to open? Oh, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
The city was in chaos, people were running in all directions, screaming that Sector 5 could be next. He darted between legs, desperately pushing through the crowd. Eventually, out of breath, he reached the edge of Sector 6, but soldiers had already put up roadblocks across the entrances. He peered through the barricades, trying to see where Sector 7 was, but there was nothing, just empty space as if it had never been there at all. Beyond the gap in the distance, he could just about make out Sector 8. Its edge was a jagged wound of dangling cables and twisted steel beams.
Hey kid, you shouldn't be here. Where do you live?
Said one of the soldiers. Denzel pointed at the empty space. Oh. Denzel pointed at the empty space. That's good. Wow.
Damn. Sorry to hear that, kid.
Said the soldier, not unkindly.
Know where your folks are at?
Denzel pointed again to the same place. The guard heaved a sigh.
This is Avalanche's doing. Don't you forget that. When you grow up, you can pay them back.
Ooh. Okay.
Get your fucking revenge.
Get revenge! Murder them in cold blood. the soldier said as if to encourage the boy. The soldier put his arm on Denzel's shoulder, turned him back towards Sector 6, and gave him a light push on the back.
You best be going now.
In a daze, Denzel started walking. Around him, the rubberneckers and survivors spoke in fear and wonder. What are they going to blow up next, Dad? Is it safe here? Mom? Avalanche isn't getting away with this. What is Shinra doing? Dad! Mom, where are you? Oh god, that's sad. He tuned out the voices, all but one pathetic child's voice that seemed to constantly follow him. Eventually he realized it was his own, and he stopped, unable to take another step. Then the tears came. No.
Is there a way? Can you loop YouTube videos?
I don't know. I think you can.
I don't think you can.
Maybe it's a premium thing, because I swear I see it sometimes.
Wait, actually, loop. There you go.
Ah, nice. Alright, it's you. Yes. Is it true that Shinra did it?
Is it true that Shinra did it? Yes.
We've looked away as if he'd made up his mind not to show any emotion whatsoever.
You can hate me for it. Get revenge if you want.
Denzel shook his head. Denzel woke up the next day in the new house in Sector 5 on a mattress that hadn't been there yesterday. Next to him, he found a note and a pastry. I'm at work. I'll come to check in on you in a bit. Don't go far, okay? Everyone's pretty riled up, so it isn't safe outside. It wasn't easy to find you last night, and it wasn't easy carrying you all the way back. Arkham. P.S. I borrowed the mattress from next door. Make sure you return it. The TV news was showing footage of the Sector 7 collapse over and over again. The reporters kept rereading the press release from the Shinra Electric Power Company that said Midgar was safe now. But how could anything ever be safe for him if his parents were dead? It didn't make any sense. They kept saying it's safe, so does everyone live happily ever after? Do I? He picked up the pastry, but just before he bit into it, he noticed it was a little crushed, and the cream inside was leaking out. It made him angry. He hurled it at the TV with all his might and stormed outside. Despite what Arkham had said, the streets were calm. Denzel could see the Shinra building towering over the center of Midgar. Dad could still be alive. He and Mom could have gone to the office. I bet he's just really busy, dealing with all the mess. These are all Shinra houses. I bet someone here knows Dad. I hate talking to grown-ups I don't know, but I guess I've got to suck it up and ask. He went to the first door on the right and rang the bell. No answer. Just in case, he tried opening the door. It was unlocked. He poked his head in. Hello? Oh shit, sorry.
Hello?
He waited for a bit, but the house was silent. Maybe Arkham took the mattress from this house. Wasn't borrowing without asking the same as stealing? He tried the house on the left, then the ones across the street, then the ones farther up the street. They were all empty. He began ringing bells on the next street over. A lot of houses had notes posted on their front doors to say that the people who lived there were temporarily leaving town. Often, there was a contact number too. The whole neighborhood was deserted, and Denzel knew in his heart that his parents weren't at work. They would have come find him by now. Even if his father couldn't get away, his mother somehow would have made it here. He walked on, hope surging suddenly, then fading away again, until he realized he was completely lost. He couldn't remember the way he'd come. He started to cry more out of frustration than fear. He plunked himself down on the sidewalk, but jumped up quickly when he realized he'd sat on something hard. It was a toy Shinra airship. Some kid must have dropped it. Denzel picked it up and threw it as hard as he could. I hate
everyone.
The crash of a window shattering echoed down the street, followed by a woman shouting,
Who's there? Who did that?
Before Denzel realized what was happening, an ancient-looking woman burst out of the house with the smashed window. Actually, maybe she wasn't that ancient, but he was just a kid. How was he supposed to tell?
Did you just throw this?
With a scowl, she thrust the airship in Denzel's direction. He nodded dumbly.
Now why?
She cut herself off mid-sentence.
Are you crying?
Denzel shook his head in denial, but he couldn't hide his tears.
Where do you live?
He didn't know how to answer that, and that only made him angry at himself. He cried harder.
Well, child, I can't leave you here like this. I suppose you'd best come in.
Ruvy's house had a sweet, cozy feel to it that was different from that of his parents' house. There were tiny floral patterns on the wallpaper, and the sofa and fake... What's a fake? Oh, and the sofa and fake but cheerful flowers in a vase.
And a fake.
And a fake.
She had a fake.
Denzel sat perched on the edge of the sofa, watching Ruvy warily as she struggled to cover the broken window with a piece of tarp. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. If these were normal times, I'd have grabbed you by the scruff of your neck and hauled you straight to your folks and given you an earful along the way. My mom and dad, they... Don't tell me they skipped town and left you behind. They were in Sector 7.
Ruby froze. Then she left the window, sat down next to Denzel and wrapped her arms around him. When he had cried himself out, she said she would take him outside.
Come on, let's see if we can't find that house of yours.
Ruby held his hand as they walked. Denzel hadn't held hands with anyone since he turned 6. It just wasn't what big kids did. But right now, he didn't care about being a big kid. The Shinra employees in his neighborhood were bunking at headquarters while their families had fled to Yunnan. Sorry, I always forget which one is the right one. Junon or Costa del Sol. I know those ones. According to Ruby.
I've been there!
You've been to Ruby.
Yeah, I've been to Junon and Costa del Sol.
But she stayed behind because, as she explained it, if you're going to be alone no matter where you go, you might as well be in your own home. Eventually, the two of them found Denzel's house.
Thank you. I'm sorry about your window.
Ruby only nodded and walked Denzel up to the door, peering inside as he opened it.
Now look at that. Empty as a cell. What are you gonna do with yourself in here? Come along, Denzel. I think you need to stay with me for a while.
So Denzel ended up living with Ruby. After the explosion at Mako Reactor 1, she'd stocked up on essentials, anticipating tough times ahead. The shed in her backyard was full of canned food.
Forewarned is forearmed. Isn't that what they say?
She kept her days full with cleaning and yard work, cooking and sewing. Denzel helped with everything but the sewing. She would read before going to bed, working through heavy, challenging books. Denzel asked if they were any good.
Not a bit.
Ruby replied. They were her sons, she explained. For more than 5 years she had been reading them, trying to understand what her son did for a living. But I'm no wiser than when I started. All they do is put me to sleep. She had laughed as she told him. Ruby did loan him an illustrated guide to monsters, telling him it would prove useful. That book was her son's too. He had read it when he was about Denzel's age. It had full-coloured pictures of the monsters and descriptions for each one. Every page had the same advice. If you see one of these, run away fast and tell an adult. If I meet a monster now, I guess I can tell Ruby, but she doesn't look like she can fight much. I'd probably have to do the fighting for us. But could I beat a monster? Probably not. I'm useless, Denzel thought. That's why my parents went to Sector 7 without me. Aww. The day was getting warmer and Denzel was sweating. Gracious me, it's hot. Shit.
Gracious me, it's hot. How about bringing some water over here? Oh no, wait, what? This is back in the... That was Reeve. Gracious...
Yeah, I knew, I could tell.
Gracious me, it's hot. How about bringing some water over here?
Reeve said to Johnny. Denzel took out a handkerchief to wipe his brow.
Cute handkerchief.
Reeve
Did
remarked.
a girl give it to you? Sort of.
I was like,
Sort of!
Denzel stared down at the fabric. One morning when he came down for breakfast, Ruby held up a collared shirt and said,
Here,
Sorry.
I made this for you. It's the only fabric I had.
Aww. The shirt was white and decorated with little pink flowers. In another time, Denzel would have refused to wear it, but now he put it on, delighted.
Oh. And I made
You
these
said
with
that in-
scraps. Here you go.
You said that in like a character voice. She offered him a pile of handkerchiefs with the same pattern as the shirt. There must have been quite a lot of extra fabric, judging by how many she'd made. Denzel took just one, folded it carefully and put it in his pocket.
One other thing.
The smile had left Ruby's face.
I'm not sure how to put this.
A sudden chill ran through Denzel. He imagined the worst thing she could say. It's time for you to leave. The very idea made him shake.
Why don't we go outside?
Ruby went out the back door to the yard. Denzel hesitated, then followed, stepping across the well-packed soil to stand beside her. Ruby was looking up at the sky. He followed her gaze and saw the thing above them. A big black smudge, a truly ominous sight. You weren't supposed to see black in the sky during the day, only blue or white. Anything else was wrong and frightening.
They're calling it meteor. It's small now, but it's gonna get a whole lot bigger, and then it'll hit our planet and wipe us out. Wipe out everything.
Ruby took 2 cans from the shed and handed them to Denzel.
How are we supposed to prepare for something like that? For crying out loud.
That day, she didn't do any cleaning or sewing. She spent the whole time sitting on the sofa, thinking. She did try to make a few phone calls, several times throughout the day. But whoever she was calling, they weren't picking up. Maybe she's trying to call her son, Denzel thought, as he cleaned the house inside and out. He couldn't really imagine what would happen when Meteor hit. And anyway, he had another question in his mind. He just didn't know how to bring it up. Finally, when it got dark, Ruby started cleaning too, as if waking from a reverie.
You're not doing it right, Denzel. Haven't you been watching how I clean?
That was the Ruby he knew. Later, they sat side by side on the sofa reading their books. She started to talk without looking up from the page.
Denzel, I'm going to stay here and wait out the end. If the whole world is doomed, it doesn't matter where I go. But you don't have to do what I do. If you want to go somewhere else, you can go ahead and take all the food in the house.
Is that better? Lux, you're the only one that actually says things, that's why.
Oh.
And Flash,
sorry.
I guess, maybe.
But you have to decide where you're going to be when the time comes.
I've completely lost my place, sorry. Really?
When the time comes.
Really? Oh, shit, I did not oh god, okay. He thought carefully about what Ruby said. Then he asked the questions he wanted to ask all day long.
Can I stay here?
Ruby looked up from her book and smiled at him. After that, Ruby was like her old self, mostly, except that she stopped doing the yard work. That became Denzel's job. He could see construction starting at the Shinra building. In no time at all, it seemed an enormous cannon was towering over the city.
Shimmer's going to shoot that rock into bits.
He told
No,
Ruby.
that's what she said. Never mind, he said it. Fuck off. Keep going.
Yeah.
Is that so? Well, I hope it works, but I wouldn't count on it. That company has never done a single thing right.
Ruby said dolefully. Dolefully?
Hopefully.
In the end, the cannon fired just one volley at an unseen target before collapsing in a wreck. As if that weren't enough, the Shinra building itself was attacked and destroyed. Denzel wondered what kind of monster could have done that. He couldn't even begin to imagine one big enough to take down a building that size, but he kept himself from asking Ruby about it. Up in the sky, Meteor still hung, unchanged. All hell may have broken loose elsewhere, but Denzel's days went quietly by. Sometimes he missed his parents so badly that he sobbed aloud, but Ruby would hold him tight, and then he felt better. She let him sleep in her bed, and he thought that if the end of the world came while they were asleep together, it wouldn't be so bad. Oh my god.
Goddamn.
In the end, it wasn't Meteor that came to shatter Denzel's peace, but a furious torrent of white light. The life stream released by the planet may have effectively destroyed Meteor, but the dense life energy also inflicted untold destruction upon the world of mankind. The Chosen Day. Denzel and Ruby were in bed, trying to sleep despite the howling wind outside. Even for a gale, the noise was terrific. Then the entire house began to rattle. This must be the end, thought Denzel. He hoped it would be over quickly. The tremors grew more violent, and the noise swelled to such a roar that a train could have been passing right outside the window. Ruby held him tight and squeezed his eyes shut, trying to brave it out, but 5 minutes proved to be his limit.
Ruby, I'm scared.
Just as Ruby got up to turn on the lamp, a blinding white light shone through the drawn floral curtains. It was as if the house were being swallowed up by the sun.
Get under the blankets and stay there.
Ruby left the bedroom. The house shook even harder, and the vase of fake flowers on the dresser tumbled to the floor. Denzel jumped out of bed and went after her. She was in the living room, staring at the window, the one he had broken and that she had covered up with a tarp. The tarp was swelling like a balloon, looking as if it was about to burst open. Ruby leaped forward to hold the tarp on with both hands.
Shit, where am I?
Denzel, get back to bed.
Denzel, get back to bed.
He was trembling uncontrollably, and his feet were glued to the floor. I'm the one who broke the window. This is all my fault. Bad things are happening because of me. Ruby dropped the tarp and darted towards him. Denzel clung to her even as she forced him back into the bedroom. At that same moment, the tarp blew away, and the dazzling light flooded the room. She slammed the door shut before she screamed.
Ruby!
Denzel yanked on the doorknob.
Denzel, don't! What?
He pulled it open and found Ruby standing there with her back turned to him, splayed against the doorframe to keep him in.
Close it.
Past her, he could see tendrils of light darting and twisting like snakes, striking the walls and bouncing off in every direction. There's things not in the monster encyclopedia, he thought. I have to run and tell an adult. No, in this home I have to do the fighting.
Ruby!
He cried as a tendril seemed to lunge at her. She let out a short groan. Slender fibers of light surged through the gaps between Ruby and the doorframe, into the bedroom. Ruby crumpled to the floor, and in the same moment Denzel was flung back by the radiance. He blacked out.
I don't know how long I was lying there. When I woke up, the whole house was wrecked. Ruby was lying on the floor. I called her name, and she opened her eyes a little. She said she was glad I was okay, but she said it so quietly I could barely hear her. Then, she said she wanted to hold my hand. So I held out my hand, and she took it. But her grip was so weak, it was like her hand wasn't there or something. She said her son's hand had gotten too big for her to hold. That made me glad I was little. Then she asked me how it looked inside. I was scared to look, but I went out anyway. It was morning. and the whole area was just like our house, a wreck.
Denzel stared down at the table as he spoke. Reeve listened with his eyes closed. Outside, Denzel turned to look back at their house and saw that none of the windows had any glass left in them. He turned in a circle, taking in the rest of the scene. The other houses were in no better condition. Smashed windows, collapsed roofs, caved-in walls. It would have happened anyway, he realized. He would have still gotten in and wrecked everything, even if the window wasn't broken. As quickly as the thought came, he became mad at himself for thinking it. Ruby tried to protect me and got hurt badly because of it, and I'm trying to pretend it had nothing to do with me. He went back inside. Ruby was sleeping. She looked so serene and peaceful, lying there, and made him uneasy, and he shook her shoulder.
Ruby?
But she showed no signs of waking.
Ruby!
He shook her again, harder. A thread of black liquid trickled from the edge of her mouth. It looked like the mark of death to him, and he hastily wiped it off, but it was oozing out from beneath her hair too. Denzel felt sick to his stomach. He staggered out of the house, seized with dread.
Mom! Dad! Help!
He screamed at the top of his lungs. After that, he called out for everyone. He knew all the names he could think of. No one came, and so there was nothing to do but sob.
Hey, little guy. What are you crying about?
A big hand grabbed Denzel's head and turned his face up. A great big man with a black mustache was standing over him. A small truck was parked beyond, with 10 or so men and women sitting on the cargo bed.
You shouldn't be out here. They told everyone to get to the shelter down in the slums. Didn't you see it on TV?
Denzel felt like the man would yell at him if he didn't give a good reply.
I haven't been watching TV.
He managed through his sobs.
Damn, what's wrong with you people? We didn't know. We thought we'd be okay. It's the same story with the whole lot of you.
The men and women in the truck looked at their feet sheepishly.
So where are your folks? Ruby's in the house.
I don't know who's
The
saying
man-
this.
The man's name was Gaskin. He helped me bury Ruby in the backyard. The people in the truck pitched in too. We buried her son's books and her sewing kit with her. Everyone thought it was weird that the soil in the backyard was so deep. Usually you hit the plate right away, they said.
Wow.
Is this... Perhaps she meant to raise vegetables. A lot of elderly folk from the country do that, you know? I think it was flowers.
Denzel replied, looking down at the floral print handkerchief.
Her house was full of flower patterns, and she had lots of fake flowers too, but I think she wanted real ones. She lived in Midgard because her son worked for Shimra, but she missed the countryside, and she wanted a nice place with soil where she could plant some flowers and... Sorry, this is boring, huh?
But Reeve was hanging on to every word. Oh.
I like this chapter a lot. It's quite good.
This is really sweet and sad. The truck carrying Denzel and the others eventually stopped at the departure terminal for slumbound trains. Gaskin spoke up.
Or should one?
Trains aren't running.
Gaskin spoke
down.
up. Oh yeah, the trains aren't running. No prospects of them starting up again either. But if we're lucky, we should be able to walk down the tracks all the way to the surface.
Is the city gonna collapse?
Someone asked.
Your guess is as good as mine. But either way, it's got to be safer on the ground, right?
Then Gaskin turned to Denzel.
What's your step, all right? Everyone's tired at the end of their rope. You got to look out for yourself.
Gaskin got back into his truck, made a U-turn and drove away. Most of the people were clustered in the station. That white light had taken its toll on all of Midgar, and those whose homes were ruined and those who were afraid the city might fall had come here to flee. However, now that they were actually here, more than a few of them were having second thoughts. It looked a dangerous proposition, clambering down those tracks. No one was celebrating being saved from Meteor. Instead, they were... Hello, Pedro!
Pedro!
They've been 2 years!
What's up,
Wow! We're that's the first 2-year resub, I think. We're officially on the 2 years.
Holy
wow.
shit.
Thank you, Pedro. Welcome in. Second thoughts. It looked a dangerous proposition clambering down those tracks. No one was celebrating being saved from Meteor. Instead, they were angry about the botched and delayed evacuation order, and they were looking for someone to blame. Good thing Dad's not here, Denzel thought. He squirmed through the crowd to the platform, where he jumped down onto the tracks to join a growing stream of people. He had no idea what would come next, but Denzel figured no one had given him any advice besides Gaskin, so he might as well do what the big man said. Below his feet, between the cross tees of the track, suspended on their steel supports, he could see all the way down to the slums. If he slipped here, it would be a long fall to the ground. The tracks descended in a spiral winding around Midgar. It will be a sickeningly long journey, but Denzel put his head down, forgot about how far he had to go, and concentrated on making one careful step after another. Suddenly, the crowd came to a halt in front of him. A dead end. Denzel pushed his way through the legs of the grown-ups to see what was causing the bottleneck. There was a little boy, maybe 3 years old, perched on one of the crosstees, kicking his feet in the empty air below him. One of the adults spoke to him. Where's your mommy? Oh, shit.
Where's your mommy?
No, I think they said it more like, where's your mommy?
Where's your mommy?
Out of the blue, the boy started wailing and yelling.
Mommy! Well, I think that's what he probably did. Find the mommy. Find.
I need to go back, clip that, and make that an alert of some sort. You yelling, mommy. Oh, Pedro, thank you.
Thank you for the gifted subs.
Say, subscribe to Zelva. Give it everything you've got.
Zelva. Give it everything you've got.
Mommy, fuck. Pedro, thank you for gifted. No, I appreciate it. It's nice that it was for Ryan as well. That's really nice. Thank you, Pedro. Mommy! And stared down past his legs at the ground. He was on the verge of losing his balance when Denzel darted forward and grabbed his arm. Suddenly, there were gasps from the crowd.
Hey, that kid's marked.
One said.
Don't touch him. You'll catch it.
What are they talking about? He didn't understand.
Hey, get him out the way.
Someone shouted. Seeing no other choice, Denzel dragged the boy to the side where there was sturdier footing atop the iron sheets that connected the rails to the steel supports. He wondered why the grown-ups weren't helping, but then he saw the reason. The boy's back was wet with a sticky black fluid. With the path cleared, people began to move again. The boy kept crying out in pain and screaming for his mother, but Denzel was thinking about the grown-up's warning. You'll catch it. He began to get angry at the boy for being in the way, and for crying, and for maybe making him sick. But then he thought of Ruby and how he recoiled in disgust at the black liquid, how he'd gotten scared and fled from someone who had been so kind to him. He felt terribly guilty, so he decided to be nice to the boy to make up for it, and maybe make Ruby forgive him. He crouched down next to the kid.
Where does it hurt? Behind. Your back hurts? Uh-huh.
Cautiously, Denzel put his hand to the boy's back. When my tummy hurt, Mum would always rub it, and it would stop hurting. It was the same with bumps and bruises, although maybe it only works when moms do it. Trying to ignore the black gooey liquid, he rubbed the boy's back. He could feel him relax, and then the whimpering stopped and the boy fell asleep. Denzel sat there for ages, maybe 3 hours, maybe more. He kept comforting the kid, taking breaks when his arm got tired. See, that's like me. James asked me to scratch his back, and I'm like, I need a break! People on the descent would avert their eyes, pretending they didn't see him.
I think he's dead, kiddo.
Jesus. Denzel looked up. A haggard woman was standing over him.
Oh, that was a woman.
I think he's dead, kiddo.
That's more accurate. A haggard woman was standing over him. She was carrying a baby in a sling and holding hands with a girl around Denzel's age.
He's wearing a girl's shirt.
I think she'd be like, he's wearing a girl's shirt.
He's wearing a girl's shirt,
said the daughter.
He's weird. Come on, Mom, can we go?
Without a word, the mother removed the girl's blue coat and offered it to Denzel.
Here, use this.
Oh, okay. Maybe don't give her that voice. She's actually not a bad person. The girl still had 3 layers on, and she looked relieved to be free of one of them. She wiped her sweaty face.
You can have it. It's my sister's anyway, and it's too big for me.
Denzel didn't see an older sister. This is really good. He glanced at the boy curled up beside him. He was too still, and his chest was motionless. Suddenly, Denzel felt enormously tired. The girl took the coat from her mother's hands and draped it over the boy, hiding his body from view.
Wait, who's saying this?
The little girl.
He's with my sister now.
Because they implied she's dead, and now she's saying the boy is dead.
Thank you.
It was almost more than Denzel could manage just to get out that one phrase. Oh, I was confused for a second there. The woman was already walking away, and the girl scampered to catch up. She slid her hand into her mother's. Both hands were marked with black stains. What? Is that just because they touched him, or are they sick too?
I don't know, you'll find out how it was.
Oh, okay. Denzel stared at the Chocobo picture on the girl's back. Oh, I need that bag. I bet there's merch of that everywhere. I bet you could easily get a backpack with merch. Oh my god.
Because of all the fans that read On the Way to a Smile and how big it was.
No.
No, I just mean I bet there is stuff with chocobos on it everywhere.
Back chesting at the Chocobo backpack from On the Way to
What,
a
so
Smile that
that's-
everybody read.
No, I bat chested at the chocobo. Just chocobo. I'm gonna get a really nice handbag and I'm gonna put a fucking chocobo on it. And I'm gonna make sure there's a speech bubble and it's not gonna say quit, it's gonna say wark.
Wark!
Wark! Wark, wark! Denzel stared at the chocobo picture on the girl's backpack. That black slimy stuff comes out of people's bodies. They cry because it hurts so much, and then they die. If the sickness is catching, maybe we're all gonna die. What the fuck?
So who said this?
Yeah,
Back
this is
then-
difficult to voice.
No one knew anything about the stigma.
Back then, I only got
This is important.
cuts and
Scrape knees.
scraped knees. That's it. I was gonna say cuts
Well,
and bruises.
it's scarred knees in OG, isn't it? Scrape knees in remake. Anyway.
Back then,
Is it?
no one knew anything about the stigma. Everyone the live stream touched started oozing with that black slime and then died. People said you could get infected by touching it. No one had figured out that it was actually the remnants of Genova corrupting the live stream. Not that it would have made a difference knowing. Especially for a kid. Right. I kept thinking on the... Oh shit, that first bit was Reeve. Yeah, I did it in the wrong order. How was I supposed to know that?
This is me playing the game as well.
I just thought because it was especially for a kid was the second line. I'm like, oh well, Denzel,
yeah, that's
Reeve must be
sympathize.
saying that.
Yeah, that's a bit
Okay.
weird. It's fine. Do you want to let the dog go?
Um,
Oh wait, did you need
Give
to
me a
finish?
sec,
Hang on,
somebody
you hadn't
just-
finished that. Sorry.
I kept thinking on the train tracks that I wished I could grow up faster. Maybe then things would make more sense, at least a little bit.
I was gonna say that line when Cloud, like the thought of Cloud saying back then I only got scraped knees or scarred knees, whichever one it is. I read that in Aerith's voice. So I was editing the video and I was just putting text. I was like a classic Aerith quote. Oh, what's it? That's so cool.
is that a different sub,
I
or is that him
think.
giving the sub away?
He did something, I think. I don't know. Well, thank you for whatever you did. I don't know what it is
Continuing
though.
the gift sub they got from Pedro.
Does that mean like use? I don't understand. Well, thank you. You just sub. I don't understand, but
Oh, yeah, you
Pedro
would not-
gifted it.
True, Final Fantasy 3 is such a bitch.
What? What does that mean?
They continued
What
the
does that
sub.
mean? Either way, thank you so much. I
That's
don't
so
know what it
weird.
means. Don't just keep saying it.
But the thing is, previously,
Ow!
Pedro gifted a sub and it went to Ryan.
Yeah. So, but that's why it's saying
So how
continue.
can-
But then I don't understand.
So
what
then
it
how
means.
can Ryan sub?
I don't know.
Oh, by subbing, it just means that that's gonna... I don't know how that works.
I
Alright,
have
never mind.
no idea what
Let's
that
keep going.
means.
Let's keep
I'm
going.
sorry, I don't
Thank you, though.
understand it. But then I said I don't
Okay,
understand.
come on,
I
come
don't.
on,
I
come
don't
on,
get
come
it.
on, come on, come on.
So, oh, I think is that what it means that you've like prepaid a month then or something? Look,
2
either
months,
way,
yeah,
thank
2
you so
months.
much. I'm sorry there was no notification, but thank you, Ryan. Denzel. Sorry. Denzel at last reached the groundside station, where he gaped at the tide of refugees that trudged down from the plate and onto the slums. He knew he should keep walking, but he wanted to linger in the hope of maybe spotting a familiar face in the crowd. But it wasn't long before a gnawing hunger overcame all other considerations, and he began wandering around the station in search of something to eat. He came across a big pile of bags and, before that, a cluster of men who appeared to be digging a big hole. The smell of rot hung in the air. Ugh. Another man came up carrying a young woman slung over his shoulder and gently lowered her into the ground. The men were digging a mass grave. Denzel backed away from the scene and almost fell over the pile of bags and possessions. Looking down at his feet, he saw a backpack decorated with a picture of a chocobo. That is such an oof. Jesus Christ.
Big oof, big L.
Big
Big
oof.
L for her. Stigma got her.
The way this book's written is really good. Spurred by a sudden impulse, he grabbed the backpack and looked inside. It was full of cookies and candy. He thought of the girl it belonged to, but she was dead. Okay, well, you didn't need to spell it out, but I guess they did,
She
so
was dead?
there's
Wait, really?
that. I didn't get that from the mass grave and the bag being left there. I didn't get that, actually.
Eat while you can.
Oh, sorry. It was Gaskin. Denzel realized he was the person he'd been vaguely hoping to find. Aww.
Worried you'll catch the sickness? No one knows if it's actually contagious. It might be, or then again it might not. But one thing's for sure, you've gotta eat. Even if you're gonna die anyway, might as well do it on a full stomach.
He said as he reached into the backpack and helped himself to a cookie.
Not bad. Now best chow down. No point letting him go to waste.
Yeah, I guess I agree, but that's still a bit weird. Denzel ate one too. The buttery sweetness was comforting. Still looking down at the backpack, he said,
Thank you.
"Oh, he's saying thank you to the backpack like he's saying thank you to the girl." Oh, Gaskin ruffled his hair. He's not like Dad at all, but he ruffles my hair the same way. Oh! This book is gonna make me cry. They ended up staying right there in the area around the station. His first job was finding food in the abandoned bags and belongings. He banded together with other children like him, orphans with nowhere to go but the streets. Gaskin made friends too, a bunch of idiots who aren't happy unless they're using their muscles to get stuff done, he said. Some of them were the same men who had been part of the makeshift burial crew at the station. During this time, Denzel occasionally caught himself smiling. It almost felt as if he'd gone back to being his old self. But after a few more weeks, the flow of refugees from Upper Midgard thinned. Midgard thinned. And there were no more bodies to bury and no more abandoned baggage to search. Gaskin and his crew's role there was coming to an end. Denzel started to get scared again, wondering what would happen next. One day a man came by, searching the rubble for something. Eventually, he approached Denzel and his friends.
Listen, kids. I need metal pipes. Lots of them. Think you can find any?
Denzel and his pals went hunting amid the wreckage and ruin of Sector 7, and they came back with a fine haul. The man thanked them and left. After that, the man kept coming back, always looking for more parts and materials. Sometimes he'd bring along friends who were also searching for stuff. A new town was going up to the east of Midgar, and they needed materials for its construction. The kids brought whatever they could carry, and the people paid for their finds with food. The Sector 7 scavengers, they called themselves. That's so cute and sad. Jobs were plentiful, and they felt proud to be working and living like adults. Plus, it was fun rummaging through the rubble looking for valuable prizes. Like treasure hunting. Sure, in the evening sometimes, one or the other of them might cry for their parents, but they cheered one another up, like friends do, and they started to talk about how they'd be together forever. However, destiny had not tied them together as tightly as they...
Karen. Sorry, back chesting.
However, destiny not tied them together as rightly as they thought. One morning, Gaskin assembled his friends, that is, the men in the crew and the kids of the scavengers, and said it was time they moved to the new town so they could help with the construction efforts there. Just when they started to reach an agreement, let's do what Gaskin says, one of the kids asked a question.
Gaskin, are you sick?
The girl had noticed him rubbing his chest as he spoke.
Kind of.
Gaskin unbuttoned his jacket. Underneath his shirt was soaked black.
After that, Gaskin was dead. Everyone came together and buried him in a nice spot. It's funny, but it seems like the good people always die first.
Oh, Reeve nodded solemnly. Denzel took a sip of coffee. He hated coffee. It was so bitter, but he wanted to hurry up and learn to like it, like grown-ups did. The men moved on, but about 20 of the kids stayed behind and continued on as the Sector 7 scavengers. They heard rumors about how the new town of Edge was growing by leaps and bounds, and they knew there were orphanages there. But they knew they were helping with the building efforts right where they were, and they liked getting by on their own wits. They saw no reason to walk away from what they had, and besides, they were too proud to go begging for protection as helpless orphans. Progress, however, marches on, and their way of life was about to come to an end. Childish pride couldn't slow the development of Edge or stop heavy machines being used in the construction. In the time it took Denzel and the crew to haul a single iron girder to a customer, one of the big cranes could lift up a whole house and carry it off. Their numbers steadily dwindled as the children left, one or two at a time, until Denzel looked around one night and saw that only 6 remained of the original crew. And even with these few mouths to feed, they were hungry. Then the last girl announced she was leaving for Edge. Denzel chuckled.
What's so funny?
Asked Reeve.
I hated that girl. The boys said having a girl along slowed them down, but whenever we split into groups, they all wanted to go with it. When there was a lot of us, it didn't matter so much, but toward the end, it was a real pain.
Reeve chuckled too.
But I realized something now. My being ticked off was a good thing. It meant I'd gotten to the point where I could sweat the small stuff, like in normal life. Maybe you should thank her the next time you see her. Can't do that. She's dead now.
Fuck. What
Damn.
the fuck?
Everyone
Hi,
do be
Warrior
dying.
Star, welcome.
This is a book just where everyone dies.
It is so far.
On the way to a sad face.
On the way to a grave.
On the way to a frown. On the way to a tear.
I kind of think on
Fucking
the way to a
bottom.
grave was kind of good, but you just dismissed that with on the way to
Sorry,
a
I
frown.
thought it was so good.
Okay, keep
You're
going.
so dumb.
Keep going.
One morning he woke up to find that One morning he woke up to find that the only scavengers left were him and his pal Rix.
All we can handle now are screws and light bulbs.
Denzel said, laughing. Rix grinning in reply.
Sure, but we'll corner the market and make a killing.
Okay, that was Rix, not Denzel.
They just have to. They're both kids. They're both just kids that have the same
Pathetic.
Well, you want me to do a slightly different high-pitched American
Yeah.
accent? I can't.
Do a different accent altogether.
voice. Sure, but we'll corner the market and make a killing.
That's perfect.
I'll go find us breakfast and maybe some work too. Okay, hold up.
Rix went over to where they stashed their cash box and opened the lid.
Shit, Denzel, we've been crossed.
What is going on with that? They've been left with nothing, not even enough for a chunk of bread. The two sat for a while in silence. Rix was the first to open his mouth.
Guess we gotta go to Edge now. Find one of those charities that give out free food. You giving up? If you want to call it that. I'm not starving to death.
I call it not starving to death.
I call it not starving to death. You
See?
fucking idiot.
You fool! Out of nowhere, Denzel recalled something his father had said.
We could catch some rats. Rats? Yeah, people in the slums used to do it all the time, right? Because chicken was too expensive. I bet they taste okay once you cook them. You serious?
You serious?
Yeah, I'm gonna
You
eat a rat.
serious?
Like a real slum kid.
Rick stood up slowly and brushed the dust from his clothes. Denzel got to his feet too, already looking around.
We need a stick. You're on your own, bud. This slum kid is moving on. Been an eye-opener, though, finding out what you topsiders thought of us down here.
Denzel realized his error and tried to smooth things over.
Look, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Seemed clear enough to me. You think folk like my family and me ate rats? We ain't damn animals.
Like we were.
I know, but it's the same sentiment. Just go with it.
Okay.
I messed it up and I improv. It's fine.
Okay, you did improv well,
Go.
to be fair. I'm sorry.
Oh wait, no, this is me.
No, it's not that. Well, you don't know nothing about anything, dumbass. You're just another stuck-up brat from the plate.
Star
Rix.
slash question mark star exclamation mark. Because they said dumbass. And they always blur stuff like that,
Oh.
with like all the stars.
You don't know anything
Come
about
on,
anything.
get on my
you
level,
fuck.
man. You
Rix.
cunt!
Rex, there's something else you should know. Thanks for all the sewage you topsiders flushed down here. The rats are full of really bad germs. We wouldn't have dreamed of eating them.
With that, Rick's left. Wow. Wow.
Three,
Look at him. He's such a little naughty dog.
2.
We've been listening to this on loop for like an hour. How long has it been?
Sad music. We have another track we can
An
choose.
hour.
What track can we choose? Is On the Day 5 Years Ago still really good? Or can we use like... Is there not... There's like... I swear there's like a piece of Midgar music we could use. Is there not?
Probably.
What about the music? What about... Oh, it's Crisis Core though.
Nope.
What about the Midgar music for Crisis Core? You just don't listen to it. Everyone else listens to it.
No. 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 Headlock and noogie her for 10 seconds.
What the fuck? Only for money.
Why do I deserve that? What the fuck? Welcome, Hunt. Nice to meet you. Serious music. Yeah, that's why I said it. I don't want spoiler music. Stupid spoiler music.
What is it? I can't even find it.
The headphones were hiding the mess my hair is right now. And they all ruined it.
What's it?
Yeah, I'm sure there is remake music you could use.
Okay, let's
Tifa! Tifa! Tifa!
use...
Tifa!
Let's use remake. Let's use Hollow. Or is it Hollow? It's Hollow Skies I want, isn't it? Wait, which is the one without lyrics?
Save yourself the hassle of finding an engineer you can
This
trust
is remake
with
music.
British Gas
Oh.
home care cover.
Can we not unplug the headphones? I'm sure it won't come across that bad
It
on
will.
stream. Okay.
This one. This is the one. Yeah, this is a good one.
Don't make it too fucking loud, dickhead.
It's not.
Okay. What you doing, son? James, what's he got?
You can do this. I'll go see you. But take these.
Do,
got it, buddy.
do, do, do. Please stop asking, Hunt. It's not funny anymore. It was funny the first time. We're not going to do that. Sounds fucking weird. Oh, this is perfect. This is the best. I've forgotten all the remake music. I'm definitely in OG music mode. I mean, when I hear guitar, I think of the best game ever. I've only played Crisis Core. Denzel side.
I mean, that's what happens. I've the only piece of media
Elva side.
I have. The only piece of music I've ever consumed, the only piece of media I've ever consumed in my life is Crisis Core. And the first time I saw a guitar in real life, I was like, this gives me Crisis Core vibes. This does.
I don't get it, but I do get it. I can infer the. You look so proud of yourself.
Yeah, let's keep going.
What's the what?
Well, it's not that funny. That's why I was smiling.
Oh, you just look so proud of yourself.
Okay, come on, where were we?
Denzel side.
I didn't try to follow him. I figured he wouldn't forgive me. Why not? Because he was right. I still didn't think I belonged down here. I stuck to the neighborhood around my station and the rubble in Sector 7. I never thought of going anywhere else in the slums, and I didn't go to Edge because I thought that would just be more of the same, all poor and dirty. What happened to Rix? He's alive, doing okay, but we don't talk. Well, as long as he's around, you still have a chance to patch things up with him.
Reed is big into peacemaking. Every person is like, forgive them! Make friends with them again. Talk to them.
Well, Reeve that's his character, isn't it? He works for Shinra, but also he's with Avalanche. He's the bridge between two opposing forces.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I guess that does
because
make him a bit
of a
peacekeeper.
Because he tries to change things from within Avalanche rather than destroying shit and tearing it down. He tries to make change from the inside. He's a good guy. He's a very peaceful guy.
Gosh, it's really cool seeing how Remake brought things to life.
Oh yeah, we've got there's remake gameplay.
Yeah, it's showing Aerith's house.
It's just Cloud wandering around Aerith's house. And
I have to imagine, like, oh, that's great, because in part 2 I will get to experience that.
What?
The bringing to life of things from the OG. Because I was gonna say, like, it's so cool to imagine, like, playing the OG and then getting to see it brought so much more to life with the remake. Yeah. And I don't mean that, like, that the remake is better, but just that they're lifelike looking buildings and stuff. I think the OG has a similar amount of life to it anyway.
I do like I like the style of Midgar more in the OG than I do in remakes, because they changed it a bit and it feels a bit different. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it.
I think to me it feels fine. Don't really know.
I think what I actually really dislike more is the style of how Midgar looks in Reunion more than remake, because it's still Crisis Core's level design and layout, but it looks like remake. And it just doesn't. I don't like it. It feels weird to look at.
Okay. I've got Crisis Core ahead of me, so let's go.
Alright. Bottom right paragraph.
Denzel found a stick, sharpened it into a mean point, and went looking for rats. He really did plan to eat one.
The dude just told him that they're so full of bad chemicals.
He didn't believe him.
Okay.
Dad, people in the slums don't eat rats, but I will. I don't have money or work. I'm a Sector 7 topsider, but it's just a pile of rocks and broken metal now. I don't belong here. I can't go on living here. Loneliness so...
What? Is something playing? What?
It's Spanish Cloud. He just said something.
Oh. Probably before this.
I think it might be a bit further before that.
No, I can hear it.
Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Just go back.
I just heard
go
it.
back 10 seconds. Just if you listen to it. It's just casually.
That's not Spanish. That's.
I think it is. Casa de la Hoja.
The text might be, but that was definitely Japanese.
Let me hear it
That
again.
was definitely Japanese audio.
I just was looking at the
Spanish people don't speak like that.
Yeah, that's how Bien Echo sounded. When I
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Okay, well listen, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't
That was absolutely not Spanish. That was the Japanese voice. Come on, keep reading,
I wasn't listening to it, so
we haven't finished chapter 1 yet. Read.
We have to get Reeve.
Please read, or I'm just gonna read. Loneliness.
Yeah, that was very obviously Japanese. I'm sorry.
Loneliness.
4
lines up.
Loneliness slowly started Denzel's. Sorry. Loneliness. Blah, blah, blah. Loneliness slowly stole Denzel's will to live. It was like after the fall of Sector 7, but now no one was left to help him. His parents, Arkham, Ruby, Gaskin, the scavengers, they were all gone, and no more good things would ever come for him. He felt like he'd never laugh again. There's no point to a life without laughter. Doesn't matter now. The rats will help me. Them and their really, really bad germs. Wait, he's
Whoa.
trying to, like, kill him.
What?
He's, like, hoping
he
he's
is.
gonna
Yeah,
die.
he's hoping he's gonna die. Yeah. Whoa! Whoa!
Oh.
Seriously?
I didn't realize you were doing a voice
Come
when
on.
you said whoa the first time. Cried Johnny, who apparently had been eavesdropping.
I'm just saying what I thought at the time. I know I was wrong. I'm still here after all. Well, yeah, sure. Because someone did come along. Uh-huh.
Reeve added.
Just when things were looking the worst.
There wasn't a rat to be found. He kept searching, though, aimlessly and listlessly, until he eventually reached the slums under Sector 5. He found a church there that was starting to fall apart.
A church in the Sector 5 slums!
I know that one! Keep losing my place.
Third line down after the
A
asterisk.
motorcycle was parked in front of it. It was like no other bike he'd ever seen. But what really caught his eye was the cell phone hanging from the handlebars. A smile came to his face. I'll just borrow it for a second. It'd be funny if the call went through. He took the phone and dialed the number for his house, imagining a phone ringing in the rubble of Sector 7. I was gonna say, I just realized Roche is also from Remake Only.
Roach. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's
Roach,
not.
yeah.
He's not in the
Soldier.
OG. I only realized that
Soldier Roche,
because
I ride my
the
bike.
motorbike reminded me of him. Anyway, all sectors. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
it.
it's you.
All Sector 7 numbers are out of service.
It was a really nice feminine voice. Well done. He had asked around for information about his parents when he was working with the scavengers, but he never found out anything. He figured they had been buried under rubble somewhere. It wasn't like he thought they were still alive. All Sector 7.
All Sector 7 numbers are out of service.
With the phone to his ear, Denzel looked up at the underside of the Sector 5. Somewhere up there, he realized Ruby was asleep forever. He was standing beneath her grave. No wonder it felt so lonely here.
All Sector 7 numbers are out of service!
He hung up. He thought about smashing the phone against the ground, but then decided against it. Just one more. Let me try one more. He was going to call Ruby's house, but he couldn't remember her number. Actually, he had never known it in the first place. It occurred to him to scroll through the incoming call history. He decided to call the number at the top. This time it rang, and the person at the other end quickly picked up.
Cloud? What a surprise. You never call. Is something wrong?
Oh, Clouds in the church!
Keep going. Denzel listens. Silently.
Denzel silently listened to the woman.
Cloud?
She asked warily.
No.
The music got more intense as well. It's like do 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 do.
Who is this? What are you doing with Cloud's phone? I don't know. Who are you? I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Oh, his voice trembled.
Are you crying?
He thought he felt tears as he closed his eyes to wipe them away. Pain shot through his forehead. It caused him to seize up and drop the phone. He hunched over double, holding his head. He felt something sticky on his hands. I don't really want to die. He tried to scream, but the pain wouldn't let him. So he prayed silently as hard as he could. Don't let it be the dark stuff. Don't let it be the dark stuff. Bracing himself against the throbbing pain, he opened his eyes. The palms of his hands were inky black. Wait. What?
He's got the sting now.
But this isn't. But this is a flashback.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's the Ellie of Final Fantasy VII.
We'll find out.
Or it's just ink. He's just got ink on his hands.
He's just been inked.
I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up, I was in a real bed. Tifa and Marlene were looking at me. The rest you already know, right? More or less. I'd be dead 10 times over if it weren't for all the people who helped me.
Marlene.
My parents, Ruby, Gaskin, the guys in the scavengers, people who are still alive and people who aren't. Tifa, Cloud, Marlene, even...
Wait, he knows Cloud too, so ends up meeting Cloud. Reeve nodded like he knew already.
I want to help people like people have helped me. It's my turn to do the protecting.
Reeve was silent.
Please let me join.
Denzel leaned forward in determination.
No way, man.
Johnny intercepted.
You stay out of it. You're just
Denzel
a kid.
snapped.
That doesn't matter. Actually,
Said Reeve.
the WRO no longer enlists minors. Aha! See?
Why are you so proud, Johnny? What the fuck, man?
Why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? Said Denzel.
Said Denzel sullenly.
Because it's a brand new policy. In fact, I just decided it now while I was listening to your story. There are some things only kids can do, and I think you should be doing them. Like what? Like helping grown-ups be strong when we need to be.
Aww. Denzel waited for him to say more, but Reeve stood up to indicate the talk was over.
Oh, and one more thing.
Reeve began.
Thank you for taking care of my mother.
Reeve took a folded handkerchief from his own pocket and flicked it open. The fabric was covered in a familiar pattern of tiny pink
Oh my.
Oh my god!
It's so good.
Oh no! Oh. Wait, I assume he knew though that Ruby died. Like he obviously figured that out, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Like I would imagine. Like yeah, he would have been like he would have pogged. Not pog, maybe not. Okay, maybe not pogged, but he would have definitely done something. And interject and be like, "Hey, you mean she dead?" Oh.
It's good though. I like that.
Oh, it's such a good reveal. Okay, after Reeve left, Johnny began clearing the table. Denzel stared at his own handkerchief laid out in front of him.
You know, kiddo,
Johnny said.
you can fight whenever and wherever you want, if that's what you're itching to do. What's so special about the WRO that you want to sign up? Cloud. What about him? He was in the military once. I figured that's why he's so strong. I want to be strong like him. Thing is, kid, times are changing. Like how? Well, let's see. Some guys can swing a mean sword and chase off monsters, while some guys are better looking after folk and taking away their pain. I'm thinking that in times like these, the ladies will choose the latter over the former. I'm not doing it to try and get girls. Sheesh.
Denzel said stiffly. But he was thinking of the people who'd ruffled his hair and the people who'd held his hand, the people who had made him feel liked when the world seemed to be falling apart. Whether they were men or women, grown-ups or kids, weren't those people the strongest of all?
There we go.
Wow! That was really good.
It's great.
That was so good.
Okay. we
Also,
need to-
I like that it's technically 100% accurate that Cloud was in the military.
Well, like, he was.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that he didn't say, oh, well, Cloud was a soldier. He said
Yeah.
Cloud was in the military. So he's like,
Well, yeah, I mean that's
let's
quite
not
good because
lie.
it shows that getting
maybe
to know
Cloud,
Cloud
he
said
tells
he was
the truth. Yeah.
like he doesn't say.
Because he definitely would have said soldier if Cloud was still perpetuating that for no reason at all. That's great. It was great.
Are you ready for the next little bit?
Oh, you're playing this music. Okay.
This is the bit that comes next. All right, I'll read this bit. You ready?
Okay, wait. No, you're playing them over top of each other, you fuckhead.
A little bit of
You
little bit.
moron.
Okay, sorry.
You
Okay.
remixed it. The remix! The ultimate remix!
You ready? Next page. We're on Livestream Black 1.
Okay.
He could feel the life stream incessantly trying to erode his spirit, his experiences, thoughts, emotions, and memories. If he gave himself over to the pull of the current, everything he was would be subsumed. His existence dissolved.
I like the original better.
You need to listen to
Sorry.
this.
Sorry. I like the original better.
His existence would dissolve. His existence dissolved into the great spirit energy that circled through the planet. He would not let that happen. The planet was there to be ruled. To give his own energy was to concede defeat. He felt a surge in the life stream, a great upheaval, a sign he knew of another defeat. What are you doing? Oh, is it just loud?
It's just quite loud.
When the live stream burst out above ground, it meant Cloud's victory was more secure than ever. Cloud had twice sent him into the live stream, and he would not allow it to happen again. He could only cling to the core of his consciousness. He could keep himself apart from the abyss and stay free of the planet and its insatiable appetite. He had made his decision. Cloud will become the nucleus. He yearned to tell Cloud this. Oh, this is his voice, doesn't it? I have not forgotten you. You are still in my mind. You do not know this yet, but soon you will.
Is that meant to, I don't know how I would know, but is that meant to be like a post OG?
Mm-hmm. It's...
Come on now.
Can you tell what it is?
Fucking...
What that's about? I don't want to just, like, tell you. but it's very implied. Sorry.
So it is after the OG.
Yeah, all of this is after the OG.
Well, the nucleus would mean like a new life thing.
It says
But I'm not-
Cloud had sent him twice into the life stream.
Yeah.
So this is Sephiroth in the life stream.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you mean? But I thought you meant about what it means, as in what's gonna happen.
Well, he's trying to do something.
He's
Sephiroth's-
trying to make Cloud the nucleus of something.
Well, so Cloud will be the central part of his thing, his plan. Like, he needs Cloud. He has to use Cloud.
Okay. On the way to a smile, let's go. It's taken us an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah, maybe it will take us a bit longer to do
I
these.
told you it'd take 2 streams. Well, it literally would take exactly 2 streams, give or take.
Yeah.
Like,
If we
I was
do-
damn
how many
right.
chapters are there? There's 6, right?
Oh, why are there pictures of everybody then? I thought it was a chapter per
1,
person.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I want to
Yeah,
get to
there's 6.
Yuffie's chapter!
So, do we want to do Tifa and Barrett today? And then next time we'll do Nanaki, Yuffie, and Shinra.
You're really holding out on me here on Nanaki, aren't
I
you?
know.
That's
Nanaki's
actually...
the best chapter too.
And that's probably my most excited one because I think of all the characters, Nanaki's story held the most weight for sure. Nanaki's was the best. I mean, Yuffie's was really good. Vincent's was really interesting. I wouldn't say Vincent was my favorite, but it was the most interesting in terms of like the overarching story. You got like Barrett's was like really. I was not expecting Barrett's, but it was really good. But I think Nanaki's was just like I don't know.
Nanaki's the best chapter.
Red
in this
13
book.
be
It's
doing
so
bits.
good. I mean, every chapter in this book's really good, except for the last one, which is a bit stupid. But
Red 13's still only like a teenager when this is set.
yeah,
He's like, hey guys, I've got so much of my life ahead of me.
yeah, this is set.
With a nose like his, how could it not be the best?
I thought this was set 2 years after the end of 7. Why did the beginning say 4 years? I thought this was set 2 years after. Isn't that the point?
I'd say, how quick do you think we're reading? Like a page every 2 minutes, probably.
Yeah, well, we started reading at
Sounds
10
about
past,
right. Yeah.
10 past 8, so it's taken us an hour and a half.
To read. Only 30 pages? That's not right.
It just took us a while, I guess.
I guess we are commentating in between, but still.
Wait till you play Dirge. Yeah, just wait till you play Dirge. Oh boy.
I think if we were just reading it,
I
it'd be more
don't know
like
when
2
next time will
minutes,
be. Maybe like Sunday. I don't. Or maybe just next Wednesday. I don't know.
but- Yeah, I had put in my schedule we were gonna do it tomorrow, but then
But,
James
yeah, I'm
was like,
streaming 9, so we can't. Okay, let's just keep
I
going.
do think it would be hard for us to sit down and do like a really long second stream. I think when you're reading, it takes a lot out of you. You know, it's tiring. Like if it's like because we're talking, like it's a lot on the voice, the old vocal cords. That's what Half-Assed It's a good story. It's really good so far. We're on Tifa chapter now.
I want the
Tifa,
one?
Tifa baby, Tifa
I want
baby.
the one from
Tifa
remake.
baby,
Is this
Tifa
remake
baby.
or is this original?
I mean, I would imagine because the picture.
Well,
I can't hear it
you-
yet. Oh, that sounds like the remake. Yeah.
There's
There's no way. Yeah, it's the remake. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
remake,
yeah,
okay,
that's
good.
definitely the remake. Yeah.
It's nice to have the remake. Plus, I think I like using the remake music outside of the OG. I feel like the OG's music should stay contained to the OG. Because I'm looking at it. It's that was perfect volume.
I don't think it was. I think half of our voice volume is right. Is that
Alright.
not? Do you not think?
That's definitely not half though, is it? You can't even hear it. Use the Advent Children version. Is there an extended version of the Advent Children version though?
No, we're not doing that
This
because I'll
is
be
fine.
watching
Okay,
that.
okay,
I am not having music
okay.
spoiled.
Well, it's a shit movie.
You
anyway.
fucking
Whatever. It's a fucking
morons.
shit movie.
Is
Maybe
it?
you'll like it more because you've read the book and you understand what's going on. But even still, like it's not a story. The movie's not even
Oh,
a
really?
story. Well, it is, but
What do
like
you
it's
mean by-
not.
Just don't you. I think you think you're not saying anything, but by setting me like any expectations,
Look.
it's annoying. I don't want to know things.
You don't. The last thing you want is to like cry watching Advent Children, and then in a month be like, oh, that's dumb because I don't feel.
Well,
that
I will cry watching it if there's something to cry at.
It's so bad.
if wait, is Advent Children set?
Set after this,
Oh, okay, I was gonna say if Aerith was in it.
like
but
just after this.
that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Tifa was cleaning up after having seen off the last of Seventh Heaven's customers for the day. A short while ago, she would have done the work without care, but now in the dim gloom of the bar's kitchen, the water felt icy cold and the grime stuck stubbornly to the plates and pots. Ugh. Some sibilance, some alliteration. I feel like I'm back in school. It's really nice though. She tried turning on all the lights to lift her mood, but the unstable electric supply wasn't up to the task, and soon the lights dimmed again, bringing her mood even lower. Interesting. The bit about electric. Do I really have to be all alone in this place? Eventually, she couldn't stand it any longer and called No? What?
Well, it's like it's basically what she is at this point.
I guess that's in the sense of like she's her carer, like she
Yeah.
is a parent, but she and Barrett aren't together, right?
No.
Okay, because that's what I thought, and I went.
No.
That
Well,
did
so
that.
far,
I've
we
never
don't-
once. I mean, first of all, I would like to imagine Cloud and Tifa got things going on.
So far,
but-
we don't know where Barrett is. So
That's a good point.
yeah.
Barrett, but there's a Barrett chapter, so it's all good.
Okay.
Marlene.
I can't believe you're doing a Tifa voice. This is
My
awful.
Tifa voice is good.
Do it again.
Marlene.
At one point I had a Tifa voice down, but the rest of the time I didn't. But there's
Keep
one
going.
moment where it was kind of good.
Keep going.
Okay. Before long, she heard cautious steps from the kids' room back behind the shop, and then Marlene poked her head out.
Shh.
She hissed, finger to her lips, scowling in a childish rebuke.
Sorry.
Tifa whispered, though she immediately felt better despite the scolding.
Denzel finally fell asleep.
Wait, Marlene isn't that young here. Well, she was never. She was
She's
all 30.
older now,
She was
yeah.
always 30.
She's.
But no,
Yeah, she's old. Well, there's a picture of her on the
Is there?
picture of it in the book
Where?
with Barrett next to
Oh
Barrett.
yeah, there is. She doesn't look like super young,
Yeah.
but yeah. Oh.
Probably like- she's about Denzel's age, I think.
Yes.
So she's like 10, 11.
But she's acting like she's older than him. I imagine she's like 12 and he's 10, and she's like, oh my god, he's a baby because
Yeah,
I'm 12.
yeah.
I'm a big kid.
But also Denzel has the stigma, so she's looking after him because he's sick.
The stigma.
That's what it's called.
When did they say that?
Denzel said it to Reeve when he was talking to
Okay.
him. He's like, nobody knew what the stigma was. They all thought it was contagious, but they didn't
Oh
know it was just
yeah, I do remember that
Genova
line. Okay,
or
yeah,
whatever.
fair.
Yeah.
It's just when you said that, and I was like, the stigma.
Yeah. He has the ligma.
Yes.
Was he hurting? Uh-huh. You could have come get me.
No, he said not to. I'm trying to juggle two women voices at the same time.
Oh.
How pathetic was she that a young boy was worried more about burdening her than his own illness,
Did you need
Aw.
something?
said Marlene.
Oh, I just...
Tifa hid her feelings as best she could, grasping for a neutral, light-hearted answer. Marlene's eyes shifted to the empty bar, and then back to Tifa.
You're lonesome, aren't you?
Marlene sounded very grown-up when she said things like that.
A little.
I'm not...
I'm not going anywhere.
Sorry.
I know. Thank you, Marlene. Now, go to bed, okay? That's what I was trying to do.
She's giving Yuffie right now.
Sorry.
Tifa left the dishes half unwashed and followed her. Marlene's parents had died a while ago, and her father's best friend, Barrett, had taken her in. Oh, they tell you his story in summary there.
Yeah.
It's not really relevant though, because like like I don't know. I
It's
guess
important to know she's adopted, that she's not her biological parent.
right. Yeah. I don't know. It just feels weird that they're telling us now like we didn't know or something. But
Well,
I guess
mean, they
that's
also
part
treat
of
it as
it.
if
yeah.
you hadn't read Final Fantasy
Yeah,
VII,
read Final
or played
Fantasy
Final
VII.
Fantasy VII too.
The iconic book.
Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
they have to
yeah.
establish elements.
Yeah, it's fair. No, it's fair enough. It's just weird reading it after I've played the game. So, so Tifa had known her since she met Barrett. Nearly half the little the little girl's life. And since Barrett had made up his mind to go off somewhere to settle some things, as he put it, it naturally fell to Tifa to look after her. I see. Interesting. Denzel was sleeping in one of the two beds lined up side by side in the kids' room, his breathing soft and even. It was heart-wrenching to see the marks of geostigma on an 8-year-old boy. 8?
So he's eight,
Oh,
yeah.
right, and then when he's talking to Reef, he's 10.
No.
It said. It did. I swear to fuck, he said 10 at some point. I swear to fuck, it said 10. 10 years old, didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it?
Maybe it did. So maybe that's... Oh, maybe... Maybe that scene with Reeve
Is in the future.
is 2 years after the rest of the book.
Oh, yeah, because it does. He does. I swear he says he's 10. It is.
Oh, right.
Look who is paying attention. This
That
is just
makes
to
so
just
much
just
more
bringing
sense.
back the thing of that stigma. Look, I didn't process that one, but I processed the age.
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
I must not even
Apparently,
like,
James
process
never
that.
knew that.
Yeah, no, I didn't even think.
Who's the dumbass? You.
That makes
Use
so
the dumbass.
much sense. Obviously, it's after Advent Children. All right, keep going.
I like that as well because it's like we've got this whole sort of back, like we're now back in the story, but they've got this whole like looking back on things approach with the
And
first
that's
chapter.
why you've got the WRO and everything as well. Yeah, obviously. I'm so done.
Don't
Alright,
say
keep
things like that.
Keep going.
Not that that really matters, but yeah.
Elva loves the lore of the WRO. She just needs to
Well,
be
we'll
immersed in
just
it.
don't.
WRO, my favourite organisation in the Final Fantasy VII universe. Keep
Anyway.
going.
Denzel was sleeping in one of the two beds lined up side by side in the kids' room, his breathing soft and even. It was heart-wrenching to see the marks of geostigma on an 8-year-old boy. He wasn't getting worse, but he wasn't getting any better either. The pain came and went, but when it was bad, it was very bad. With some wet gauze, Tifa dabbed at the dark bruises on the boy's forehead, from which a dark liquid kept seeping. He winced a little, but continued to sleep. Marlene had been looking on, but now she crawled into the covers of her own bed.
Tifa, you shouldn't be lonely. You have us. I know. I'm sorry.
She meant it.
It's okay. We have people we miss too. Yeah. Hey, where do you think Cloud is now?
Tifa shook her head. He was somewhere in Midgar, but she couldn't say where. When Cloud didn't come back that time, she tortured herself with worst-case scenarios, like him crashing his bike or being ambushed by monsters. But then people would see him and report back, tell her that he was still working, riding around the city and sometimes outside it. He hadn't been killed or hurt, he'd simply run away from home. Usually Tifa could pretend nothing was wrong, at least for the kids' sake, but it just wasn't in her anymore. For long, they had figured it out too.
Why'd he go away?
As if she knew. Maybe he had problems with his life, with her, but then she could remember the last smile Cloud had flashed at her. It had a kindness to it, as if to say, everything will be alright. Or did she misread it? Did she even know what he was thinking? That day, the chosen day, meteor hurtling down from the distant outer space, the light stream erupting from the planet to meet it above Midgar. Just let it wash away everything, Tifa remembered thinking. My past, our past, and me too. Even as she felt relief that the fighting was over at last, the first stirrings of an icy anxiety began to grip her chest. Was she really supposed to just carry on regardless? Whenever someone else asked her the same question, she answered without hesitation. Well, you have to go on living no matter what happens, and yet when she posed it to herself, she wasn't so sure. When the Shinra Electric Power Company developed Mako Energy and brought it to the masses, the whole world had prospered. But even as light spilled across the land, the shadows also deepened, and the anti-Shinra faction Avalanche had worked to expose those shadows to the public. They make Mako... I'll just say it.
Quote.
They make Mako Energy by sucking the life out of the planet. The exploitation of Mako Energy had already set the planet on a path to destruction. Avalanche tried to warn the people, to turn Shinra back from its suicidal course, and when no one listened, they resorted to increasingly extreme methods. Eventually, they blew up one of the Midgar reactors, overlooking a heavily populated neighborhood. But they miscalculated, and the bomb caused far greater destruction than they had anticipated, not only to the reactor, but also to the surrounding areas. This finally brought the full wrath of Shinra down on the Avalanche cell. Sorry, on that, is this kind of like that's what it felt like or thought? Because it isn't. That it wasn't. Shinra actually planned that.
No, that's a remake thing.
That's a
In the
remake.
original,
Oh, they did just fuck
yeah,
up.
They actually did miscalculate,
Jesse
which I
fucked
think
up.
is better because it showed because then there's a nuance to Avalanche.
Yeah.
And it's like they actually because
Yeah,
the
I
end
do
of the
get-
game
yeah.
does somewhat condemn their methods. It's like they wanted
Yeah.
the best, but they went too far, and that's wrong. And
Yeah, like
Reeve
the
confronts
confrontation.
Barrett
Yes, yeah.
on that.
I was just about to say that.
Whereas if it's all just Shinra, it's like, oh, if
Yeah.
it had been Avalanche, they would have destroyed the reactor. They wouldn't have harmed anyone. It would have been fine. It was
Yeah.
Shinra that made it bad. It's like I don't know if that's quite as good
Yeah,
as
the grey area is more
Avalanche being
interesting.
yeah.
It's
I think
always
that's
more
better.
interesting to write characters with some grey areas instead of just being black and white, good and bad.
Because then you also come to like, because also then it plays into the whole. I mean, you still have all the arcs. Like Barrett can still be like, oh, I'm not good enough for Marlene, and like, oh, am I doing the right thing? You can still have all that.
Yeah, no,
but
for sure. I
the
don't think it
audience
affects that.
knows, and it's like,
Yeah, it does. Because I actually thinking about it,
it never felt that Avalanche was doing anything risky. It always felt that they were doing the very obvious clear thing in the remake.
Yeah.
Whereas
like
in the
they're very
game,
much heroes in
in the
almost.
game it's a lot more nuanced, as
like
you
yeah,
say.
it's kind of their fault that Sector 7 is destroyed because of their extreme, like, but it's not their fault. You know what I mean? Like, it is Shinra's fault at the end of the day. Shinra are evil, Avalanche are good. Whereas in the
but they
OG,
still
it's
fuck
like
up,
there's a nuance there, because also, you know, by the time you get to the game, like, Shinra's not the most evil part of the game at all. Like, yeah, they're bad and they're not great, but like they're nowhere near as evil as Sephiroth and Genova. So it's like, you know.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's a really interesting observation, though, because I didn't think of that at the time. Because they obviously in the OG they don't outright go, "Oh no, we miscalculated. It's our fault." Then do they?
In the OG, yeah, Jessie says it when you go down to the. She's like, I must have miscalculated. Like,
Oh!
how many people did I hurt?
I've been watching a bunch of people's playthroughs while I've been editing mine, and I actually saw someone got that dialogue. I don't think I did.
Oh.
I don't think I actually spoke to Jessie. I think I went straight to being like, "Oh man, look at Barrett painting this painting, but it's funny."
But yeah, it does. If you
But I
speak to
saw that and
Jessie,
I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting. I wish I'd spoken to her."
yeah, if you speak to Jessie,
I don't think I did.
She will say that.
That's funny. I'm pretty sure I didn't, because I remember being like, "Oh," and it was while I was editing
Because
that bit as well.
What
so I'm
that
pretty
what
sure I
that
did.
shows, because obviously you see the reactor explode first, and so you think to yourself, "Oh my god, what the fuck are Avalanche doing?" And then you hear Jessie say that, like, "Oh, they actually had good intentions. They just made a mistake."
Yeah, exactly. True. Yes. Yeah. But I think I still, because in remake they made Jessie be like, "Was it me?"
They did, yeah. In
And
remake,
for a while.
in remake, like, it serves a purpose. It
But
serves
then they
the purpose
revert.
of
Yeah.
making, when Jessie dies, she thinks she did a bad thing when really she didn't, and
yeah.
she doesn't know, and like that's
Yeah.
good. But I don't think it serves the entire narrative better.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think you could omit
Yeah.
the Jessie arc to benefit Barrett's, and the Avalanche is more, but like, well, if you just kept it in the way the OG is.
Yeah. I know Flash. I literally did speak to every NPC in existence in that game. It's why it took me 45 hours to play. But I didn't
they
get
know?
that one dialogue.
We are talking Final Fantasy
We
VII,
are.
Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Nice to meet you.
Well,
I
we're
recently
reading
played.
book, but-
Yeah, I recently played the OG, so we're reading the book now. And I've been editing a video out of my
Do they
playthrough,
know?
and I've been
I've
just been reflecting on it a lot.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we both just went, okay.
Oh, that's 3 hours. That's fine. Okay, good. We're somewhere down here.
I feel like I'm in school. Do you know when the teacher would be like, "Okay, you read," and your friend has to be like, "We're here, we're here."
Miscalculated. This finally brought the full wrath of Shinra down an Avalanche cell. That's where we are.
But okay, but they miscalculated, and the bomb caused far greater destruction than they had anticipated, not only to the reactor but also to the surrounding areas. This finally brought the full wrath of Shinra down on the Avalanche cell. What followed could only be called an atrocity. The company destroyed the entire strip of Midgar where Avalanche's hideout lay, inhabitants and all. Though they had not set the bomb themselves, Avalanche was, indirectly or otherwise, responsible for the loss of countless lives. Sorry, so the company destroyed the entire strip of Midgar where Avalanche's hideout lay.
Midgar, this is talking about when Sector 7 was
the,
destroyed.
the plate drop.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really weird,
They
because
set a
they
bomb
said
on
though.
the pillar.
Oh, and they're talking about
They
that
blew up
bomb.
the
Yeah,
pillar,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I was just thinking, I was like, wait, are they literally saying someone did a bomb that I was getting? It's sorry, it's just after what we talk about as well.
Elva has put videos on YouTube of.
I have
not of remake.
No, I only have the
Intermission.
intermission because I played remake before I even started streaming. Sadly, I appreciate your interest though. But I played intermission on stream, so I have a video of intermission. And then I'm making a video out of my OG playthrough. I'm gonna have 2 parts to it because it's just so long and it's hard to cut out anything. Yeah, unfortunately not my remake playthrough. Not my first one anyway. I did stream a second playthrough, but
that's good.
it wasn't like anything amazing.
Right at the bottom, last 2 lines.
Oh, I really read boobs there. I really read Tifa boobs. And Tifa had been part of it. She too had, that's why I read boobs. She boobs. She too had believed that Avalanche's lofty goals were worth the sacrifices. Along with the others, she'd buried the twinges of guilt beneath the mask. Beneath the narcissism of self-sacrifice. Beneath the belief that she was putting her life on the line for the greater good. That made everything fair game. With the dizzying pace of the events that followed, Tifa and the others never had the luxury to stop and think. And as their battle against Shinra gained its terrible momentum, another foe joined the fray. His name was Sephiroth. That launched them on a new journey, with Tifa was Cloud, a boy she'd known back home, Barrett, the other surviving member of Avalanche, and Aerith, and Red 13, who had joined them amid the chaos. I don't want to think about either of them. Both of them make me cry. I need the music back to soothe.
The group's out.
The group set out for Midgar together and found more companions on the way. Sid! Kate Sith, I guess. Yuffie! And Vincent. All with their own motivations to fight. New friendships blossomed, but almost as if in payment. Aerith
I love
was
how you're
taken from
pogging and
them.
all the book's doing is describing the game you played.
Yeah,
it's not even it's not
because
even a story, it's just describing
I like
the game.
being reminded of my friends.
Hey Alva, remember when you played 7 and you met Cloud and you
Yeah,
met Aerith and you
yeah.
met Red and you met Kate Sith and you met Sid and you met
Yes,
Yuffie and you met
I
Vincent? Do you remember
I
that happened in the game that you played?
I do. It was so fun. I'm just pogging at remembering. Is that not okay? Am I not allowed to be excited about my friends? That's sad. I'm calling them my friends, but you know.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, thanks, Jay. I appreciate that. Case of. What does that mean?
Oh, I think there's somewhere where it's called the Case of Tifa and the Case of Denzel, but it's not called that in the book.
Oh. I don't know if
I think
don't
that
know
might
if-
be.
Well, we're on the Tifa chapter, if that helps.
It's because it's not called
of
that in the
this.
book, is it?
Of On the Way to a Smile. I don't know. It doesn't say the chapters even.
No, episode Tifa, episode.
Oh,
Denzel,
it says
but
oh.
There is
episode.
somewhere it's referred to it like that.
Okay.
All right, keep going. New friendships blossomed.
New friendships blossomed, but almost as if in payment, Aerith was taken from them. But the quest continued. Once they felt the final battle drawing near, only then did Tifa find herself reflecting on all that had brought them to that pass and the decisions they had made without thought of victory or defeat. For her, it had begun with when she was only a girl. Trouble broke out at the Maka reactor. The Maka reactor Shinra had built near Nibelheim, and the village, her home, was threatened. The company dispatched Sephiroth to deal with it, and he killed her father. She came to loathe Shinra and Sephiroth so much that it hurt. So the music's getting more intense now as well. It was the easiest decision in the world to join Avalanche. Because of her grudge, not to save the planet or humanity. The anti-Shinra and anti-Mako slogan she shouted were just a righteous front for her own dark motives. This is really interesting. But even in the name of defending the planet, too many lives were taken, never mind for the purpose of settling a personal vendetta. The guilt, she knew, lay cooled within her, and she could only wonder how she was meant to go on living with that suffocating embrace around her heart. As she looked to what would soon be the ruins of Midgar, Tifa feared for her future. But next to her, Cloud was watching the same scene and smiling serenely. That smile was nothing she'd ever seen during their travels. Cloud sensed her gaze.
What? Cloud, you're smiling. Am I? Yep. This is where it starts. Anew.
He paused, looking for the right words.
A new life.
He finally said,
I'm going to keep on living. And I think it'd be wrong to do anything else after what's happened. Yeah, I guess you're right. When I think of how many times I've told myself that, though... When I think of how many times I've told myself that, though, it makes me laugh. What do you mean? Because I always screw it up. That's not funny. But this time, I think it'll be okay.
He thought for a bit before adding,
Because this time, I have you. We've always kind of had each other, haven't we? Yeah, but now I know what that means.
I don't know where we are, I'm just smiling.
End of that first paragraph on the right
It's
page.
so good. Together they all went...
Elva's on the way to a smile.
I'm already smiling. Together they all went to visit Aerith, laid to rest in the deep, clear spring at the Forgotten City. They all managed.
It's like the name of the book. Elva's on the way to a smile. The kids aren't alright.
Oh yeah, what's that? What's The Kids Are Alright?
Yeah, you can read that after the compilation, just before.
Is that a book as well?
It is a book, yeah.
Oh.
We can read that one too.
The kids are alright, except Aerith. She's
that
not.
book is
She's not.
simultaneously really good and really funny at the same time.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's really
Like,
very
it makes
weird.
me laugh. The existence of the book is funny, but it's not a bad book. It's a well-written book. Okay, let's go.
The world she had given her life to save was okay now. That was what Tifa told her. Then she heard someone asking, "What about you? Are you okay?" Was it Aerith's voice or her own? She couldn't tell, and she started to cry. She hadn't gotten the chance to mourn when Sephiroth killed Aerith. Neither did we! Whatever sorrow she felt quickly turned into anger and hatred for their enemy. But now, coming to this place again, the unfiltered sorrow drove deep. Stricken, she realized, I did this too. The things I did with Avalanche made many people feel like I do now. She sobbed harder, the tears wouldn't stop.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, she felt Cloud's hand on her shoulder. He is holding me here, anchoring me so I don't get lost, she thought. I can cry as much as I want now. Then I'll be ready to lean on his shoulder, because I sure don't know how to do this by myself. The journey had bound them all together, and yet it was surprisingly easy to part ways. Vincent left with no more ceremony than a stranger on a train getting off at his stop. That's weird. I don't feel like Vincent was ever really, like, super friendly with the gang. He was kind of just like...
See you around.
Yeah, that seems like a very Vincent, like,
Motherfuckers.
take care lads, I'm off, that kind of thing.
This is my stop. Hey, aren't we supposed to be friends?
Yuffie protested!
This is
I do a good Yuffie
We're getting to
voice.
find out what happened after the end of 7, like right after the end.
They
Like,
all
what
got
did
a
they
train.
do?
It's like when the meetup ended and stuff, and we all just got like, well, I guess bye to all our friends.
I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. The story's finished.
Oh, it's like every time we get together with our friends, we're like, see you in a year, maybe never, who knows? I like my Yuffie voice is better. Hey, aren't we supposed to be friends? See, better than
mine's better.
yours.
I keep
No,
going.
mine's better. Yuffie had protested. It might have been Barrett who made the point that, since they'd lived through it all, they could find one another anytime they wanted. Or maybe that was Sid. Tifa and Cloud went to Barrett's hometown of Corel. Or is that Coral? It's Corel, isn't
Corel,
it?
yeah.
For Barrett, everything had begun with the tragedy of Corel's
Mako.
How do you... Is it...
Mako.
I always say Mako.
It's a-
No, I don't.
It's a
I
Mako reactor.
I just don't know how to say words consistently.
Thanks for the
Mako
look.
reactor.
Cocoa Pup. Is that what it says? I can't read it.
Cocoa Puff, hi.
Cocoa? Right,
Doing
go on.
a post-work chilling life. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Have a good time. Where are we again? Where are we again? I'm lost.
Top of the page. Left page. Top of it.
Oh, he took one.
Yeah.
Music is very loud. He took one silent glance at the town and said, "Shouldn't have come."
No, that's Barrett saying that. Shouldn't have come.
Oh, I kind of took that as like a quoted.
No, because if it was in slants, it would have been. In
No,
her head.
but there was one time that
In
they
her
quoted. No, you quoted.
Yes.
There was something that was a quote, and that was in quotes. It wasn't slanted.
No,
and
but
you made
that's a
me read
quote.
it.
No, but that's a quote though.
Okay, I know what a quote is. I'm just saying sometimes
No,
the
but
book
that's-
means
you
it
can-
in like
okay,
that's a
but-
quote in
but
the
that's
book,
not-
or it's
okay,
a quote of
but
someone
it's
saying.
not, is it? You can tell it's not. Why are you being stupid? You could tell that's something. That's not. It's literally said and said. It's a line of dialogue.
Yeah, okay, fair. Okay, whatever. Tifa remembered he had to live with his own guilt too. So they went to Nibelheim, the place that had once been home for Tifa and Cloud. But it didn't feel like a homecoming. It only brought back unwelcome memories that were all too vivid.
We shouldn't stay here.
Cloud had said.
I feel like we're getting dragged back into the past.
Tifa had been thinking the same thing. They went to Calm. Aerith's adoptive mother, Elmira, was waiting there with Marlene. We never really wait. So this is like straight out? Yeah, because this is So this is. But wait. When did wait? This is. She already knew about Aerith because Kate Sith had already for some reason
Yeah.
randomly popped over and gone, "Yo, Elmira,
I
guess
told
what?"
Aerith's mother that her daughter's dead. That wasn't Scottish at all.
I get the sentiment though. Whom they'd left in her care. Both of them were staying with Elmira's relatives who owned a house there. Barrett and Marlene were elated to see each other again. As delicately as he could, Cloud broke the news to... No!
What?
It's a retcon!
Kate Sith already told
It's a
her!
retcon! Oh my god!
It's the first retcon of so many retcons. Oh my god.
They retconned
It begins.
Oh my goodness. Do you know, I can't lie, I do prefer that though. I would much rather
I think this is better
that,
too,
that
yeah.
Cloud, with all his friends present, they're like, "Oh, Myra." She's like, "Where's Aerith?" And, Cloud is like, "I need to sit down."
Kate
then.
Sith didn't show up and like Reeve obviously went. Like it wasn't Kate Sith. Reeve obviously went like in his suit and tie and like probably sat down and had a cup of tea with her. Like it wasn't the fucking robot cat and his big fat Moogle.
I think you might have said that that when I first found out when I was playing
Because
the
Kate
game.
Sith is with
But I
you.
don't- no, but
when
I
did he
don't-
have time to go to Calm?
That's what it sounds like he's saying. Because it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to remember that Reeve and Kate Sith, being the same person, are also separate. So it's just like hard to remember some of these things. Because I do think my reaction is like, why did Kate Sith do it? As in, why did Kate Sith
I think-
do it?
No, I
And I know, yeah, I don't know if you might have said that at the time, but I just forgot that you
I
said
like
that.
it being Reeve because Reeve again is that like bridge between.
No, Reeve is a wonderful
things,
dude.
and
He's
the
very
one that,
nice.
Like,
I
does
do-
that job.
I do think, though, I feel like Cloud, maybe, because imagine, first, can we, I guess, if, I don't know, I think both are fair. It's like a police person. It's like the difference of, like, the police coming to tell you that someone you love has died versus, like, your family coming to tell you, kind of thing.
But Reeve is not the police.
No, but that's the vibe. Is it someone that she wouldn't have known?
But Reeve's a good
She would have
guy.
been like, who the fuck are you? And he's just a really nice guy, and he's like,
But
I'm,
I think, but
I'm
he was also,
Reeve.
but he was also, he was with them.
Yeah.
Because he was helping them as
yeah.
well. Like he'd been helping them. Because he says to like he threatens Cloud and is like, I've got Elmira and Marlene. He like threatens Avalanche as Kate Sith, but in reality he's not. He's like helping them.
Right.
That's-
right.
He's just doing it to like get a one up on Avalanche.
I don't know. I
So at that
think
point, he
both are
believes he's
like.
bad.
I think they're both fair. It's just that I think if you think about it, like, I guess it's personal, because would you rather someone really nice but someone you don't fucking know show up, a cat robot?
Could you imagine opening your door and Kate Sith is there and tells you your daughter's fucking dead?
And like doesn't even say, "Hey, come on, can I come
He
in?"
bounces too. He's like, "This is Kate Sith number 2. I sacrificed myself in the temple and now I'm back. Oh, Cloud's punching Aerith.
What happened with that bit, man? That bit was wild. The fact that was real is insane. But it just bounces in and goes, "Are you Elmira? I've got to tell you some bad news."
It turns out your daughter's
And
dead.
she immediately slams the door and hides because she's like, "What the fuck is a talking cat machine?"
He takes off his crown and holds it at his chest. Your daughter's dead?
The crown, the crown takes the crown off and off. Wait, but does he do that with the cat hands or the robot body hands?
He doesn't control the Moogle, does he?
He does because he fights.
Oh yeah, true.
And he bounces.
How
he
does he
has
control
to.
it though? I don't know.
I've always believed that he controls it like a puppet, and the cat also is
The
a puppet.
Moogle
So
is
it's a
a
puppet
robot.
controlling a puppet kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just see.
I don't know.
I wanted to believe that, like, when my first belief before they started explaining it was that Kate Sith was a cat on a robot, because and then they started saying toy, and I'm like, is the robot the toy or are the cat the toy? And then they're both the toys.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I will never fully understand Kate Sith lore. It makes very minimal sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's great. I like Kate Sith.
And
I do.
every-
All in all, I think Kate Sith was a good addition.
And they all, every time they talk about
But-
him, it's different. Both are robots, yeah, but also are they though?
It's so confusing.
Because so many people keep saying to me, and I don't think it's true, but some people are saying, well, no, the cat actually has autonomy as well. It's just Reeve sometimes mind
that came
controls
up.
it or something.
No, that came up that it's like that it's like a living thing, but
Yeah,
also
it's got its
not.
own
And-
thoughts too.
Yeah, and I think it was Lux that said it was something to do with a Japanese cultural thing that they believe all inanimate objects are still inherently alive or have a spirit.
What, so you're telling me when a Japanese person is sleeping in
Okay,
their bed,
no,
they're like,
I take that back.
The pillow that I'm
It's-
lying on is alive, and the quilt is alive.
No,
The light bulb is alive.
Lux, so you hear?
when
No,
you flick
because
a light switch off, you're inherently killing a light.
I'm probably
That's
saying that in nowhere
crazy.
near as well as whoever said it did, but I think it might just be maybe a Japanese belief, not a thing that all Japanese people believe, but like a thing that maybe is in their culture that objects have an energy.
It's something specifically to do with cats.
Is it? Okay, I definitely don't think that's what someone had said. What I'm talking about. So Japanese Irish myth.
Oh god, let's just keep going. I'm going down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, we are a cat hole. I don't know.
That's disgusting.
Okay, you're right.
That could mean several
oh
things.
goodness.
That's horrible.
Oh, stop.
Okay, go. Oh wait, where were we? Oh yeah, sorry. They could. And delicately as Cloud.
Yes, yeah. I do still think Cloud should have done it. It's
Keep reading.
Sorry, but the fact that Kate Sith is just like, oh, by the way, I fucking told Aerith's mom without getting anyone's permission, even though all of you knew her way better than me.
But it makes sense. Why wouldn't he tell her? Like, he's looking after Marlene and Elmira. He's a very caring person. He knows Aerith's dead. Imagine if he just didn't tell her.
Wait, sorry. When you say he's looking after,
so like when he was, because he got them out of Midgar, right? Isn't that what happened?
yeah, Kate Sith says that. Wait, is it? Yeah, Kate Sith says they're safe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Reeve probably did get them out, but I don't think he's looking after them. Okay, so he's not a stranger.
He knows where they are, and he's looking after them.
They don't ever. To be fair,
He helps them escape Midgar.
To be fair, they never say that Reeve himself does that. He could have sent someone he trusted.
No, but he wouldn't. He doesn't trust anyone.
I'm sure he trusts someone.
The mayor probably, yeah.
Imagine the mayor turns up and it's like Aerith is dead.
Like it's Mayor Domino. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
Fifth line down, second paragraph.
Oh, sorry. As delicately as he could, Cloud broke the news to Elmira about Aerith's fate. I always do that. I'm sorry. They couldn't be sure how she would take it, but the three of them apologized for not being able to save Aerith.
I'm sure you did everything you could. You don't have to apologize to me.
That's a weird reaction, but okay. Said Elmira.
Look, but she understands who Aerith is. Like,
I would imagine that wasn't her. I imagine she didn't just go like Aerith is dead. And she's like, it's okay.
No,
I doubt that was the reaction.
But I think she probably, after living with Aerith for so long, and the fact that Aerith, whenever someone dies, she's like they just return to the planet. She's very at peace with it. It makes sense.
Maybe.
I think it would be weirder if after living with Aerith for so long, she freaked out over death. She's like, Aerith's returned to the planet. She's an ancient, you know.
Maybe. Sorry, they broke the news to Elmira about Aerith's faith. Sorry to tell you, Aerith is Protestant.
What the fuck do you mean? Hanukkah is coming up.
It's taking so long to get through this paragraph. Okay, I'm sure you did everything.
Get the fuck out of my house. Okay, keep going.
Get the fuck out, Cloud. Tifa and the others had no answer to that. Did we? Did we do everything we could? Oh.
Everything except for changing fate.
You gotta stop that. The usually sleepy town of Calm was teeming with refugees from Midgar. From Midgar, get it? Locals had opened their homes to serve as emergency shelters, and even the inn offered free rooms to displaced city folk. City folk is an Animal Crossing game. But there were too many to be housed, and the unlucky ones without a room crowded the streets, all of them exhausted, many of them ill. They're saying it's contagious.
They're saying it's contagious.
Sorry.
I don't want Marlene coming down with that. Let's get out of here.
Aww. Barrett said with unmistakable fatherly concern.
Yeah, let's go.
Cloud agreed.
Okay, so we go. But where? Back to our
interrupted.
Back to our interrupted reality. The hell does that mean?
I was just thinking that, Barrett. Barrett huffed.
Normal life. Great. Where are we gonna find that? Don't know yet, but we'll find it. Don't know yet, but we'll find it.
Cloud turned to Tifa.
Right? Right.
Marlene piped up, full of energy. Tifa nodded too, but she was wondering, like Barrett, where that normal life could possibly be. The four of them arrived in Midgar, which was already bouncing back from the chaos of the meteor near strike in the aftermath. People were keeping busy building for the future, or at least for the next day. The serpent of guilt in Tifa again tightened its grip. There were still so many people here, so many lives, and she had looked down from the sky thinking none of it mattered, happy to see it all washed away. Ashamed once more of her self-absorption, she confessed to Cloud and Barrett what she'd been thinking on the airship. Airship. They understood, but they chided her for it all the same.
I'll do this. It don't matter where we go or what we do.
Barrett had stated.
None of us is gonna be outdistancing our guilt anytime soon. So we just gotta go on living.
Barrett said.
Live out our days trying to atone. That's the only road we got.
Yeah, I suppose that's a fair point, is that she probably was, she's probably prepared for the possibility Aerith could die.
Yeah,
so.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I also, what I was trying to say is I assume she probably like kind of was taken aback and had paused for a moment. She didn't straight away just go like, that's fine. That's what I meant.
the last time she saw Aerith is when she brought
Oh, wow.
Marlene to their house
Yeah.
and then went off with Song.
Yeah.
And then she never saw her again after that.
Gosh, that's wild.
Because
Even
you
when
save
Aerith was
her.
like, you know, safe and we were just zooming around in our little airship.
Yeah.
Well, not
She never
airship,
went
but
back
we
to
were
see
zooming around
Elmira.
in our little car.
Yeah.
She never went
Tiny
back.
Bronco.
That's kind of sad. Did we have the
Um,
tiny Bronco before she died?
Yeah. It's when you leave Rocket Town.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you to get so weighed down.
Cloud told her when they were alone.
Well, it is now. No, you're stronger than that. And if you've forgotten how to be strong, I'll just have to remind you. You will you? If I can.
He managed, suddenly blushing. James, she wasn't going, you will?
I
She's
know,
like,
I messed
you
up.
will you?
No, she did not say it like
yeah,
that.
she absolutely did. At first they had their hands full taking stock of the situation in Midgar. People lacked for every sort of necessity, and no one even knew where to start looking. Barrett and Cloud and Tifa gathered info. They split up and spread the word, telling people where to find the things they needed, helping those who couldn't get them on their own. Aww. And at night they slept beneath the plate, which everyone said would fall any minute. One day, after Barrett helped dismantle a house for materials, he brought home his payment in the form of a bottle of liquor, a kerosene heater, and several kinds of fruit.
Get a load of this.
He said with a smirk. With one hand, Barrett deftly went to work preparing a cocktail. He doesn't need to. Marlene can do that for him. Tifa and Cloud gingerly sipped while Barrett upended glass after glass, recounting memories of better days. The time he'd had too many and fallen down a well. How when he'd set out to propose to his dearly departed wife, he was so nervous that he drank until he had no idea which way was up. Never mind what he was saying. The other two couldn't remember the last time they'd laughed so much. He's so wholesome. The next day saw Barrett looking serious and earnest. You know what someone's gonna do?
Is that? Oh, that's Barrett.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what someone's got to do? Open a place where we can sell this stuff. Who? You and me?
We're gonna open the fuck store! Cloud
I love
replied,
this bit.
taken off guard.
Not us, dumbass. You think either of us is cut out to deal with customers? Nah, it's got to be Tifa. Me?
Me, she said.
You're the pro, aren't you?
A bar called Seven Heaven had served as Avalanche's base of operations, providing an income for its members and funding for its campaigns. Tifa had been the barkeep, manager, and whatever else she had to be to keep it running.
Way I see it, Midgar folk fall into two groups.
Barrett continued.
The ass-draggers, who can't accept what's happened to the town, and the go-getters, who are happy to take advantage of what they can.
And
And
hey, oh fuck, I don't know,
And
I
hey,
don't know, I'm sorry.
I understand how both sides feel. Everyone's got their problems. Only difference being how they deal with it, right? But there's one thing that brings everyone together, right? Booze! You think? Look, yesterday we got hosed, and we were laughing, like for real. We were able to forget some stuff, huh? Just for a while, at least. It was a lot of fun, right? People need that now. So Tifa, what do you say?
Tifa didn't have an immediate answer. She understood what Barrett was getting at, but the idea of opening another bar felt like going back to the past, back to the Avalanche days.
Give it a shot, Tifa. If it's too hard, you can always quit.
I didn't know it was Cloud,
Oh, yeah.
and then this
Give
is
it a-
Barrett.
Give it a shot, Tifa. If it's too hard, you can always quit. Ah, damn. It ain't gonna be hard.
Barrett argued.
If Tifa doesn't work, she'll just get bored, she'll just get to brooding. And before you know it, she won't be able to do nothing else.
He might be right. So they began preparations. They found a location in the town that was springing up along the main road to the east of Midgar, and they started hauling construction materials from the city. Word got around, and soon they had a small army of volunteers, people that they had helped with their modest intelligence network, who pitched in to build the roof and walls. Barrett boomed out orders like a parade ground sergeant, while Cloud went around quietly issuing corrections. Tifa learned how to mix the drink and improve the recipe to make something that went down smoother. She also put together the bar's menu, using ingredients for which they could find reliable sources. Marlene became the official bartender, the official mascot, a morale boost for the folk labouring on the construction. Now, new setbacks popped up every day, none of them easy to fix, but working through them gave all of them a sense of accomplishment. Sometimes when Tifa caught herself laughing, she would be stricken with guilt. What right did she have to be happy, after all the pain she'd caused? But then another crisis would need her attention, and as Barrett predicted, she found herself with little time to brood. When Cloud announced the place would soon be ready for its grand opening, Barrett pointed out that it was high time they picked a name. They had plenty of ideas, but Cloud's were uninspired, and Barrett's sounded more like monsters to avoid the names for a bar. In the end, it was up to Tifa. Cloud and Barrett promised not to complain about whatever she decided, but with the grand opening so close, there was more and more work to be done, and coming up with a name fell to the bottom of her list.
Hey, did you pick a name yet?
Marlene asked shyly.
Well, I'm still thinking.
Said Tifa.
Do you have any ideas? I like Seventh Heaven.
It was the one name Tifa had been trying to avoid.
Why do you like that? It was fun there. If we make another Seventh Heaven, we'll have fun again.
Of course, the grown-ups had been all wrapped up in their plots and lofty ideals, but for little Marlene, Seventh Heaven was just a happy home where Barrett and Tifa and their friends hung out.
Seventh Heaven, huh?
They couldn't erase the past. All they could do was come to terms with it and keep living. Tifa made her mind up. Seventh Heaven was a hit from the day it opened. Anyone could mix a Corellian gangbuster at home if they had a mind to, and the food wasn't much of a draw, truth be told. After all, there were only so many ingredients Tifa could reliably obtain. But even so, people were looking for just this sort of place. A place where they could spend time with friends and drink the evening away. A place where they could relish the present, or else forget it and dream about the future. Customers without cash could barter for their tab. The menu featured plenty of juice and other drinks, so families could bring their kids too. Only the drinks Marlene sampled and gave her seal of approval to made the cut. Indeed, she had become an indispensable presence in the bar. At night, before it got too late, she helped out as a waitress, and she was never shy about booting customers who'd had too much to drink. I joked about her being a bouncer! Oh my god, they watched my video before I even made it. That's crazy.
They travel back in time.
They travel back in time. They've watched a video that I still have yet to finish. And they did, yes, they did. Barrett would nurse a bottle in the corner. Maybe he thought he was the bouncer. As unnecessary as that was. Cloud's job, meanwhile, was to obtain supplies for both cooking and distilling, but there were some hitches. Turned out he didn't know a carrot from a Geishel green! I realised that's more like Geisal, but I always say Geishal, like it's an SH.
Geishel green.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. At first, Tifa was amused that Mighty Cloud's new life started with learning vegetable names. But then, when she remembered why he was ignorant of such things, basic things, she thought, better not. No, I shouldn't laugh. Aww. Cloud was not the best at the give and take of trade, which is to say he was downright awful at it. Still, it was his job to acquire provisions, and the experience of negotiating with other people carried more value than the overblown prices he sometimes paid. Cloud was taking steps forward, and she was proud of him for it. At the same time, though, she had to wonder if Cloud wasn't working himself too hard for her sake. A nervous thought struck her. One day, the bar will be running nice and smooth. What if he decides to leave? She shook her head as if to brush off the thought and told herself firmly not to ask so much for the future when she had so much in the present. It was actually Barrett who first announced he was leaving. Satisfied with the bar's solid launch, he told them he had to leave Marlene behind and go somewhere.
I gotta settle some things.
Tifa was upset, but Cloud only nodded quietly, as if Barrett had already brought it up with him.
Settle some things?
Tifa fumed. That was definitely not a fume.
We all have things to settle, you know. Yeah, but your job is to prove you can give and not just take. You can take care of that, right?
Then Barrett left the shop, mumbling that he had to get ready.
Did you know?
She demanded of Cloud.
Oh no, did you know?
She demanded of Cloud.
Yeah. You didn't try and stop him? No. He said this is your place, where you belong. So, I guess that's that then.
Cloud, is that what you think too? Tifa wanted to ask. The night before Barrett was to depart, Marlene, who always slept in Tifa's bed, plopped down next to Barrett instead. Tifa could hear them talking late into the night. He left early in the morning. As he walked away, Marlene said,
"Send me letters, okay? And call."
Barrett made a small wave with his right arm, to which he'd attached a machine gun instead of the Whoa, he's been using his prosthetic arm. Well, also, I was going to struggle for a second, sure, but like...
Yeah.
So Barrett was walking around with two arms. That's so weird to imagine. Even though it makes sense. I mean, he probably shouldn't be walking around with a gun if he doesn't need to, but... What kind of life would he find? One that involved more than just fighting, Tifa prayed to herself. One where he learned how to give to. That's
shit.
Marlene.
Cloud and Tifa can be my parents now, so don't worry. I'll take care of them.
What's another retcon? Did I miss something? Is there something else retconned?
What?
What are you talking about, Ryan? Imagine not knowing what a carrot was. Hey! Don't laugh.
That's so funny.
Instead, decide to sympathize because of his
Imagine looking
life.
at an apple and a banana and
Actually,
being like, I don't know which one's which.
There's no excuse because he did live with his mom until he was 14. Like that's pretty.
Yeah,
He
know.
did grow up pretty normal
He
at
should
first.
know.
You know, like I guess the memory shit really did him in, and he forgot vegetables too.
You can see it in the image at the beginning of the book. Wait, what image?
What?
Of what?
Of what?
What are we talking about?
Of what? Oh, the arm.
Oh, the arm.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
you can.
that's sick.
That is cool. I didn't notice that.
I didn't even notice it either. Yeah. Is that what you mean was a retcon? Because this is set after, so I wouldn't say it's a retcon.
No, I
it's
don't
just
think
an
that's what-
extension.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
you
what
must have
about.
been saying something else.
The bouncer.
The bouncer.
Oh.
Oh.
It's a joke. All right, keep going.
Sorry. For a second there, I honestly I belittled you. I'm sorry, Ryan. That was dumb. I'm
Where are
sorry.
we? Oh yeah, Cloud's a bit. Marlene said, yeah. Tifa and Cloud exchanged a glance. 3 lines up from the here.
Tifa and Cloud exchanged a glance. Her parents. Then Barrett turned to Bello.
Yeah, you look out for him.
His voice broke a little.
Family's gotta stick together.
Aww. She used to go on without being crushed under the weight of her guilt. She needed other people with her. Even if they bore the same wounds or if the same guilt sat heavy on their shoulders, comforting and supporting one another was the only way they could move forward. Maybe we can call that a family. And in a family, people stick together. If we have each other, maybe we can weather this storm and the ones to come.
So we're family?
She murmured.
Yep.
Marlene chirped.
And you too, Cloud.
Awesome.
Said Cloud. I can imagine Cloud saying awesome to that. Said Cloud with conviction. Awesome with conviction. He glanced at Tifa and she gave him a tiny nod. There might still be trouble ahead, but she would stop worrying about what they were to each other, she decided. It must have been several months after opening the bar. Tifa got a phone call from Cloud, who was out securing provisions. He had a request.
Would it be okay to print up a lifetime voucher for free meals and drinks at 7th Heaven? Just one?
Tifa agreed, never asking for a reason. She knew Cloud must have wanted something desperately if he was offering to trade something that odd. Night fell and Cloud came home on a bike, unlike any she'd ever seen. After that, whenever he had a spare moment from the bar, he'd work on it. This is so cute. Little mechanic Cloud. He brought home engineers who he met, who knows where, and talked to them about souping it up. There seemed to be any number of them helping Cloud complete the bike. Marlene and her neighborhood friends would look on, transfixed. The sight reassured Tifa. We're family, and we're becoming part of this world. I thought that voucher was for someone that they like really cared about, and like there was gonna be a cute little like needy story, but no, he just wanted to trade it.
He just really wanted the bike.
Most days, Cloud went outside Midgard to find things, usually to calm. He often rented a scooter or truck, though he sometimes took a chocobo. But now, with his own bike to ride wherever and whenever he could, venture farther and farther afield and surprise Tifa with hard-to-find produce. One night, a call came into 7th Heaven for Cloud. He didn't talk for long before telling Tifa he was going out.
Where?
Asked Tifa.
I'm not sure how to tell you this.
Cloud explained that while procuring supplies, he was sometimes asked to deliver things back to Midgar. The phone call was from one of his usual sources for vegetables, who had an urgent job. A delivery which had to arrive that very night. Cloud had the look of a kid forced to confess a secret.
Why are you looking so sheepish? Sorry I didn't tell you. Tell me what? That I had this other job.
Tifa burst out laughing. Then he explained that he felt bad for keeping it from her because there was money involved. He'd been taking the extra income and putting it into his bike, paying for parts and upgrades. Just like a little kid, Tifa thought, but she felt a pang, somehow, to learn that Cloud had found another world to live in, and one she wasn't part of. At that same time, she was glad his horizons were broadening. Maybe this was kind of what a mother felt like. Once she saw Cloud off, Tifa was alone with the new emotions growing inside her. She realized she was happy. Tifa was getting better at dealing with her guilt. Not that she forgot any of it. Maybe one day she would be punished for her crimes, but until then she would live looking to the future rather than the past. She would prove to herself that she could give and not just take. Tifa suggested that Cloud turn the delivery service into a legitimate business. You can take orders right from the bar. Marlene and I could cover the phone. Cloud was reluctant at first, but after sleeping on it, he agreed to the idea. She wasn't sure why he did it like that. She kept from worrying about it, though. Maybe he was just nervous about making his little business more legitimate. So I'm getting stuffy. Either way, that was the start of Strife Delivery Service. Oh my god.
I love the delivery service.
Strife Delivery Service.
I like it a lot.
Their tagline is "We strive." for excellence or something.
Yeah, it is nice seeing Cloud be Cloud, and it's not with the Genova stuff and the Zack memories and everything. It's just Cloud being Cloud. He's a lot more positive and upbeat.
Well, he's learning to be himself. It's really sweet.
It's really nice.
Like Tifa said, he's broadening his horizons. It's lovely. The company was based in Midgard, but from the beginning, they operated anywhere in the world. Well, wherever Cloud's bike could take him, at least. Anywhere was false advertising. Cloud had laughed. That's so. Imagine Cloud being like, "That's false advertising, though," and then giggling. That was so funny. Just like Seventh Heaven, the business boomed. In those days, getting something to somewhere else wasn't at all easy. There were still plenty of monsters around, and roads and railways everywhere were still broken and unrepaired after the upheaval of the Livestream eruption. The work, which involved running from one corner of the world to another, I know all about that one, was not something just anyone could do. There was a lot of demand for Cloud services. Cloud had a hard time dealing with people, and yet he was helping bring people together, the things they exchanged. Tifa thought that was wonderful. Their life as a family changed a lot when the delivery service took off, but not really for the better. Cloud was hardly ever home, except in the mornings and late at night. Naturally, the three of them had fewer chances to talk. Tifa closed the bar once a week, but that didn't necessarily mean Cloud could take the same days off. He almost never turned down a client. Oh my god, this is like me and you. You can't take the time off. You're off delivering stuff to like Egypt or something.
I'm just taking long trips to Wutai.
Tifa closed the bar once a week, but that didn't necessarily mean Cloud. While she did wish he would take a day off with them now and then, she felt that was selfish and kept it to herself. Don't worry, I don't keep it to myself. I say, James, you should not work. It was Marlene who noticed the changes in Cloud. Sometimes he just looks up... Sorry.
Sometimes he just looks up at the sky and doesn't listen to me.
She complained to Tifa. He had never really initiated conversations with Marlene in the first place, but he wouldn't ignore her when she talked to him either. Tifa knew that Cloud tried to be considerate toward Marlene in his own way, the same as anyone who didn't quite know how to deal with kids.
I bet he's just tired.
But despite her reassurances, it bothered Tifa. Marlene was an observant child, sensitive to the grown-ups' moods. On their day off, Tifa and Marlene went to clean up the room that served as Cloud's office. One of the parcel slips lying around caught Tifa's eye. Sender. Elmira Gainsborough. Item bouquet. Destination Forgotten City. Oh. Can I just ask, sorry to, like, I've ruined things, but, like, what did Cloud do? Just go and, like, throw it into the water? Like,
I assume she said, like, you know, yeah, maybe put it in the lake, like.
But can you imagine? Like, obviously, if I can see this being a cutscene at some point. When the whole game ends, if they ever cover any of this stuff, and if they still kill Aerith, that is, I can imagine like this being a cutscene, and Cloud like obviously lets it float off, and there's like this beautiful scene of it flowing off. But I like to imagine that actually he just goes.
Just throws his arm.
He just goes.
Like when Sephiroth throws the materia, but it's
yeah. Oh, I want to see this. I will pog so hard. They won't do it, but I could. It's like one of those things that they should, because it would be so poignant. Like, why would you not get the fucking bouquet and have this little thing hanging out? You can just about see that it's from Elmira, and like it's like it just floats off, and that's how the whole thing ends. That is the last thing that they ever do of this game. Is it's that, because I think that would be so cute. But anyway. I'm wishing for things I will never get. She bundled it up with the other slips as if she hadn't noticed, but inwardly she was in turmoil. Flitting from place to place delivering packages, Cloud was brushing up against the past. She knew that his inability to protect Aerith still weighed heavily on him. He was trying to move past that and live for the future, but if he had to go back there to the place where she had left them forever, wouldn't the sorrow and remorse come rushing back, tearing open those old wounds? The next night, after Tifa closed up shop, Cloud was there at the bar drinking, which he rarely did. His cup was empty. She hesitated for a moment, then she went up to him and poured him a refill. Mind if I join you? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
Mind if I join you?
She had things she needed to say.
I want to drink alone.
He said. Tifa lost her temper at that, and she snapped at him.
Then take a bottle to your room.
Barrett would call from time to time. He never said what he was up to or how he was getting on. Is Sora... Oh, he's there, sorry. He only wanted to know how Marlene was doing, and then he'd asked to talk to her. Maybe Marlene thought Tifa wasn't listening when she said in a small, lonely voice, Cloud and Tifa...
Cloud
So
and-
sorry.
Cloud and Tifa aren't getting along.
Tifa made every effort to talk to Cloud. When Marlene was around, she tried harder. She would attempt to keep it light and avoid anything serious. Cloud seemed puzzled at the change in Tifa, but he responded well enough and tried to meet her halfway, as if he knew what she was trying to do. Marlene would join in too, and Tifa started to think that maybe her efforts were paying off. One morning, she passed on a funny story about one of the regulars.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts.
Was Cloud's opinion.
You guys are driving me nuts.
Shouted Marlene. Cloud and Tifa both stared at her.
You told that same story before and Cloud said the same thing.
This is such a your grandparents thing. It wasn't going well, but they were together because they were family. They lived in the same house and they lived by working together. Maybe we don't talk or laugh as much as we could, but we're still family, she thought, or at least she tried to. Later she sat next to Cloud as he slept and asked the question she dared not ask when he was awake.
We're okay, aren't we?
Of course they are. Of course, there was no answer, only the sound of his slow, even breathing. Was the fact that he slept here enough? Did that alone make them a family?
Do you love me?
Suddenly his eyes opened and he looked at her groggily.
Hey, Cloud, do you love Marlene? Yes, I just don't know how to act around her sometimes. But we've been together for a long time now. Maybe I need more than just time. And what about you and me?
Cloud didn't answer,
Sorry,
said Tifa.
I don't know why I'm asking these things. Don't be sorry. It's my problem.
Cloud shut his eyes again.
We could make it ours.
Tifa waited for him to say something, but he never answered. Not long after that, Cloud brought Denzel home. The boy had borrowed Cloud's unattended cell phone and called Seventh Heaven. That's so great.
Poking at something I read 10 minutes ago.
No, but it's just cute that he happened to call Seventh Heaven.
Guys, do you remember when that happened 30 minutes ago? I do. Sorry. Yeah, no, it is nice.
What's going on? Sorry, that's not even, Hearing another person's voice come from Cloud's phone filled Tifa with sudden dread. But after a few gut-wrenching minutes, Cloud came on the phone.
What's going on, Cloud?
For some reason, he had trouble answering.
That boy, is he okay?
Fuck, I can't change pages.
Not really. Not really. Not really. Not really!
Not really. He needs help. You could bring him here. It looks like he has geostigma.
Geoligma.
Geod's nuts.
Tifa froze. That was the disease that had appeared in the wake of the livestream surge that stopped Meteor. No one knew where it came from or how to treat it. It affected people differently, killing some and leaving others seemingly as healthy as before. Oh, interesting. Some people claimed that it was contagious. From what Tifa had seen, she didn't think it was. But then, it was possible, right? What if this boy brought the disease into their home? What if Marlene caught it? And even if they were safe, it could be bad for business if word got around that they were housing someone with the disease. But she had already offered their home, and she couldn't bring herself to rescind that because the boy was sick.
They say it isn't contagious.
Said Cloud, as if reading her mind. She realized that Cloud wanted to bring the boy home.
Okay, bring him. I'll come in the back way. Is there someone who can watch Marlene? Sure.
Tifa was glad Cloud had anticipated her fears and being so cautious about Marlene and the bar's business. She realized he hadn't expected her to say yes, but wanted to bring him home anyway. She wondered why. Later, after the boy regained some strength, Tifa heard his story. Once she did, she realized he was supposed to be here. Denzel lost his parents in the destruction of Sector 7. Sector 7 was destroyed as retaliation against Avalanche. I was a part of that, and so he's my responsibility. I have to raise this boy as best I can. Denzel only found Cloud so that he could come to me. Interesting. She explained to Cloud that she wanted Denzel to stay as part of their family. Cloud simply nodded, quietly. And Marlene was thrilled. At first, Denzel tried to insist he was here only for a short time, but as he pitched in at the bar in Cloud's office, he started to open up to them. Business at the bar started to decline. Old regulars stopped coming. There were fewer new customers. The adults knew why, but of course they said nothing, and taking Tifa's and Cloud's cue, neither did Marlene. After dark, when the bar was closed, Tifa looked up from the dishes in the kitchen to see Cloud, president of Strife Delivery Service, seated at the center table with his assistants, Marlene and Denzel. The stigma never left Denzel, but there were plenty of days where the pain and fever subsided, times he spent tagging along with Cloud. Typically, Cloud was out most of the day for work. The hours after he got home were important to Denzel. There were times spent with his hero. And yes, to him, Cloud was a hero. Of course, given how he and Cloud met, how Cloud came to his rescue and the symptoms of geostigma appeared without warning, and all the while Denzel had to struggle with the fear of death. He wanted to ask Cloud everything. Even if he had questions Tifa could have answered, he would wait until Cloud got home. Once, half-jokingly, she told him that she was the one who cooked the meal, so he owed it to her to open up more. Denzel put on a grown-up voice and informed her that he was the one who cleaned up the bar in the house, so they were even. That was true enough. Denzel was a thorough cleaner. When she asked him if he learned that from his late mom, he said no. Days later, Cloud told Tifa all about the woman who taught Denzel to clean. He told Cloud, but not me. It made her upset. Why won't he talk to me too? It bugged her so much, she even complained about it to one of the regulars. Oh,
that's just how boys are.
Was the answer she got.
Sounds like normal, healthy family stuff to me. How did you lose that? It's
because I looked up. She wasn't entirely convinced, but she liked those words. Normal, healthy family. Wouldn't that be great if it were true? Sometimes, after closing, she'd look at the three sitting around the center table and see a young father and his two children. And when she came to join them, they would always welcome her with grins. Young father, Cloud, young father. Oh. Cloud would have a map spread out to plan routes for the next day's work, while Denzel and Marlene sorted the orders. When Marlene got to a name she couldn't read, she would ask Denzel and he would tell her, proud to be the smart older brother. Oh, Marlene really isn't that old at all. Because if he's older,
Yeah,
and he's
older
only
than
8,
her, yeah, so she must
she's
be...
like 7 probably. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
way
yeah.
she's younger than that.
So he is older, yeah.
So wait, yeah. Marlene is 6. I've been thinking this whole time she was like 11.
So she was 4 in the OG, and now she's 6 in this.
She was 4
They've
and
not,
making
nah.
cocktails.
Yeah, no, they have fucked the ages.
She was
in this
4
a little
and
bit.
watching the bar. I am not having
That
this.
does not look like a 6-year-old.
That's not a 6-year-old.
That's not. That's like a 10-year-old. She does not look 6.
No. I think she looks a bit older. Then again, like, when is the last time I knew the difference between a 6 and 10-year-old, and I like
She looks
knew
10.
a
She
6
looks
or a
about 10.
10-year-old?
Like I could say she's probably like.
Yeah, she looks.
like
she.
10.
Yeah.
Like I can
Yeah.
imagine at that age she'd be like coming to the end of primary school. Like.
Yeah. You should. Yeah. I guess 6-year-olds are older.
Yeah, they've definitely fucked the ages a little bit in this, but it's fine.
She
Like-
does not speak like a 6-year-old. Definitely not,
Because
right?
what they've done is she was a child she seemed more like 6 in 7 in the
Yeah.
OG, and in this she seems more like 10.
Yeah,
11.
at least at 6
They've-
you can take care of the bar by yourself, no bother.
They've matured her up, but obviously they can't age her up enough. So
Yeah,
she's still quite
yeah.
young, but her maturity and like how she seems is older. But yeah, all right, come on.
Denzel, he would tell her, but if he couldn't read it either, he'd ask Cloud. Cloud's custom was to hand them a pen and tell them to write it out a few times, saying they needed to get the spelling right to learn it properly. Oh. Then as they matched the names on the order slips to the names on the map, Marlene and Denzel would beg Cloud to tell them what those places were like. Cloud would give the briefest of descriptions. Lots of people, hardly any people, crawling with monsters. Going in from the north is safer. Tifa wondered if the children were satisfied with the short answers, but they seemed happy enough. She always wanted to tell them more, and when she did, Denzel would turn to Cloud and ask if the details she gave were true. That bugged her too. Yeah, fucking sexism in Final Fantasy VII.
It's not sexism.
Well, they're raising a sexist little boy right here,
He
James.
just looks up to Cloud.
Probably, but why does he look up to Cloud?
He's
Tifa
8.
Tifa is also a badass bitch. It's because he's a boy.
It's not because he doesn't believe.
Boys!
It's not because he doesn't believe Tifa. He's just going, wait, Cloud, is that true?
Yeah, but it's
And then he's
kind of.
he's like, yeah, that's true.
But
It's like,
yeah. But
"Wow."
obviously, I get that it would probably suck if your parent,
Like-
if you were a parent,
Yeah, it's true.
because I bet you did that to your dad sometimes with your mum.
Probably not, no.
Yeah, because your mum is like
That's
the one that knows everything.
Alright,
and
keep going. Read. That's insulting. Keep reading.
no, but we just ask your mum
Keep
things
reading!
all the time. You're
Keep
right.
reading!
Okay. Tell him that bugged her too. But then again, didn't that just mean he felt comfortable with both of them? In real families, kids and parents always had favorites. Normal, healthy family stuff, right? She started to think that bringing Denzel into their circle had made it more complete, that it had bound them together into a real family. Cloud was cutting back on his workload and making more time for the kids in the evenings, and the silly little everyday conversations they used to have were starting to return. So did you...
So did you work out that problem?
Tifa wondered.
What problem? Your problem. Oh.
Cloud fell into silence.
It's okay if you don't want to talk about it. No, I do. It's just... I don't know if I can explain it right now.
He said.
I haven't worked it out. I mean, there's no way to work it out. Once someone's gone, there's nothing anyone can do, right?
Tifa nodded.
But now I've got another chance to save a life. And I'm thinking, maybe it's possible. Even for me. Denzel? Yeah. Do you remember the day you brought Denzel home? Sure. It sounded to me like you made up your mind to bring him in whether I liked it or not. No,
Cloud looked like a child who knew a scolding was inevitable.
Just tell me, Just tell me. I'll hear you out first before I decide whether I'm mad.
Cloud nodded.
Hey,
boy, then in a torrent.
I found Denzel on the ground outside Aerith's church, and I thought she must have led him to me.
No.
You were at the church? I didn't mean to keep it from you. But you did. I'm sorry. Why? I never told you not to. But next time, I'm going with you. Okay. But, Cloud? You're wrong. Okay, keep going.
He gave her an uncertain look.
Aerith didn't lead Denzel to you. I know. It's just how it felt is all. That's not what I mean.
Tifa said softly.
She led Denzel to us. To our family.
Oh. Cloud held her gaze, then he smiled. Only a few days after that, he was gone. What?
Cloud.
Oh,
Cloud left.
I thought they were trying to tell us Denzel died, and I was like, wait, but we're set after
No,
the
'cause
bits with
Cloud held her gaze, then he smiled.
Only a few days after that,
he was gone. It's referring to Cloud.
Yeah,
It's
but
the
they were just talking
last
about Denzel,
name-
so it could, yeah, but it could have been referring
No,
to.
but that's how grammar works. It was the last name that was mentioned was Cloud. Therefore, the he refers to the last name that was mentioned.
He was gone. She thought she'd seen a promise of a future in that smile. Did I imagine that promise? Tifa kissed the children's sleeping faces and went to Cloud's office. She brushed a thin layer of dust from a photo of them together. Then she picked up the phone and dialed. It rang several times and then went to voicemail.
There we go.
Aww.
Alright, here we go.
Tifa's chapter's a bit fucking sad.
No, it's a bit of both. I like it a
Yeah.
lot. Well, I mean, what do you think of Tifa's chapter before we change and do live stream white one?
Well, it's interesting because I think it gives a lot more character to her, like the whole side of her guilt.
It's really good. It's one of my favorite chapters. Probably my second favorite chapter of the book, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think just like Cloud coming into his own and being his own person.
Yeah, and becoming like a dad and actually
Yeah.
figuring that
I like
out.
that like
It's
it
very
wasn't just
sweet.
because a lot of love stories would be like, oh, they got together and then
Yeah, it's
the
very
the
real.
story ends. So it's like
Yeah.
you never get to see like the reality of their relationship. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, they love each other and then it ends.
Yeah.
But like in this, you get to see like the difficulties, but also the fact that they adopted some kids and they work together and live together and they're trying to help each other. It's just really nice.
Yeah.
It's really really good.
I like what it did for Tifa's character, though. I like that it's a whole aspect of Tifa to always seem fine, but
yeah
to
Like,
always
it's
have
so-
something else going
it's
on.
so in character the way that Tifa will never say up front what
Yeah,
she's thinking and what she's
always-
feeling. She
yeah.
finds it so hard to open
Yeah.
up. Like, and it's like this juxtaposition to Cloud, who also is very similar, but it's for different reasons. It's like, you know, it's good. I really like that stuff, and I like Denzel and I like Marlene and
Yeah.
you know, the whole bar.
Yeah,
and
that was
everything,
really
and
good.
Cloud with his delivery service and his bike and stuff, but also the fact that like
Strife delivery
he's still
service.
finding it difficult with the loss of Aerith to like to be content in the moment with what he has.
Yeah, they
The
both
same
are.
way that like Tifa is, but
Yeah.
Cloud can't push it aside. Like he's still struggling,
Yeah.
like very openly, which I
Yeah.
it's
It
just
was
good.
really good.
Like
Yeah.
just a lot of it is like the consequences and the fallout of what happens in the game affects
Yeah.
the characters afterwards. They can't just move on, which is quite good. I like it. Yeah. Okay. We need.
Why?
Okay. We're on live stream white 1. You can read this if you want. Is music playing? Yeah? Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna read it out loud.
Playing the music. She was an ancient, though she was able to retain her own selfhood even within the flow of the life stream. When she wished it, she could dissolve that self and become part of the planet forever. But it was too soon for that. Just a little longer, she thought. We're getting thoughts from beyond the grave. She could feel an aberration in the coursing life stream, an implacable will that refused to merge with the planet. She knew it was the man who had killed her.
It's implacable.
Sorry?
Implacable. You said implicable.
Sorry. Implaceable. She can feel us. Oh, it's fucked. A man who's fine, handsome. Aerith?
Come on, read it.
A man whose fine, handsome features.
Give it everything you've got.
Hi, LJ. Thank you for following. Welcome. A man whose fine, handsome features had hidden the vicious spirit that now plotted the scheme and schemed within the livestream. She sensed he was trying to exert his power in the corporeal world. She wanted to stop him, but how? Oh, it was too dangerous to come into contact with him. She stayed far away from his cruel consciousness. That made it harder to discern his intentions, but the one time she did stray dangerously close, she learned something important. His memories of Cloud formed the core of his will. Cloud was her friend, more than a friend, for she had loved him. He was a symbol of everything she held dear. She would protect him. Oh, no. Oh my god, are they really having Aerith save the world twice? Goodness me.
This is a good book.
This is a good book. Episode Barrett!
Episode Barrett. Okay. There is no Barrett theme in remake, so you have to use the OG.
I like the OG. I like everything OG. It's so good.
Wait, what? What do you mean, wait, what? There is no Barrett theme in the OG, is there?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
there's not.
that says remake. Said in Barrett's theme music remake.
Oh, shit. There isn't a Barrett theme? I didn't think so. Bum, ba-na-na, ba-na-na, ba-na-na. Like, that's not in remake.
No, I don't. That's not.
Unless they completely changed it in remake.
She's given to Avalanche. Let's just hear. Hang on. Here you go.
What is this?
Oh, this absolutely is his theme.
Let me hear it. I can't hear it.
What? This is his theme. This is called Barrett's theme music remake. That is
Not
exact-
in remake though. This track is not in remake.
That is well, it sounds exactly like the original one, but it remade, so it has to be. Hi, Meteor, how you doing? In the Barrett Resolution song, they have his theme.
Yeah, this is
motif.
not this person made it. This person made it. That's not. It's not in remake. Because they just used the Avalanche theme in remake.
Okay, but play the Avalanche theme.
It's the
then.
one's like dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I
Is
can't-
it in?
It's only in remake. It's not in the OG. The Avalanche theme is only in remake, and Barrett's theme is only in the OG.
Really?
Yeah.
You for real?
Reach.
Avalanche theme.
Here you go.
This isn't anything like Barrett's theme.
No, it's not. It's a completely different piece of music.
Yeah. Small bit. I don't like this music. I'd rather have Barrett's one.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine music. I just like everything from the original. Barrett's theme. It's just got so much charm. It's all like.
Yeah, there you go. Just choose the top one.
It
then
just
we can
goes.
loop it.
Dun, dun, So good. You're too soon, I'm afraid.
Okay, hold on. I just need to go.
There you go. There's your bit.
Look, guys, I lasted a while before I needed to pee. How long did I last?
Ooh.
3 hours! Holy shit. That's a new record.
Wow, well done. See, Hamid, I will say, like, I remember when I was playing it at first. Actually, I don't know when I realized this was actually Barrett's theme, because they don't play this like just for Barrett stuff. Like they do use this for Avalanche, and like I think they use it when you're like even on the trains and stuff. Like just they use it all the time when they're doing Avalanche things, especially in the start of the game. They just use it for a lot of stuff, but it is Barrett's theme. It's actually called Barrett's theme, I think. So yeah, but it isn't. But yeah, excuse me, but they use it all the time, except, like, not just for Barrett stuff. Oh, excuse me. Whoa. I'm looking at Kate Sith right now, and the robot that Kate Sith is on, it's really got some curvature in the upper half of its body. Some real you know, bits and bobs. It's a weird move. It's so weird, isn't it? I have to admit something. I did not realize, oh, it is a weird Moogle. It is meant to be a Moogle. James, what is the robot Kate Sith is on?
What is it?
Yeah.
Moogle.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I don't know why.
It's a giant Moogle.
To me, I just perceive it as a lump. It is just a lump.
It's a giant Moogle. You can see.
Yes, I know. I've just realized that. It like
No, I didn't realize it first either. Someone had to tell me, but
maybe someone did tell me because it doesn't sound crazy. But I just it doesn't compute as a Moogle because it looks so. It's. I mean, first of all, Moogles are what?
my ad got approved.
Yay! Woo!
Means I can put out the Ragnarok video.
Let's fucking
I can
go!
do it! It can finally come out. You need to go up on Patreon first, though, so I'll put it up on Patreon probably tonight or tomorrow.
Wait, you can't because you have to do a bit for it that you haven't done yet.
I'll do that. I'll record that tonight, though.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'll render it tonight, and then I'll put it up on Patreon tomorrow, and then I'll put it up on
I can't wait for your
YouTube.
video to be out so I can complain to everyone why that I'm not happy about that bit.
When should I put it up? Friday?
As soon as you can.
Friday on YouTube, maybe?
It's built strange. It is built different. It
Right.
doesn't make sense, actually. Do you? I don't know what your Kate Sith lore is like, Meteor Morning, but is it? Are they? What do you think Kate Sith is? Because we were talking about this earlier, and I just don't understand. I don't think anyone really knows for
Everyone
sure.
has
It's a bit
different
grey.
idea based on different parts of the compilation or the
Oh,
Ultimania
yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
it might
like
be.
so far, I only have this, I guess, and also the OG. I haven't played anything else
personally-
yet.
I personally want to believe it's based on Dirge of Cerberus technology because I think that's the funniest way it could be. If the way that it's presented, well, I can't explain properly without spoiling it, but
Yeah, let's not spoil. They don't make it super clear. He's like half sentient robot, from what I grew to understand.
it's not. No, he's not.
Don't know.
I
what he is.
refuse. He
like-
is simply nuts and bolts.
Yeah, no, I agree actually that it's kind of like a sentient robot because that's the vibe I have been getting.
Look, it being a sentient robot.
that sentient bit has come up
is-
before as well.
It being a sentient robot, like, makes his death mean more. So, like, when Kate Sith sacrifices
Yeah.
herself, that means more.
Yeah.
But there is no other point where it comes into play. Like, it's always
fuck,
Reeve. It's never
yeah.
just, like, there is never in the OG, or actually at any point in the compilation, any sort of implication that there are two minds inside this cat. What sometimes
So
it's Reeve, sometimes it's a cat.
confusing.
No, it's always fucking Reeve. Always.
But it makes then why does Reeve get upset? Like what? Because Reeve through Kate Sith is all like, well, farewell when they're sacrificed. But if it's just a robot, if it is literally a robot, why would you even care?
Because it doesn't make sense.
Like I can understand to an extent. You'd maybe be like, ah, shit, I'll grew attached to this robot. But like you didn't though, did you? Like
Yeah, I don't know.
doesn't
I
make
really
sense.
don't know.
So,
It doesn't make any
but
sense.
then how can it be possible to be partly like sentient? That's so wild.
They
But
just
it's an interesting
because they
question.
do not. At
And
any
I think
point
everyone just has to
explore
have
it, and,
their
like-
own opinion.
like-
There's
like-
no right answer, I don't think.
Like you can speculate that Kate Sith is partly sentient, but the game doesn't do anything with that. Like. The game doesn't take that and go, let's explore that and make it a part of the narrative. Like, it does not exist in Final Fantasy VII. It doesn't.
Ooh, how much wine is under the limit?
Don't know you have to check?
Like a glass. I won't drink anymore. I've
Why?
had about a glass
Where are you
now.
going?
To get my dinner.
Oh, we can't get delivered?
I don't think so. Isn't that the problem?
Isn't that the problem? I don't know. Let's have a look.
Intermission.
Domino's
Let's
pizza.
go.
Oh wait, what? They're no longer accepting orders.
What?
Nothing to worry about. Oh yeah, it's only free collection only. Yeah, it's only free collection.
Are you definitely
only.
open late?
Says 1:45.
Okay.
That's central,
Oh.
which is here. Could we not do this before? Remember we tried to do this before and it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, actually I do. I'm gonna fucking boot you in
Uh-oh.
fucking head. I'm actually gonna stamp your head in.
Guys, I made a mistake. We should have not streamed at all. That's the option. We should.
Or, alright, you never mind about just, hating on me. So James got up at 5 o'clock today.
Why does this have anything to do with anything?
That's the reason you didn't want dinner. If you'd got up even at just like 2 o'clock, you would have been hungry by 7. We could have eaten.
You could have fucking eaten without me.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. What are we doing now? What is are they actually closed? Is there none that are open?
I can't figure it out. I don't know. It doesn't let me change the store. It doesn't work. I don't know.
I really wanted pizza too.
Oh, I don't think it's the end of the world.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's what I just said, isn't it? That it's the end
No,
of the world.
but I just mean like. It
No,
doesn't
I
matter.
just wanted the fucking pizza. I told you I wanted the pizza. We literally agreed we'd have it yesterday. And
mean,
now
it
I can't
says-
have the fucking pizza.
I mean, it says they close at 1:45 a.m. So like they have to be open.
Okay, I won't drink any more wine. I need to make sure I can attempt to get my pizza. And if not, I'm going to have to go to McDonald's
it says delivery
anyway.
ends at 2:45 a.m. and that's the local one, the one right near us. So why is it not working? They say they're closed, but they're not.
Clearly, wherever it says they're not is wrong.
Google.
Well, Barrett's chapter isn't super long.
We can order online, unless you order on like the website.
Okay.
But we still have to pick it up.
Oh, right, okay. Well, we'll have to... I guess there's no difference whether we do that now or later. Okay.
Okay.
I think Barrett's is significantly less than the others have been, though.
Yeah, the last chapter's very long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Barrett's is only like 12 pages, I'd say. Right, okay.
This is the last chapter.
Ooh, that's a chunk.
Yeah, it's also not very good.
Oh, really? Okay. Months had passed since the chosen... Oh, wait, no, we are playing it, sorry.
Okay.
Months had passed since the chosen day. After helping Tifa and Kyle build a new home, Barrett entrusted Marlene to them. She was the orphan daughter of his best friend, Dine, and knew only Barrett as her father. But he had to leave her behind when he set out on a journey to settle the sins of his past. Before departing, he gave some advice to Tifa, who shouldered the same guilt. Don't just take, prove you know how to give. He thought doing that would lead her, at the very least, to some kind of redemption. But his own advice brought him no solace, and Barrett remained unsure of what he was supposed to do. Being with Marlene gave him peace of mind. It was easy to stay with her, even if he felt guilty for putting off action just one more day. He knew... I've just lost my place. He knew he had to leave, even if he had no destination in mind. But some space between him and his heart's crutch bare himself to the wilds. Don't think about it, just do. For half a year, Barrett wandered the world. Geostigma was spreading beyond the walls of Midgar, but apart from that, life had mostly returned to a semblance of normalcy. The only difference... Normalcy.
It's not. It's okay.
You're
Normalcy.
wrong. You're wrong.
Alright.
The book is wrong. It's correct English. The only difference was that hardly anyone used Mako, and all the reactors, every last one, had been shut down. This was exactly what Barrett and his comrades had once sought with their anti-Shinra operations, and yet the victory had left him aimless. What place was there for a man with a gun attached to his arm in a world free of war and turmoil? How could he redeem himself when there were no more battles to be fought? These questions plagued him. Sometimes he tramped into deep forests in search of a fight, taking down the monsters he found, but after the adrenaline rush would fade, and he would sink into self-loathing. What am I doing out here? Just venting stress. All he could do was roar in fear and frustration. It happened when he was picking his way through a crowd in Junon. Barrett felt something collide against the metal plates of his weaponized arm, and he lowered his gaze to see a small boy beginning to cry, blood running down his forehead. When he moved to help, a woman who had to be the boy's mother dashed between them. Please, he's just a child.
He's
He didn't
just
mean
a
to."
child. He didn't mean to. Please, I'll give you anything you want.
The mother's terror-filled eyes were riveted on the machine gun that served as Barrett's right hand. In peacetime, I'm just another monster, Barrett thought. The times were changing, and he knew he needed to change with them. Just not how. If he didn't, though, he'd never be able to atone in this world of peace.
So Barrett clonked that kid on the head, and that's why he's bleeding, right? Like, he was just walking through the street and, like, carelessly had his gun arm down by the side and just knocked a kid in the fucking face. That's what happened, right? Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, yeah, of course. I thought it was all coincidence.
No.
Oh, God.
He smacked some kid from Junon in the head.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Barrett. Oh, no. Barrett paid a visit to old man Sakaki in Corral. The wiry old-timer with white hair cut military short was a skilled technician, single-handedly responsible for maintaining all the mining equipment in the village. When the people of Corral abandoned the coal mines and set their hopes on the Mucka reactor, he'd left town without a word of farewell. But then later, when the Shinra company turned its back on Corral, he returned and settled in a house some distance outside the village, where he set about playing the role of local eccentric. His old man Sakaki, who had first come to Barrett, pestering him with offers to build him a prosthetic hand. At first, Barrett was irritated by the suggestion, even more so when the old-timer explained his motivation. He'd never made a prosthetic before and wanted a challenge. What kind of reason is that, Barrett thought. But then again, he was finding life with one hand difficult. Maybe the crazy old man could help.
Fine, so long as I don't have to pay for it.
He had said at last. The first model was a simple hook. Barrett was not impressed. He wanted to be able to do things, like dig trenches or hammer nails. So the old man made him a shovel attachment with a hammer and a hammer attachment. It still wasn't enough. Barrett told him so, and the old man Sakaki had words of his own for him.
You're just out for revenge on Shinra. You won't be satisfied no matter what you put on that arm. Here, take this and get out, and don't come back.
The old-timer shoved a new piece at him, a sort of adapter to fit on the stump. It would let Barrett attach any sort of tool he wanted, even a weapon.
Now you can outfit yourself however you like, but you'd best think long and hard about what you choose.
If that had been a warning, Barrett never heeded it. For the next several years, the only things he attached to his arm mount were weapons, anything that made him more powerful and more deadly. Despite how much time had passed since their last meeting, Barrett gave old man Sakaki the barest of greetings before asking for a new prosthetic.
Something softer,
He said.
more like a hand. Something that'll let me fit in. Something that won't scare the wits out of regular folk.
Old man Sakaki had only stared at him dubiously with one cocked eyebrow.
I'm not just about fighting. I don't want people afraid of me no more.
Barrett elaborated.
So who are you trying to be? I'm saying...
Barrett started, only to realize he didn't have the answer. How am I supposed to fit into a world where people are learning how to smile again?
On the way to a smile! Damn! The hell if I know! I'll need a week. Good with you? Yeah, so in the meantime, could I...
Is that Winnie the Pooh I'm speaking to, Barrett thought?
I'll need a week.
Barrett was about to ask if he could stick around while he waited, but the old-timer cut him off.
Money's the one thing I need. Wait. If you got nothing else to do, you could help out my If you got nothing else to do, you could help out my nephew with his work. Don't know if he can pay you, but money's one thing I don't need. Alright, I'll talk to him. Wait,
My
what?
eyes are watering a lot.
Wait, what?
No, Barrett's saying that, and then the guy's like, I'll talk to my nephew then for you. Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
The next morning, Barrett climbed into a steam wagon driven by old man Sakaki's nephew. People had used coal-burning wagons like this for everything when he was a kid. It took 4 people working together to operate the vehicle, a driver at the wheel, an engineer spinning the valve controls, and 2 stokers to keep the fire burning and the tank steaming. Behind the hulking engine was a bed big enough for 10 sturdy grown men. Half the space was piled high with coal. Barrett stretched out in the space that was left. He lay on his back, gazing up at the sky. Man, this is slow going. Not that anyone was to blame for it. These big steam wagons had never been built for speed. The crew sweated just with the effort to keep it ticking over. Men and machine alike were running at full capacity. A middle-aged man out of the stokers climbed back for a break.
Sorry to intrude on your stewing, but I need a breather. Stewing? I ain't stewing. Son, there's more steam coming off you than there is than the engine. Barrett saw a glaring mutter at him.
Barrett set up glaring murder at him.
You got a problem with me? See what I mean?
They rode in silence for a bit until the stoker struck up conversation again.
You fixing to be our bodyguard for good? I'm just here 'cause old man Sakaki asked me. I don't know what I'm doing after this. Yeah, doesn't seem like your kind of gig. What, being a bodyguard? You won't find no one better than me. That fact?
With that, the stoker fell silent again. Barrett waited. What does this guy think I am? Hey,
Don't stop now. Hey, don't stop now. You got something to say? Let's hear it.
well, if he's got so many damn opinions about me, one of them's bound to have something to it.
You look like the sort of fella who goes looking for monster dens rather than just worrying about the ones that come to you.
Well, he might be right about that,
Even if you don't know where the den is.
the stoker added with a grin.
You're saying I'm a fool? I'm saying you're living like that can't be easy. Maybe you ought to be proud, eh?
Barrett stared at the man for a few seconds, and then broke into a low chuckle. Puzzled, the stoker looked back.
Can I ask you about something?
Barrett said.
Depends on what that something is. Look, I've done some bad stuff, and I want to make up for it. That's why I'm out here on the road, but I can't figure out how. I'm probably just the kind of guy you say I am. So, what do you think a guy like that's got to do to atone? Well, it depends on what you've done. A lot of people died because of me. More than I can count.
Barrett recounted the time he blew up Muck Reactor 1 with his comrades in Avalanche. The damage far more terrible than they'd planned. The panic that gripped the city. The friends he'd lost and the civilians he'd never even known. After Barrett had fallen silent, the stoker said... Sorry,
You gotta stand
Stroker.
tall.
The
you got-
stoker said...
You gotta stand tall and live. That's all.
Stand tall!
Just keep on trying.
Walk
Whatever
tall.
you think it takes to
my
make
friends.
amends. Keep doing what I'm doing, only better. So what if you don't know where the monster den is at? Go root 'em out, and if you keep at it, one day there won't be no more. Oh hell, there's one of them now.
The stoker pointed towards the rear at a small but sinister monster that was gaining on the wagon. Without bothering to aim, Barrett casually raised his right arm and fired. The sound of automatic gunfire rent the air, and bullets tore through the hapless creature,
Damn, he sure chose the wrong wagon to chase.
said the stoker. Barrett was about to downplay his accomplishment, but when he turned back to the stoker, he saw that the man's gaze was fixed on his right arm. It was the same look the woman in Junon had given him.
You know, man, the monster den might be somewhere inside me.
He said it half in jest, but the stoker didn't laugh. The wagon took them to a smaller village that survived by growing potatoes in the surrounding fields. Half the coal... Oh my gosh, my people. Half the coal in the bed was gone by now, and they filled the cleared space with gunny sacks of potatoes. As he helped move them, Barrett wondered how much these potatoes would go for in the city. Not the price the villagers set, that's for sure. The wagon crew had to be paid, for starters. Who knew how many others got a cut along the way? The price of food in Midgar was becoming a problem. Too high even in these messed up times. But looking around him, at all the folk working hard to get the food to market, he realized there is nothing to be done. With the Mako gone, most of the farming machinery set silent to be done. Set silent and useless. I've read the start of the same sentence again. Most of the farming machinery set silent and useless. Growing and transporting potatoes took a good deal more manpower now.
Hey!
Barrett exclaimed, struck by a thought. Without machinery, people had to rely on the strength of their own arms, and there was no shortage of people. Midgar's full of folk begging for work and struggling to feed themselves. Sure, they can still forage outside town, but damn it, they can't do that forever. They need to till the soil, sow crops, plant seeds, raise livestock. Barrett was pleased. He was onto something. If everyone put their minds to it, at least someday they could live in a world where no one had to go hungry. When they needed machines, well, they still had coal for things like the steam wagon. People just had to go back to the age before Mako. There might be lean times ahead, and yes, life would be simpler. Duller, maybe. But that was the only way to go. The times had to change. Barrett smiled to himself, pleased at how easily he came up with the whole idea. Then he started considering his place in it. Okay, so what kind of stuff can I do? He could attach a hoe to his arm and dig furrows, and a man his size could do the work of 2 others. Heck, 5 others. But come to think of it, this new future would need leaders too. Should that be me? His mind kept running. He imagined himself directing the work, bellowing instructions, men jumping at his every word. Got it, Barrett!
Got it, Barrett.
Jessie dashing from the room, Wedge and Biggs right behind her. Aww. A scene from his days as the leader of Avalanche flashed through his mind. and in an instant, his bright vision of the future was overshadowed by remorse. Barrett roared in frustration. Damn, there I go again, he thought, and he glanced around. But no one was looking at him. Everyone's attention was on Old Man Sakaki's nephew, who was standing in someone's front yard, deep in discussion with a middle-aged villager. Barrett moved closer to hear the conversation.
Mister, I could take your daughter to Midgar. That's not a problem. But she looks real sick. I'm afraid we wouldn't make it in time. Please, I'm begging you.
The local man was carrying his daughter on his back. She was a lovely girl, but her head nodded weakly and black fluid dripped from her arm onto the ground. A bad case of geostigma. This was the kind of situation Barrett hated the most. Right now, there's a crisis in front of me, and I can't do a damn thing about it. He knew there was no real cure for the girl in Midgar either. He should probably tell them. Wouldn't it be better to let her spend her last days at home, in comfort, with her family? And yet if he told them what he knew, the man would be condemned to watch his daughter die without even a ray of hope. Maybe best to keep my mouth shut, he thought.
Wouldn't going to Midgar just be a waste of time?
Asked a voice. Barrett looked beside him and saw the familiar face of the stoker, scowling.
Probably.
Replied Barrett.
Then I better tell them.
Said the stoker, and he started to walk toward the man and his daughter.
Hold up.
Barrett went after him, hoping to stop him before he could shatter the father's illusions. The stoker sighed and turned around, frustration in his eyes.
You think we should just let her go to Midgar, even if there ain't no point? Yeah. Well, the problem is, we've got ourselves a steam wagon. The bed gets hot, it's hard to ride, you know that. What do you do when she ends up dying because of it? Still, come on, man. Don't worry. I'll be the one to tell him. Maybe it'll kill her pop's hope, but the girl should spend her last days at home.
Barrett didn't know if he or the stoker had the right of it. His mind was whirling. He needed to think. Again, he wanted to cry out, but he held it in. In the end, though, it didn't matter. The stoker came back without even ever talking to the father.
Didn't need to say nothing after all.
Oh,
Poor girl died
Jesus.
while they were talking.
Jesus.
What? Do you want to know what her last words were?
Hell no, Barrett thought, but the man was already telling him.
Please take me to Midgar.
She said.
The stoker clenched his fist. Oh, no, that's it. Please take me to Midgar,
She said, and then I say the stoker clenched his fist.
I couldn't have been more wrong. No, you weren't. Nobody was, damn it.
With no target for the rage surging up inside, he pointed his arm at the sky and fired, shattering the quiet of the sorrowful village. Barrett stayed behind to help lay the dead girl to rest. When it was done, the father lingered, staring with hollow eyes at his daughter's grave.
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Barrett asked as gently as he could.
If only we had an airship.
Oh, the man murmured.
I served on the
Guernica.
Guernica. Maybe if she were still flying, my little girl would be alive. It's just a short hop to Midgar by air. Well, mister.
I've got to say it now, Barrett thought.
I know how you must be feeling, but there ain't no cure for the stigma in Midgar either.
If only this, if only that. When you started brooding over the chasms between what was and what could be, what should be, you lost sight of the world in front of you. Barrett had learned that lesson himself the hard way. The lamenting things you could never hope to control, the way this father was doing now was even worse. But before Barrett could turn those thoughts into advice, the man started to speak.
It doesn't have to be Midgar, it could be anywhere. If we found out that somewhere in the world there's a cure for geostigma, an airship could take people there. We'd be ready. Ready to help the next victim. My daughter won't be the last.
He had only just lost his own child, and yet he was already looking at what lay ahead. The idealized pastoral future Barrett had imagined while he was loading the wagon had vanished. Why can't we run just a few of the airships and the other useful machinery? Hell, in Midgard they're still using construction vehicles. Why not an airship then? So long as we don't waste them, Mako. Times have changed and I'm gonna do the same. Interesting. A barren scrubland many miles across stretched out east of Rocket Town. Somewhere in that expanse stood a small refinery and an oil well 160 feet deep. Both had been built many years ago. On this day, several dozen people were staring up at the derrick, among them Shira in her white lab coat. It's Shira! She's here.
We know her.
We do. A man in overalls stood next to her. We're down 70% from...
We're down 70% from last month. Not doing so hot. How about your end? It's going well. We're nowhere near the efficiency of Mako, but with our latest refining techniques, we're hitting higher numbers than ever.
Shira replied.
I knew you could pull it off. Doesn't mean a thing, though, if the well runs dry.
The man looked down at the ground. Shira looked down too, thinking of the drill that plunged deep under their feet, blindly seeking out more precious oil.
Just give us a little more.
She whispered, her hands pressed together in prayer. There was a black smear on the back of her hand, on the back of her left hand, but it was not oil! They shouldn't have put it was geostigma. We know! We fucking know! They're doing the thing that you don't like.
It was geostigma. Did you get that?
Just in case you didn't
I
get it, he
didn't get
died.
it.
Just in case you
I'm
didn't get
dumb.
it, she died. I think it's clear enough that you don't need to put that. But I can't believe it's Shira, not Shira too.
Shara.
Shira.
It's not. Okay, keep going.
Who's Shara? I don't know that character.
Keep going.
I don't know who Shara is. Rocket Town had once served as a base for Shinra's space program. The company engineers eventually settled here, forming a bustling rocket science community, even though their expertise was no longer needed. The first thing Barrett saw as he strode into town was a roving cluster of laughing children, one of them the same age as Marlene. He broke into a smile. What you up to?
What you up to?
He called to them. The children all stared at him.
How about you let an old guy join in?
They ran away. Barrett looked down at his right arm, clicking his tongue in frustration.
Guess I gotta wait till I get my new hand. You're pretty scary even without the gun.
Someone remarked from behind him.
Hey, you're...
Barrett couldn't think of where he'd met the guy.
I was one of the crew on the Highwind, but it's okay. I wouldn't expect you to remember me.
It's
the pilot.
It's the pilot level 8! It's pilot level 8!
He trained himself up to be the best pilot there ever was.
Wait, what do they call him when he's done again? They call him pilot...
I don't remember.
Is he pilot in training level 8 and then he becomes just pilot? Or what is it?
I don't remember. Shear her. Who are we shearing? Exactly. Pilot in training.
Was it? Yeah, it was pilot in
It's called pilot
training
in
level
training,
1,
yeah.
2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
yeah,
all
and
the
it's
way
called
until level
pilot,
10.
yeah.
And then he just becomes pilot at the very end. He gets his own story.
Yeah, let's pretend it's him.
Okay, it's the pilot. It's the pilot.
That was
oh,
the
there you go.
airship.
Yeah. That was the airship that had flown them around the world on their quest to save the planet.
Oh, I gotcha. Tough times they were. Thanks for helping out. We were happy to play a part.
Barrett wasted no time asking the man to take him to Sid. As they set off, they heard a dull metallic
Break's
pounding.
nearly done. We best hurry. What are you working on? We're Sid's people. Take a wild guess. An airship? An airship! Give the man a prize.
Beyond the rows of houses in a wide open field, Barrett could see an enormous airship under construction, just like old Highwind.
Damn, that's a hell of a sight.
20 or so local workers scrambled on crude scaffolding which looked to score a solid F on Safety Inspector's report, if they still had them. They hammered industriously at metal sheets that formed the hull. The high ringing din echoed over the town. The airship looked all but finished.
Hey, she's done. Nah, it just looks that way. Hey, she's done. Nah, just looks that way, see?
The man pointed at the empty engine bay.
Mako's not an option anymore, so the engine's taking a while.
Suddenly they heard an explosion. Barrett's combat instinct sent him diving into the dirt.
Captain's over there.
The former crewman laughed, pointing to a garage behind the airship. Inside the garage, a single engine that looked like it would fit the airship sat upon a massive workbench. Several people, all of them wearing goggles, were peering at it from a safe distance. There was another explosion, but this time, Barrett just flinched. One of the men threw down his goggles and stalked towards the engine.
Son of a
Sid started poking angrily at the faulty equipment with a wrench.
goddamn piece of shit! I'm gonna flatten you into last week's scrap!
Barrett grinned. It had been a long time since he'd heard cussing in that distinctive drawl. This guy never changes. Still spouting a stream of invective, Sid came over to Barrett.
You keep talking like that, and God's gonna take issue.
Barrett said.
God, you haul his ass down here.
Snapped Sid, not missing a beat.
See if he can get this blasted engine going.
The two filled each other in on recent events.
I left Marlene with Tifa, since she's taken to her and all. Gotta do what you gotta do, right? So Cloud's with Tifa too? Yeah, Tifa up and open a place like she used to have. Cloud was lending a hand, but now he's gone and gotten his own business. Delivery or something. Cloud? Running a business? I think it's Tifa's doing. She keeps him focused. Bet she does. When it gets down to it, it's the women that wear the pants.
Oh my god! He's gone
He's
on
not
an
sexist
arc!
anymore.
He's gone on such an arc. Wow.
How's Shira? Same as ever.
Sid shrugged and abandoned the subject.
So, what you want? I got my hands full here. Building an airship, huh? Trying, at least. Maybe I can help out. How?
You don't know shit about airships.
Usually, Barrett would lose his cool at an insult like that. This time, he let it slide, and instead he told Sid about what he'd been thinking.
Cool.
If we had airships, man.
Ah!
Do you want help?
Where is it? Oh yeah, if we had airships, man. Just think of all the lives we could save. Like people with geostigma. If someone ever finds a cure, you get it to everyone fast. Or flying experts who know how to treat it to anywhere in the world. Or haul food, instead of carting it for days on a steam wagon. All the stuff people need to live, you know? You make it sound damn easy there.
Sid leaned close, right in his face.
But we're talking airships. You know how much energy it takes to push one of these things around? Not a damn clue. But listen.
Baron recounted what he'd been mulling over on the road, that they just had to keep from getting greedy with the Mako. Sure, it drained the planet's life, nothing they could do about that, but it wasn't that much, right? The planet wouldn't mind them taking what they needed to keep folk alive.
Damn. Am I hearing this from the same knucklehead who used to run Avalanche?
Barrett had no answer for that. As for coming to terms with his past, he thought he found an answer, but hearing Sid pick it apart, he realized he didn't have the arguments to defend it. The familiar anger and frustration began to build in his chest. He raised his arm to fire off a volley, then remembered they were indoors. Instead, he roared. Everyone in the room turned to stare.
Sorry. Don't mind me.
With a fierce effort, he forced his face into a grin meant to convey, just messing with you. He stared hard at the floor, still groping for words, but all that came to mind were images of bygone days. Biggs, Wessie?
Big Bessie and Jedge.
Biggs, Wedge, Jesse. Earnest, trusting faces. Say something. It's my fault. Come on, blame me. He shook his head, trying to get his dead friend out of his mind, and looked up. Sid seemed out of focus.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Asked Sid.
I don't know what to do, Sid. My past's like a minefield of mistakes, but I had to have done some good stuff, right? But which stuff? What was right? What was wrong? Which me am I supposed to be from now on? I want to change, you know? But maybe I'm not allowed. Maybe I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with a gun for a hand, scaring kids everywhere I go. But how do I atone for anything that way? I don't know anymore. Help me. Tell me what I'm supposed to do.
And in the end, Barrett did open fire, tearing ragged holes in the ceiling. Sid looked at the damage.
You could patch that up for starters.
It was hard work fixing the ceiling and the sweat-soaked Barrett's shirt. When he saw Sid sauntering over, Barrett ignored him and kept working. He was still embarrassed over his outburst.
You calmed down yet?
Sid sat down, keeping his distance.
Sorry.
Sid shook his head as if to say, "Don't worry about me."
I thought of a way for you to help.
Barrett stopped and looked at him.
First off, about the Mako. I think you're right. We could take just a little from the planet. Only what we needed, mind, and not drop any more. And not a drop more. We were kind of thinking along the same lines out here. Truth is, airships are a real boon, especially when we're talking about rebuilding the world. If one day they tell me, hell, we don't need them anymore, well, fine. I'll park her somewhere with a nice view and settle in. But until then...
Sid went on to explain the current energy situation. Not a single Mako reactor in the world was operating now. But it wasn't just because everyone suddenly felt bad for squandering all that energy. There was a practical issue too. Without Shinra's organizational expertise, it was near impossible to keep the reactors running. But the real reason why the reactors
But the real reason why the reactors are shut down is everybody knows that Mako energy sucked out the live stream and consumed it.
Said Sid.
And on that day, they all experienced firsthand how terrible the live stream could be. They're scared of pissing off the planet.
Ooh. Barrett remembered Meteor drawing near in Midgard sky, so close to obliterating the planet, and the live stream surging with overwhelming power to save them all. That unstoppable power, humans will never come up with anything like it.
Ain't nobody wants to make any more of that stuff now.
Said Sid.
So that's it. No more Mako production? Yep. Once the leftover reserves are used up, that'll be it. But come on, man. What's wrong with spinning up just one of them reactors now and then? How bad could it be?
Biggs, Wedge, Jesse, forgive me.
Even if we wanted to, the current reactors are no good where they are. The live stream's current shifted. You check it out already? Not like I can do a full-scale survey, but yeah.
Barrett was at a loss for words, so the planet's telling us no more Mako.
Now, maybe we could throw together a Mako reactor in some other place. But first, we'd have to find the right location. And then there's a matter of transporting all the materials and machinery in the first place. And given the lack of public enthusiasm for Mako refining previously mentioned, well...
Sid shrugged.
Damn, I always kinda assumed we had the option. When the reserves run out, it'll be the end of the Mako age. The world's gonna step back all the way to the age of coal. We'll just have to poke along in the good old steam wagons again. Go back to the chocobos, the fastest form of ground transportation, thank you ma'am era.
Wait, you were like, I have that clip of when I'm like, oh my god, I have a chocobo and a gush, and you were like, why would you need a chocobo when you've got an airship? This is why, James, you never know.
Yeah, but not then
You need to be
one.
prepared.
Not that that's so bad, really. So we're just gonna give up and go back to living backwards? Barrett protested. Sure, we screwed up big time, and trying to get back on the same track ain't always the right idea. But we just gonna stop trying? Raise our hands and say screw it? Not necessarily. We still got oil.
Sid said with a grin.
Hey, useless goop.
To Barrett, who worked and grew up in a coal miner's town, the mention of oil was a surprise. All it was ever good for was burning in lamps.
Useless? Nah. It only seemed that way compared to Mako. But back in the day, oil was gonna be the fuel of the modern age.
Sid replied.
They were even developing ways to refine it into some kind of fuel. Then Mako came along, and all of the same engineers dropped oil like it was yesterday's girl to line up for a dance with the new belle of the ball.
And oil became a footnote in history.
But it's still around. Shimmer figured it would be worth something someday, and they even drilled for it. Problem is, the well Shimmer built for it was offshore on the seabed. Could you reach it by sub?
Submarine!
Not without Mako to fuel it. We couldn't. Besides, the live stream smashed up the pipeline. So you don't have oil any more than you've got Mako. I didn't say that.
Sid continued, explained how he and his team had pulled out old records and located a pre-Mako oil field. Luckily, it wasn't too far from Rocketown. At the site, they'd found drilling rigs and a refinery that could turn the oil into gasoline. Half ruined, to be sure, but there nonetheless. Sid and his companions rebuilt the facilities and had been operating them even while they built the airship. However, gasoline didn't yield enough energy, so they had been working on developing a more potent fuel. Recently, they had hit upon a formulation that burned faster and released more energy than any gasoline. Jet fuel. Problem was, they also needed to build an engine that could handle it, and that was proving harder than they thought. That's amazing.
Wait, does Cinderella exist in Final Fantasy VII? Or Beauty and the
Oh.
Beast, rather?
I don't think Belle of the Ball is.
Is that what she? I don't think that's what. I don't think that's what
I don't think the See, I'm not. Do you know? No, actually, Flash, you fucking. What? Do you have a fucking brain, Flash? I don't think Belle of the Ball is not because of Belle. That is pretty.
Just
funny.
got Disney on the brain, don't you? Where are we?
Wait, and actually, what's funny is, I just think that's like funny. I'm not gonna bully you for it, but also, if I had said that, you would not have shut the fuck up about it. You would have bullied
I
me.
really wanna
The
finish
two of
this.
you
I
would have
swear.
bullied me
I'm
so hard
I'm so hungry.
that
Please.
actually, Flash,
just gonna
you're a
read.
moron.
That's amazing, Sid. Goddamn amazing. Like I said, we had the records. We didn't need any newfangled technology. Once we get that engine running, we're gonna have ourselves a genuine renaissance. I guess this means the end of coal, don't it? For a second time.
Barrett, remembering his hometown, had mixed feelings about that.
Well, times change. We just happen to be born at the right moment to see it happen.
Said Sid.
Don't know how I feel about that. Lucky is how you ought to feel. We're living at the end of the one age and the start of a new one, and we get to choose how it's gonna go down. Maybe. The only unlucky part is, what? With so much new cool stuff to try, no way we're gonna have enough time to do it all. Ain't that a bitch?
Ain't that an exclamation mark star?
Ain't that a fuck?
Sid and Barrett hiked east of Rocketown for almost a full day before they reached the oil field where Shara was working. I don't know who that is, but, you know, whatever. I know Shira, but don't know
Yo!
Shara. Barrett exclaimed, unabashedly glad to see her. Shara looked like she hadn't changed a lick, until he saw the signs of geostigma on her hand. Noticing his stricken look, she tried to hide her hand in her sleeves.
Well, does it hurt?
Sid asked, blunt and gruff.
Don't push yourself too hard. No way we're gonna have enough time.
Sid's words. Sid looked up at the derrick. It didn't seem to be operating.
What's the problem? We shut it down this morning.
Shara explained.
There might be more oil in the reservoir, but yields are down 10% of what we started with, so we had to stop the pump.
Sid slumped and muttered.
The first day it came spurting out even without the damn pump. We turned jet black from all the oil raining down. Laughed our asses off.
Barrett let out a A heavy high.
Barrett
Let out a
sigh.
heavy sigh.
Planning ain't gonna give us nothing for free, huh? That's not true. That's not true.
Shira said firmly.
It's given us so much already. Coal, oil, even Mako. They're all gifts. And there might be other resources we don't know about yet. We'll be okay if we use them right. If we don't get too greedy, if we figure out new ways to do things, the planet would never abandon us. It cares. After all, the life stream coursing through it is made up of all the lives of the people who lived on its surface.
She'll always be concerned about Sid, whether she lives or returns to the planet, thought Barrett. She cares about other people. Same goes for Sid and me.
Share.
No. Sid managed to say, then trailed off. A few moments passed and he spoke again.
Share, what about the fuel? It's good. There should be enough for one trip around the planet depending on engine efficiency. More than enough for a flight test, I'd say. How's the ship coming along? She's just about ready, except for the damn engine. I can't get it to work, can't even see how to make it work. So look, Shara.
You know, like, the planet, it is just meant to be, like, small, isn't it? Like, the planet is just, like, Pluto-sized.
It's not very big. No, it is. No, it is. It's bigger than Pluto. Because you see it. When
Oh, wait! The whole solar system exists in Final Fantasy VII because they
Yeah.
show it to us.
Earth is just Gaia and not Earth.
But then how come there was, like, oh, a trip around the Earth and, like, Cloud works around the Earth? Like, you know, imagine, like, in a
Well,
day's...
if you went around the Earth here in a plane, it would only take you, what, 30 hours?
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
But how are you going to say that they're... First of all...
Maybe it's a bit smaller than Earth, a little bit.
Okay, first of all, I mean, again, if this came out, like, late 90s, early 2000s, like... You definitely weren't able to get 30 hours out of a plane, first of all.
However, it was not that long ago. Planes have not got that advanced since 2005.
Yeah, you could never get that much out. But I'm just saying, especially even a longer, because I think you can probably, I'm sure there's been advances in some way. But I'm just saying, when this was written, first of all, you cannot make a trip around the Earth in one go.
Well, maybe
That's
it's
ridiculous.
It's a bit smaller than the Earth, but I'd say it's
And then
around the same
also,
size.
they say Cloud makes trips all around the planet. Imagine in your work on a daily basis, you'll be like, oh, I'm just fucking off to Antarctica and back.
But he leaves for, like, weeks at a time. He doesn't go in a day.
I stand corrected.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
go.
fair.
He doesn't go
Yeah,
out in the morning and
I
come
was-
back in the evening.
I was thinking that they did say that he does that.
No, they said that earlier on. Like, he used to make trips out, but only near to Midgard, and then
Yeah,
he
maybe I
went
got
further
mixed up.
afield, and that's when Tifa didn't see him for a long time.
It had to be a small enough planet to fit on a PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller than Earth.
Yeah, because we go all over it in the game, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you obviously imagine everything is bigger than what it seems, but there's still not a lot. Like, it's still small.
It's definitely smaller. It's just not, but it's not like so small that it's like the moon. It's not like the moon.
30 minutes to orbit Earth? What? In what vehicle? Maybe in a
Ah,
spaceship.
Right. Where are we?
But if you think of
What
even
is it?
flying from
The
America,
Sid fell silent
from
again.
here to
Barrett
America,
found
it's like
himself
8
speaking for him.
hours plus.
Please,
give
can we
or
finish?
take.
Please, we're
Yes,
by the
go
end,
on.
please. Sid wants your help with the engine. Kick his ass into gear and get the nose of the grindstone. You got fuel, but that don't mean all the
Nose
work
to
is
the
done.
grindstone,
I know,
said Shira, looking at Sid.
but no intentions of stopping now.
Barrett wasn't finished.
And once the engine's done, there'll still be a million more things to do.
Shira only smiled. They stood together in silence, gazing up at the derrick.
Barrett?
Said Sid, low and quiet.
Oh, no shit. Barrett? Said Sid.
Said
quiet.
Sid, low and quiet.
You think there's any more oil around? Tell you what, if there is, I'll find it.
Even as he said it, he could feel his doubts leaving him. Hey, planet. Hey, all you lives pulsing through it. If you're gonna punish me, go ahead. Take your shots. But I'm gonna fight back with everything I got. The only ones who get to punish me are the folk who are still alive. I'm gonna keep on living to make sure there's a future for all of us. When Barrett came back to the workshop, Old Man Sakaki showed him a new prosthetic made just as Barrett had ordered. It was carved from wood and had a warm organic feel. Nothing like metal, and it would fit directly to his arm. No adapter needed. Barrett looked at the new hand, then at the old-timer.
Man, I feel bad. You went to a lot of trouble making this for me. But I'm sorry. I don't need it after all. See, I gotta keep moving. I'm gonna search for oil. Might take me to places nobody has ever set foot in. Untamed lands. Places with who the hell knows what kind of monsters. So, I still need this damn weapon. Not just for protection, though. I'm a guy who can't stop fighting. And if I fight so somebody else doesn't have to, well, I'm on the right track after all. Let's just say it's my mission. No, my penance.
Barrett reckoned it was maybe the most coherent and long-winded speech he'd ever given. At least it seemed to have an effect on old man Sakaki, because after hearing Barrett out, he went into the back of his shop and brought out a carefully wrapped bundle. Barrett opened it to find another prosthetic, touched with rust but elaborately crafted, a still hand with articulated fingers.
If you practice enough, you'll be able to write with it. Whether your writing's any good, that's up to you. This is more than I asked for. It's payment for helping out my nephew. But since you don't seem to need it, I'll just hang on to it. Sorry, you must have put a lot of work into it. Don't worry about that. I made it years ago. Come back and get it when you're done with that mission of yours.
Old man Sakaki told him.
I'll scrub off the rust for you.
After leaving the workshop and walking a while, Barrett thought, I should have written a letter to Marlene. Maybe I ought to have called her too. No, once this is all over, I'll come back here and write to her with that hand the old guy made, and I'll take the letter to Marlene myself. Suddenly, Barrett wanted to scream out to the sky, so he did.
Look out, world, 'cause here I come.
Right.
That was nice.
We've
Do we
got
need to read
Livestream
this one
Black,
again,
yeah.
or-
We'll read Livestream Black 2 and then we need the other one. Where is
The
it?
other one. The ISS. Oh, there is a very fast plane. Is that what it's called?
This one.
I've heard of the very super fast plane.
Very fast plane. Alright, you ready?
Yes.
I'll read this, I guess, if I'm doing the
Okay.
black ones.
Yeah, sure.
When the live stream erupted from the Earth, he let the planet have all those memories that no longer held any meaning. Memories of his boyhood, of his few and far between friends, of battles he fought before knowing his true self, of his life in those bygone days. He let them join the rushing torrent and dash themselves against Meteor. At the same time, the core of his spirit and the feelings that bound it swept across the land, through Hamlet and Scythia alike, borne by the myriad spiraling tendrils of that great current. As the eruption caught people fleeing in panic or frozen in awe, he decided to leave his own mark. Cloud would notice, he was sure, and then he would never disappear. So long as Cloud remembers me, I will always exist, within the life stream or on the surface. Even if his own spirit were to disperse, the merest fragment of memory would be enough. It would flow through the planet on the living stream, and then one day, with Cloud's memories to help him, he would regain himself.
Uh-oh. We need to erase Cloud's memory.
It's a reunion of memories. Alright, there we go. We're done. We get to do
the
Nanaki next
ISS
time.
is an international space station. There is a very fast plane, and I think that plane can go quicker than commercial planes.
Yeah, but next time we get to do Nanaki, Yuffie, and Shinra.
Oh, I can't wait for fucking Nanaki and Yuffie! I'm especially excited for Reds.
When are
Go.
we doing the next one?
Don't know what the
Are we
fuck
doing
go.
it? Are we doing it the weekend, or are we gonna do it?
We'll
next
just do it Wednesday and Thursday next week. Because,
Thursday?
well, because I think we should do 2 because this has taken us 4 hours and there's more than half the book left.
Oh, true, I guess. So we'll do Nanaki and
I'd say we got a
Yuffie
good
next
5. I'd say we
time.
have like 5. Yeah, Nanaki and Yuffie, and then the final
And
chapter
then the
another
final one
time.
can be Shinra. That's gonna be the worst way to
Yeah.
end because it's so
Oh.
boring.
Sucks to be us, I guess.
Although it's
But-
really funny because we get to. It's fine.
Because things
Yeah.
happen.
We get to take the L.
I don't enjoy that. You might enjoy that, but I personally don't. Do the Shinra one first and then go back.
We could actually, to be fair.
Would that work? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
because they're all disconnected. They're not like.
I don't know. We'll see, but I really enjoy it so far. It's really nice.
good. It's very
The
good.
new content is really enjoyable to have, and I'm loving how much character it's adding. And I really like that they're not all just like, and they lived happily ever after, and they lived happily. Like each story is kind of just like anything could still go from there.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. I was expecting it to be like quite just happy. Here is what happened, but
It's almost like an intermission.
yes,
like
yeah, it's not really an ending to their stories.
It's not
just
a conclusion
next.
or an epilogue, or it treats them like they're people and they have a whole life to go.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
just because Final Fantasy VII ended doesn't mean that
Yeah.
their story needs to end. Like they're just gonna continue on forever until they die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there are things happening to them, and I like that about it because it's just like a slice of life. Like that's
Mm.
what I really like about it. It just like takes a part of their life and goes, we're gonna tell a story about their day to day after the events of the game, just so you know they're doing alright.
Yeah,
And then it sort of sets up they could go somewhere next.
yeah. For the
And
most
then
part, it's
we have
really
the
wholesome.
compilation and it's bad, but until then we've got this book and it's nice.
I will not allow the compilation to ruin the book for me. Wait, sorry. I will not allow the compilation to ruin the base game for me.
It's gonna try
book-
very hard.
The book absolutely hasn't anyway so far. The
No,
book
no,
is
the book's really
perfectly
good,
fu-
yeah.
It's good,
It
yeah.
looks really good.
It's just a great addition. You keep saying does she know it? I'm assuming that's just because.
Because you're like, oh, I'm not gonna let the
No.
compilation ruin the game for me, but like you have no choice in the matter.
Well, he
It will
says
do
that
it.
as well when I talk about the remake, so I think it means a lot of things when Flash says that. But-
The compilation is going to try very,
I
very
won't,
hard
but
to
I
make you
won't
hate
though.
Final Fantasy
I
VII.
will. What I will have to do
You
because
will.
no, I believe that they are bad. But what I will have to do is truly just say, okay, the compilation sucks as a whole, but actually 7 and the book they're their
No,
own
but you're
thing.
but you're gonna be sick of it.
And
Like,
also-
you're not like, look, I thought the same thing, and then I got through it, and I was like, I don't want it anymore. I just hate Final Fantasy VII. I want it to go away.
Look, listen. I am also going to enjoy the remake because even though I understand the remake, you know, I clearly the remake
Does
is not
she know?
a remake situation. It's not actually a true remake, but
I would
I'm
start
not.
with S and G types. Where's the dog?
Why?
Sora, did you know that the future is not a blank? It's a blank page. That's what I tell myself anyway.
It's true. It is true. Anyway, I'm very excited to read the Nanaki chapter. That's gonna be real good stuff, and I'm very excited to read the Yuffie chapter. And
Yeah, Yuffie and Nanaki.
I'm interested in playing the rest, but like I don't need to. But like I will. I am.
See, when you've only played 7, it's intriguing. You're like, oh, how can it be that bad? I don't understand.
I'm gonna go into it aiming to love it and like it. I'm not gonna try to dislike it, you know.
I tried so hard.
but there will
I
have
want
to
to
be,
love it.
if it's not good, it's not good. It's fine. Yeah, very excited.
I think after reading the book, you'll probably think Advent Children's fine.
Okay, that's
I
good.
don't think you'll hate it.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll explain to
I
you
will-
after why that's wrong, but you know, I don't think you'll hate it watching it.
I'll watch it and I'll upload my reaction because I can't stream it.
I think you'll think Dirge is boring, and I think you'll be... I don't know. I honestly don't know what you're going to think about Crisis Core, and I'm scared.
Interesting. I hope
You
that I
might
love
like
it so
it,
that
you
you
might.
cry.
You might. I don't think
If
you'll...
it's sad, I'm gonna do the sad vibes. You know, like I'm not gonna let it. I don't think because I don't think you as a person are that emotional anyway. But the whole
Yes, I am.
the whole no.
You know, Crisis Core, and I said this before, the Crisis Core is so similar to Torchwood Season 1. That's what I could liken it to the most. That's what it feels
But
like.
you know that's fuck off. That is
It's-
god awful.
It's so over dramatic, and also doesn't make any fucking sense.
Huh.
I didn't cry.
You cried.
No. There was for about 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, like it must have been like 30 seconds. I was like, oh my god, this is really good. And then it kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. And I was like, they've ruined it. This is terrible. This sucks. I pretty much hate the whole game until there was this one cutscene where I was like, oh, this is quite good. I did get a little bit choked up. And then it just kept going. It's just... they just ruin it. Like, it was good for like 30
do you know what?
seconds.
I think it will make for better content if I like it as well. So I'm just gonna force myself to like it.
No.
And then after I'll be like, oh, Sag, that was bad. I am mad. So dumb. Yeah,
Look,
it's fine.
Whatever you think about Crisis Core when you first play it is not what you'll think about it in a week. Because
maybe.
you'll be able to think about it, and we'll also explain to you why that's wrong, so that you just have the right opinion. It's fine. But I'm
Great.
sure I cannot imagine you playing Crisis Core and being like, oh yeah, no, that was really well written. I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine it.
No, if it's not, it's not. Like
You
that's
literally,
that.
when we were watching The Last of Us, the first episode, you criticised that before I even did.
Yeah, I did.
So it shows that you can notice bad writing, and like The Last of Us isn't even that bad. Like episode 1 is not that bad. The rest of the show obviously has been really good.
I
But, like,
think I was just disappointed.
like episode 1 wasn't even that bad.
Yeah,
You still
episode 1
managed
was
to
not great, but the
criticise
rest
it.
is really good. To be fair, like,
So, like,
the rest is really good. It's been picking up a lot.
There's no way you're gonna let Crisis Core slide. There's just no way.
No, I won't. I
It doesn't
won't.
make
I
any
won't.
fucking
I do
sense.
think though,
It's bad.
because it's Final Fantasy VII. That's the only reason. Because 7 is so good. It's gonna be. I might be blinded by my love for 7.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you love 7 that much, you'll hate Crisis Core more. Because
Okay,
Crisis Core
then
hates
I'll
Final Fantasy
hate
7.
it. Don't worry, I'll
fucking
hate
hope
this.
so.
I'll fucking hate it. I'll fucking cry
Look,
about it.
at
I'll
the end
get
of the
so
day,
mad.
we don't know because the future is not already written and it's a blank page, and that's what I tell myself anyway. So I think we'll be fine.
Sorry. I'll turn that back down. Okay, well, thank you so much for everybody who joined and vibing. I know this is a weird thing to do for a stream, but like, you know, it's not flopped. If anything flops, it's Final Fantasy 14, so
But
Jamie
by
can
flops,
fuck
how
himself.
Come you don't have your follow channels organised by view count? I always have it organised by view count.
Normally I do, but I don't really care that much.
I have it organised by view count so I can see who's at the bottom, so I can raid them if I
I
want to
don't
raid.
really care that much. Yeah, it's a good point though. I do care a bit actually, to be fair. I don't think
changed
there's
today.
really anyone to raid, to be honest. That's really...
KH Guides? Who the hell's KH Guides?
Oh, I just thought his stream was fun. He plays
Final
Kingdom
Fantasy
Hearts.
The Legend of Zell.
Da.
Final Fantasy 11.
14.
Oh.
But we've raided the guy. Yeah, I was gonna leave it. But thank you so much.
Okay,
We're gonna
thank
play.
everybody.
Well, I'm not streaming tomorrow then.
I am.
Unfortunately, James is streaming Final Fantasy 9.
I'm gonna do a big Final
the
Fantasy
first
9 stream. We're
time.
gonna go for like 10 hours, I'm telling you. Final
Hype.
Fantasy 9 fucking slaps. I
So
can't
tomorrow I'm just gonna chill again and, well, not chill, I'm gonna edit and try and get more stuff done. Same thing for the weekend, but Friday is Final Fantasy 14 Friday.
What I'm
And
gonna
we're
have to
at the
do-
very start of Shadowbringers, really, so
What I'm
come
gonna
on.
have to do is I'll eat before stream, then I'll get on stream, and then I'll eat during stream so that I can just go for fucking ages. Because I just one of the reasons why I stopped streaming is just because I get hungry.
Yeah, it's
And I just
yeah,
wanna
I'm
go
hungry.
eat.
I'm hungry.
I stream for like 5-6 hours and I'm like, fuck, I'm just hungry, I want to go eat. But if I eat on stream,
Yeah.
we can keep going and we can fucking push through and we got like a 10-hour stream.
Okay,
It'll be
well,
sick.
yeah, we'll see how we go. I mean, if I'm not streaming, I can go get you food if you need me to and stuff. So, but yeah, that sounds good to me. I will see you. Well, I will not see you at James's stream, but he'll see you, and then I'll see you at Final Fantasy 14 Friday. And then if not, we'll read more of the book on Wednesday, and then we'll finish it on Thursday. Yeah, so see you then. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. It's been a lot of
Love
fun.
you, see you later.
Love you. Kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah,
Bye.
mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.